We are here for the 2021 season of the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars. It's been a huge hiatus here with everything going on around the world, but we get drifting back underway this weekend here, a couple of hours out of Melbourne, Victoria, here at Winton Raceway. We can't wait. We've got a huge field of drivers in not just Pro, but Pro-Am have a very strong field. I'm Matt Kavanagh, back for the season, and joining me is Dan Mackey. It's going to be a fantastic event, isn't it, Dan?
Mate, look, it's awesome to be back on track and have these cars out here blazing. The guys have just done so much hard work on their cars in the off-season, so there's plenty more colour, there's heaps more excitement, and from what we've seen so far in battle practice this morning, it is looking hot out there.
Mate, let's talk about the field numbers. We have a top 24 in both, and some guys missed out. We had to battle it off for it.
Mate, we've had a great turnout coming back to the season and getting back on track. The guys are obviously keen to get out here. We've got a nice crowd forming out there as well. It's motorsports, what people have wanted. They're really so excited to get out here, and so am I, mate, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I must admit, the atmosphere down in the pits is electrifying. So many new pro cars as well, Dan, and the level of build has just got higher and higher, hasn't it?
New pro cars, new drivers stepping up to pro. These guys are really, really throwing down, and to be quite honest, you know, there's not an easy way to pick a winner out there this early on. We're going to have one by the end of the day, but it's the level of competition is great. And being a judge out there today, and for the guys, it's hard work. We're going to have to be getting pretty technical, and I imagine I'm going to be speaking to you a little bit through the afternoon to try and explain a few of these for the punters at home. But, mate, it's fantastic. The sun's just started to come out. What more could you want?
Well, a couple of new faces to the Hi-Tec Drift All-Star Series are with Jeff right now.
I'm here with two new judges for Hi-Tec. Stewie Bryan and Josh Rogers. Stewie, what's your background in judging?
Well, I've been judging for quite a while. Pretty much started back in South Australia in G1, and I've pretty much just been filling in judging around. I have more of a freestyle background, but I kind of started getting into judging with just because I wanted to see competition grow into something that I enjoyed a little bit more. So, yeah, it's probably, now 12 years, 11 years or so.
Yeah, awesome. And Josh, you're a Victorian judge.
Yeah. I'm a local boy, been around for like 10 years. Haven't done a hell of a lot of judging. Pretty new to the format, but I've judged our Keep It Read series, sort of organised those events and run them. And I've seen a hell of a lot of drifting. I've been to Japan, competed in G1 GP and stuff, so I'm just sort of learning the ropes, and yeah, a bit of a local man to come to for Victorian boys to sort of touch base with and figure out what they need to do.
Well, it's great to have these guys in the series.
Well, one half of the Hi-Tec Blaze unit joins me here on the Starline, Scott Shembry. It's a new season. The car's got a new look. How are you feeling?
Oh, mate, it's good to be back behind the seat after, obviously, all the COVID stuff going on. So, yeah, look, feeling pretty good. Been a good weekend so far. Had a few dramas in qualifying yesterday with the car. We sorted that this morning. So, I'm just ready to get out there and put on a show.
Mate, you're looking absolutely fantastic. You're a new man at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, no, I dropped a few kilos, thought I'd get some weight out of the car, so try and look after myself a bit better and look a bit more professional, not a big slob, so no, we're ready to go.
Look, there's one big name. He made an announcement earlier in the year, didn't he? He's going to retire from professional drifting. Bo Yates, not in the field this weekend, so who's going to be your biggest competition?
Oh, mate, there's a lot of new drivers up there. The two Tasmanian boys are just killing it out there, so I think if I get through my first battle, I'll be up against Brady, qualified second, so, you know, we're just out here to put on a good show for everyone at home and do it for Hi-Tec Oils.
Yeah, mate, any new sponsors on board this season?
Oh, we got Allstars come on board, and they are they're a new kind of beast. The car's so gripped up, so I'm just trying to get my head around that. Obviously, we try and take some grip out of the car, actually, so look, we're just out here to put on a good show.
Mate, we can't wait to see what you pull off today. Hopefully you have some good runs, and hopefully you can get through that first battle, and maybe you'll end up with your teammate Abbott in top 8. Yeah,
look, if that happens, I'm sure there'll be a couple of panels getting smashed around, but let's get through the first battle first and then see how we go.
Good luck today. Right now, though, Dan Mackey is going to take us through the track layout for this weekend.
G'day guys, Dan Mackey down here. We're doing our track layout. We've got a start line over behind me there where the guys are going to work hard to try and bring themselves up to as fast a speed as they possibly can through the S's and the chicane there before they enter with as much angle as they can and as early as they can for this outer zone. Really, really important that they get that right and push right out to the edge of the track so that they allow for that chase driver to close right up onto their door. Once they get down to this section here, it's important that they continue to push a little bit through the corner. They've got to allow that space for that chase driver to sit in underneath them. So the lead driver, we don't want them right on that ripple strip. We want them to be leaving a little space and the chase driver to get in there. Again, the same thing's going to happen when they get over towards our other inner zone, going around the tree in that sweeper. They've really got to make sure that they leave a 500mm gap from the ripple strip for that chase car to suck in on their door. And again, as they come out of there, they go into another fairly technical section for the lead car where they need to push up high in the bank and they need to push down then to that last very late clip, ensuring that the chase car has plenty of room to get in behind them before they both push out to the ripple strip where our section ends.
Well, here we go. The Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars about to get underway for 2021. We are absolutely pumped and can't wait to see what happens here this afternoon. We've had one day of practice, of course. Qualifying's happened, and here we go. We're going to slip into, though, the Pro Top 24 are going to be there at the top, of course. In the top 8 from the Zoo Performance Pro-Am, the top 16 from the Hi-Tec Oils will then come out. Then the top 8, we're going to do them back-to-back. Then we go into the top 4 of the Zoo Performance Pro-Am before we head into the top 4 for the Hi-Tec Oils Pro guys. And then it's all finals. Who's going to be the Zoo Performance Pro-Am champion here for round 1 at Winton, and who's going to take out the Hi-Tec Oils Pro class here today. Can't wait to see how this all unfolds. We've got plenty of cloud cover here today, which is keeping the track nice and cool, but you can see a lot of cars out on track at the moment, and this is because we do have something special coming up as part of the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars here today, and a bit of a somber moment there. What we are going to do, though, is head down to Dan Mackey, who's got a few words to say.
Yeah, thank you, Matty. Really, really touching moment for us as drivers. We've come along today, and unfortunately, we lost one of our own fallen through the COVID period. Krista Jager was a massive, massive part of this sport for all of us. He's been competing since I started back in 2001, many, many years ago, and unfortunately, he wasn't able to deal with some of the gremlins through the COVID period, and we did lose him. We're going to do a minute's silence in just a moment. All the drivers have come out to show their respects. I have something from his partner, Chance, who's asked me to read this out to you guys. Please bear with me as I try and get through this one. During lockdown a year ago on May, the drift community tragically lost a true gentleman and icon of the sport, the drift weapon, Krista Jager. With a competitive career spanning more than a decade, both locally and overseas, across Japan, America and Europe, Chris dedicated his life to drifting, the selfless encouragement of others and passionate discussions on the physics of suspension. The world lost Chris after a lifelong private battle with mental illness, an invisible disease happening in silence around us all, leaving a gaping hole for all who had known or who had the honour of knowing and rubbing doors with him. Chris's partner, Chance, brother Matt, and all of his mates are continuing his legacy, wearing his Thrash Kings brand, encouraging others to follow their passions, and most importantly, normalise mental health conversations. They thank you for your endless support and welcome you to join them. They also encourage you to check on your mates, especially those you least suspect, and instead of asking the simple yet overwhelming question, how are you, try saying, you don't seem yourself, talk to me, I'm here for you. If you're struggling yourself, take a mate aside and confide in them. You're not alone. Chris's energy on track and endearing charisma will be forever missed, but never forgotten. To one of our fallen drift family members, this is for you. As we go into a minute's silence, reflect on the laughs you've shared with Chris, the lessons of wisdom impressed upon us, upon you, and most of all, the way in which you can be kinder on yourself, support others, and take real action for your wildest dreams. We all just take 1 minute to remember and reflect on Chris.
Well, a name that just reserves so much respect throughout the drifters who are out on track at the moment and throughout drifting in Australia and around the world, Krista Jagger. Fantastic words from his partner, of course, delivered by Dan Mack, who it was fantastic we could do this today on behalf of him and put that out there for everyone. So let's turn around though now, and of course the top 24 will need to line up here in the Hi-Tec Oils Pro Series and get that underway. And mate, there are some big names in there. There's a couple missing as well. We touched on it briefly in the opener. Bo Yates no longer taking part in the series, retired from professional drifting. So without him out there in the field, he's a multiple Australian time champion here in the Drift All-Star Series. So he's a big name not to have to battle with. So we'll find out how it's all going to go. And of course, there's so many people in the top, but there's a couple of guys out there who have really impressed us. One of those is from Victoria, and Jeff's caught up with him right now.
Hey, I'm just in the pits with Merle Hooley. Just going through a couple of things that he's tweaked on his car. He's played around with his wheel alignment. How's that going?
Yeah, good. Pulled some caster out, played around with the toe, obviously because it's such a big track, trying to wind the toe out so not so aggressive. But as we do need the lock, so trying to keep it at a happy medium, trying to keep it in a lower gear, not create too much wheel speed, because obviously when we're leaving it in fourth, we're creating so much wheel speed, we're not even getting one lap to a pair of tyres.
Yeah,
So
how's the conditions out there on track? I noticed a lot of people are trying to get a little bit of grip out of their car.
yeah, well, I've stiffened my suspension really tight in the back, and the tyres are working awesome, what we're running this weekend, but there is a lot of grip out there, and the cars are so fast around that sweep bar. If you actually don't set yourself up into the corner perfect from where to go, you're going to struggle to link the rest of the track.
I heard that you got new suspension put in.
Yeah, so we took the BCs out in the back because I had a bit of a problem. I broke one and couldn't get some in time. So I've gone to Slideworks coilovers in the rear, and I can't believe how good they're actually working on this track. They're that good that I'm actually clicking them in to about 18 turns stiff, where usually I run them on full soft and even on the rebound. So it's crazy how much grip this track's got and how much grip these Ginu tyres have got. So it's been crazy.
That's awesome, man. What any other changes have you done on this S13?
Well, in the off-season, actually converted it back to hydraulic steering, got rid of the electric steering in it, just had a lot of binding issues with that. So since then, it's been great.
Well, hopefully you kill it today because you qualified third, so there's nothing but good things to come, I hope.
Thank you very much. Have a good one.
We've come down to the pits to catch up with Danny Prober, driving the 81 here in the Pro Drift Series. And Danny, some issues with the car today, not playing the game?
We're a little bit scrappy yesterday. Today, I think I was a little slow on a transition. Alexander's come in and he's a little bit quicker in. He's got the back wheel, then he's collected again with the front wheel. And it looks like we're bending up control arm. It's a chrome molly, so we're just a little bit concerned now we won't be able to get that straightened. So we're going to have a crack. We'll see how we go. You never know, the boys are on it, and we can straighten it up. We'll be laughing.
Good to see a couple of the other NT teams coming in to give you a hand as well.
Yeah, look, it's really good to be down here with the Barleys and the Doyles. We're sort of all a big family, so when something goes wrong, we all jump in. So, yeah, today I'm benefiting from that. So, yeah, good.
Well, good luck, and let's hope we see you out there in the when we get to the battle tree.
Thank you. Cheers.
I'm here with Matt Harvey, our #1 qualifier for 2021. How are you going out there?
Actually, really good, actually. We're a little bit low on tyres at the moment, so we've got enough for the finals, but we've only done 3 runs today, and seems to be cars meant to be perfect, so can't complain at all.
What's new for this year? Any sponsors or different things that you've done?
Nothing really, to be honest. We kind of had a perfect setup for Sydney last year, which we won, so we kind of just did a little couple of things just to make it a little bit better, and that's about it.
Any bobbles on the tracks? Or I noticed a lot of people going off in the morning, just a little bit of water on the track.
No, nothing on the track. I think that the temperature of the weather and stuff like that's obviously changed, and with this track, it's a lot. If it's colder, the track's rippier. So I think people are just adapting to the track and see how we go for the battles.
Awesome. Well, best of luck for today.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much.
So let's check out some of the qualifying results here. As you can see, in the Zoom Performance Pro-Am, Nathan Ransom got out there with 84 points. Bo Gagliardi was 80 points in second place. Adam Burgess brings the HMAS home in third with 80 points. Brian Cruikshank is 77 points in fourth. Steve Cerrone there back in fifth on 77 points, just behind him. Flash Smith just outside the top 5 in sixth with 77 points, .0. Damien Tanti there in seventh place. Sam Mudge in eighth now on 73.3 points. Of course, the qualifying results for the top 8 in the Super Performance Pro-Am. We head over to the Hi-Tec Oils Pro Series, though, and the qualifying results. That's a familiar name. He started off in 2020 with the #1 qualifier. He went through and took that round out. He's #1 once again from Tasmania, 90.3 points. Brody Mayer, another Tasmania, gets there in second position, just behind him on 86.3 points. Mo O'Hooley, well, fantastic run out there yesterday, and he's in third place now on 85.7 points. Brendan O'Grady, or Bogger as we know him, on 85 points in fourth place, and that car is super strong. William Honest in 82 points in fifth position. Jason Ferrin in sixth position. James Abbott back in seventh. Very uncharacteristic for him down there with 82 points. And Glenn Omerod in that brand new Toyota 86 in eighth position now on 78.7 points. As you can see, the car's just going off track there. We're not far away from getting underway here at the Hi-Tec Allstars Drift Series here at Winton. Of course, it is the top 24 of Pro who'll be coming out first on track to see who will go into that top 16. We will clear the track and get underway with that one. We've got some fantastic sponsors on board. We can't thank Tri-Ace for getting on board this year, of course. New tyre down there. The guys have had plenty of access to that, and there's plenty of guys out there using that one as well. So if you want to get down there, check them out on the, of course, the Hi-Tec Drift Australia page, and you can get onto the Tri-Ace tyres. Some of the drivers out there, I mean, you know, Jabs and Shembry are on those ones now, as well as Brody Mayer from Tasmania, and Mitch Cole, who actually, unfortunately, has had some damage to the car. I do believe that's a diff, so we won't see Mitch Cole competing today, unfortunately. Yesterday he was here, not competing today. So there's a few casualties we've had already throughout what has happened there. As you see the drivers getting ready to come out in the top 24, lining up in our form-up area there. It won't be long till they get out, and some familiar faces back here for this season, but it's going to be an absolutely fantastic day today. The weather still overcast here at Winton, and some tough conditions out there. You look as the track goes off camera a little bit around some of those corners. Of course, for those who are familiar here at Winton with the layout, we haven't been here since 2017, and this time we're doing the back M's, they're called, and you can see it, the big M shape there, and very tricky because the clipping point not on the first part of the corner, on the back section of the corner. So the cars have to get one on, you know, a late transition, get some angle really in the car and try and drive that car around and hit all those clipping points here today. And that's what the judges are really looking for. Those new judges on board doing a fantastic job. We know how technical Stewie Bryant can be, and through our walk earlier today, our driver's walk, giving a lot of feedback to the drivers on exactly what the judges wanted to see. And we, you know, back that up with the experience of Dan Mackey, who's been a head judge for like 10 years now. We've got some great experience out there. Can't wait to see what the series brings us. We're travelling to all sorts of places. I mean, we're having back to South Australia, back to Sydney, back to Queensland. Can't wait to see what the series brings us in 2021. It is so fantastic to be back at the track. Everyone's super pumped down there. The atmosphere is great here at Winton. I'm so glad that so many people have actually travelled out here to be part of this and just come and spectate as well. So can't wait to see how the afternoon unfolds. Of course, the top 24 in Pro, then we got the top 8 in the Zoo Performance Pro-Am, back to the Hi-Tec Oils, top 16, we back it up with the top 8. So that's a very short turnaround for those guys. They're going to have to turn that around very quickly before we go to the Pro-Am top 4, and then we get into our finals. Jeff is down there in the pits, though, with Matt Grice at the moment.
I'm here with Gricey down at the pits. It looks like it's all hands on deck. What's going on?
Been a rack and up the top corner there, so struggling a little bit up there today. But yeah, just must caught the front wheel on lock, and yeah, just round she went.
And that's all she wrote. Are you going to get back out there? Do you have spare parts?
Yeah, they're on their way. They're on the freeway. So the team had him here yesterday, and one of the boys left and forgot to take him out of his car. So we do have a spare rack end on its way. We'll get it fixed and get back out there for battles. Hopefully, see how we go. Not feeling too good today, but we'll give it a crack.
You'll get back out there, get the wheel alignment done, and then give it all she got.
That'll be the plan. Hopefully we can get that top corner dialed. I think we misunderstood what the judges said this morning, so we'll have a chat to them, see what they got to say, and see if we can get it worked out, and hopefully clean up on a couple of battles.
Good luck for today, bro. Give him hell.
Thanks, Jeff.
See ya.
Well, there is the man that Gricey will take on in the top 24. It is Scott Shembry, of course, that brand new look. Van Gogh Rapid Repair on board, of course. They have cleaned that up. Look at the red on that one. I do believe it's a Ferrari red or something like that. We go down and speak to the guys. So the Hi-Tec Oils 350 Blaze unit looking absolutely fantastic. Once again, of course, Tri-Ace on the back this time. Very different to last season. They've got a new tyre, a new setup, and they need to, you know, dial that grip in and out as they need to. But they're loving the brand new tyres on board, and he'll take Matt Grice on
on in that top 24. Angus Kidd back though in the Game On Motorsports. Very interesting day for him though, because he isn't where he really wanted to be. I mean, Angus Kidd a bit further down, 24th in qualifying at the moment, so he's just in the field. Got a fair bit of work to do. He spun that car out in qualifying, had a couple of good runs, but just couldn't put the entire package. You see the guys there, they're having a good time. And oh, look at that. Shark is here, man. The Shark is in the house. Barra-powered S15. Look at that. The Barra hanging out the front. I mean, watch out for the Barras. They make some huge power. They got plenty of torque. The Aussie 6-cylinder, mate, that thing makes huge torque down low. Very easy to make 500 plus kilowatts out of those things at the tyre. So Shark is in the field today. Good to see him down here. And one of the things we've got to grab from Sharker is he's actually celebrating his birthday this weekend. What a weekend to have that one. Good to see Alex Sharker there, qualified 11th, and he's going to have to take on Danny Probert a bit later on, obviously in the 24. And Danny Probert, let's hope he gets that car fixed. I mean, let's have a check out a bit of a replay, though, of how that happened. You see him coming around, and he spoke about it in the interview. He said, maybe I was just a little bit slow, and then you can see him come in there, and back wheels connect, and the front wheel connects to the back wheel. Oh, that's very unfortunate for that to happen in practice earlier in the day. So we'll see if Danny Probert can get the big XD back out. I mean, the custom work on the back of that car, I mean, independent rear suspension, all made in-house in his factory. And so there aren't replacement parts. You can't go around the pitch. You can't ask for arms. We don't have wires fab in the back of that thing. So it is no one else in the pits. I know the NT crew are scrambling together. Some of the NT guys are getting behind him, and they're trying to repair that car. We did see it out there as we went out before, as we went out for a moment's silence there for Krista Jagger. So hopefully if that car's driven out, that means it is good to go. And will he send the big XD this weekend? He hasn't qualified where he wants to. He's in 22nd. Alex Sharker is going to be a real tough competitor alongside him in that S15, so S14 with the Barra in it. So the two Barras up against each other. Can't wait to see that one. Daniel Mesmer there, obviously, in the Hog's Breath car this weekend. Good to see he could make it down here. Unfortunately, his new car wasn't ready to go, but, you know, when you have someone come in and say, mate, you know what, I'm going to lend you my car. Let's just go and do this. It is fantastic to have him back in the series. He is an up-and-coming talent, and amazing what he could do over the next 10 years in the Hi-Tec Drift All Series. I tell you what, though, talk about up-and-coming stars. Jeff is up with one of our younger stars right now in the pits, Patrick Barley.
I'm here with Patrick Barley, showing off his new Corvette. What's been done to it?
Yeah, so we had a little bit of a change-up from the old S13 that we ran last season. So, yeah, we decided to go and get the HGK body kit fitted out on a C6 Corvette. We're running the old 434 cubic inch late model dirt motor in there. And yeah, just changing it up a little bit lighter than our last car. Definitely a lot more power and adjustability. And yeah, just changing it up.
I heard rumors that this whole Kevlar carbon fiber kit weighs
38 kilos. So yeah, the box that it came in was lighter than the kit itself.
That's crazy. What other cool things have you done to this build?
Yeah, so we put a bit of dirt track technology back into the car, as we always do like to run. You know, the drift world is quite new in Australia, and yeah, we're just trying to find different ways to approach different scenarios and hopefully gain a bit of an advantage of it.
That's awesome. What's the reason for going 17s on the car?
Yeah, it just comes down to tyre profile, tyre rollout, getting a bit more sidewall, standing it up there. And at the end of the day, it is quite significantly cheaper to buy a 17 in bulk than it is an 18-inch.
That does make sense. So I heard that you have a sprint car background.
Yeah, a little bit of speedway background. I started racing quarter midgets when I was 3, and then I moved up into junior sedans, ran a bit of street stocks too, and yeah, really do like the dirt track kind of stuff.
So what are we looking at here?
Yeah, so we have a 434 cubic inch dirt late model motor, so pretty much shipped straight over from the States. So this is a 9,000 RPM, quite large cubic inch Singer, and yeah, it's just a little bit more throttle responsive, and definitely having the nice torque with the big cubes is making it a bit easier to drive out there.
Yeah, when you start it up in the pits, you definitely get the attention from all the boys and the crowd.
Yeah, it's certainly an earplug kind of car out there, so yeah, it's quite hard to hear, and the ringing's definitely there in the ears after the driving it, but yeah, it sounds good.
We also noticed that you're left-hand drive.
Yeah, I do certainly prefer to drive left-hand drive now. Simulators at home are set up all left-hand drive, and it is just my personal preference to handbrake and shift with the opposing hand as per usual, and I do find it more comfortable out there.
Awesome. Back to you guys.
what his family bring to the mix is very different to what we've seen throughout the drift community in past years. I mean, they have different ideas, they have different ways of doing things, and maybe they'll find something new that no one else gives him that little bit of an edge. But yeah, they've definitely got a nice machine there, and the C6 Corvette is great to have on track. A new look for those guys this season. Can't wait to see what they bring. But I mean, Jeff, he's been absolutely busy down in the pits. We've had him running around. He's a great new asset to the team here at the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars team. And Jeff Hayes, well, he's down there now though with a heap of drivers, and I can't wait to see who he's going to catch up with next.
Hey, we're here with Dane. He's a driver from Queensland. How did you go with the trip down?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Trip down was good. The boys jumped in, done all the driving. I sat in the back, done some chilling.
How's the car been driving today?
Oh, absolutely terrible. I entered Pro and Pro-Am, and we had some silly dramas. One of my fuses popped, and my fans didn't work. Overheated, didn't even make it to the line.
So bit of electrical drama.
Oh mate, it absolutely gutted me. But I'm ready to roll into Pro now, versing Senna, one of my boys, and his whole crew even helped me with getting the car ready. So
yeah, that's awesome. So
that's what it's all about, eh?
Yeah, that's it. You gotta be in it to win it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Big shout out to my sponsors: AB Crane Hire, DTL Constructions, Kudos Motorsport, Mr. Transmissions, Pro T, and Loco Customs.
That's awesome, man. Well, I hope you do good out there today.
Thank you, brother.
Back to you.
Yeah, the top 24 are making their way out, scrubbing the tyres, getting ready to go in there. That C6 Corvette of Patrick Barley warming up, and he will be taking on Daniel Mesmer, driving the Hogs Breast S13, of course, Ute there. RB25 powered. I mean, Dan Keneally's lent him the car for this weekend. What a fantastic mate when he can turn around. My car's not going to make it. Dan Keneally said, mate, you cannot miss this meet. You must get down there. Take my car. It's done back-to-back weekends, the RB25. Super reliable. It's been out there for like 10 years competing with this package. It's quite a heavy car, though, for its time. Very underpowered compared to what we've got Patrick Barley in that Corvette. 434 cubes. All the power on tap that you can have. There we go. Talk about old school now. XD Falcon, 1979. That goes all. It's got to be one of the oldest cars in the field, I reckon. Danny Pro, looks like that car has been repaired. That is great news to see Danny Pro, but just trying to get his head around. Of course, he's bent something. How do you feel in the car at that point? You need to get that confidence going to this one, because he is taking on Alex Sharker. That is a man with another Barra-powered car, but very set up more for the drift world. S chassis, of course. That thing is going to be super hard. It's going to handle exactly how the judges want. The XD is a lot longer, different wheelbase, but the technology put in under this car is phenomenal. So we'll see how those two battle it out. Is he just going to go out there and push it to the limits there, the XD? We'll find out what Danny Probert does in that one, of course. Top 24 battle coming up here in the Hi-Tec Oils Pro Series at the moment. And as you can see, Daniel Mesmer getting ready to go. Patrick Barley just behind him, sitting back a little bit further there, the C6 Corvette. It's not far till we get underway. Now, here's a little bit of a story going on with this one, the Z Performance 08 there. Cookie is ready to go. Damien Cook, yes, he's got the Z Performance products on board, of course, sponsoring our Pro-Am, but Cookie is in the Pro class. But the big story this weekend, Mickey Moo, the Irishman, we can never know what he's going to say, but his car has actually got damaged this weekend and he couldn't finish. So, you know, Damien Cook comes to the rescue and says, mate, I will let you drive my car. You can come out and get a qualifier in and do that. So that car doing double duties this weekend, and we'll see how long it is till Mr. Mickey Moo wants to talk about the LS. Brad Toohey back, of course, Estino, Tyres Australia on the side, Prestige Tyre and Auto. Fantastic supporters of Brad Toohey for quite a long period of time there, and he did not make it. We had to have a late qualifying for him. He got in there and he's managed to get qualified 10th at the moment, Brad Toohey. So we'll see how that goes though. Top 24 battles at the moment on trash. You can see this is between 16 and 17 in the top 24. Whoever wins this one will take on Matt Harvey in the next one. That's going to be a tough contender, but Mesmer will lead this one out. Patrick Barley right behind that Corvette. You see they just slide around the first corner. Winds the angle on a little bit there. Here we go. We're looking for a late transition. Puts it in. Barley just grabs a little bit of curb there, right up on the inside though, closes that gap up. Was there contact made? I don't know. Mesmer there pulls to the side. Barley will go through and of course lights up those tyres with absolute ease on the back. Those little 17s just getting tortured in the Barley C6 Corvette. You can see makes it around the back ends there now, gets through. Just getting a little bit of practice run. We're going to have another look at that one because I am not 100% sure where the contact was made. Let's check out the Tri-Ace replay. Here we go. See it on our screens.
Patrick Barley grabs a little bit of curve, straight out the time, comes right in, though, closes that gap up. Was there contact made? I don't know. Guys, I can't really tell from this angle. We might have to go down to our judges a little bit later, the tri-ace replay. I tell you what, if contact was made, that is really going to hurt him there with the judging. He's going to have to do a big job in front and hope that Mesmer maybe makes a mistake. I mean, you would think that Daniel Mesmer is the underdog in this battle with that, lower powered car. It's been around for a long time. It does great things out there, of course, the Hogsborough S13 Ute, but obviously not up to the latest technology, not with the huge power we see. Barley, obviously, with everything in the car, huge power, huge technology, lots of lock, everything, all that experience that he's got from his family background with over a speedway, black track, all that stuff, they've put that all in that car. So he's the man, he's the one that's got to risk it to lose it. I mean, Daniel Mesmer, he's here. He shouldn't have been here, really. His car was not ready, but he managed there to have a mate. Dan Keneally comes out, says, borrow my car, let's go down there, let's make this happen. Round 1 of the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars for 2021 here. The top 24 on track at the moment. Don't forget to follow us, of course, on Twitter at Hi-Tec Drift Australia. Of course, if you're on the socials, you're already watching us out here on the free live stream, and we can't thank you enough for being great supporters here. And the Pro-Am not far away, of course, all thanks to Zoo Performance. They are back. Great supporters of, that class of drifting here in Australia. So many of our pro cars got Zoo Performance on board as well, but they love putting the money into Pro-Am. They love seeing all the drifters come up, all the young guys come up, building new cars, going through it, getting the experience so they can come out here and join the pro class in the coming years to come. It is just getting stronger and stronger in the drift community around Australia. It's fantastic to have such large fields here that we have 2 top 24s here today. Of course, the pro class and the Pro-Am both have a top 24, but there was more cars than that. I mean, we had to cut it down. We've lost some guys through mechanical failure, and some we just had to have earlier battles there. They were, otherwise we almost made a top 32, obviously, in the Pro-Am, but we didn't quite get there. So a couple of guys had to battle that off to make it into the top 24. Can't wait to see, though, how that all unfolds here today. You can see Sam Taboosh there, just cars waiting in the form-up area, ready to go. Daniel Mesmer, is he going to make it back out? I'm having a look. Yes, it looks like he is going to start coming out too. Obviously had a quick check of that car after that contact he put over to the side. This means, though, Patrick Barley will get to lead this battle this time. The left-hand drive there, as you can see. You can almost give a high five to each other as they take off. Barley, though, he's going to have plenty of power in this one. Huge power advantage, but, will that speed be what the judges are looking for? They're going to look here as he comes out. Not a bad line there. Transition it late. Go around, here we go. Let's see if he goes onto this clipping point now. Winds the lock on there. Out to the clipping point, feels that now. It's just a smoke screen. Mesmer needs to drive through this. You can't look at, the wheels are off. See, this can go wrong. Barley with 2 wheels off, and that is going to hurt him in the points. Especially not understanding what happened in that last run. I mean, if there was contact there, you would think that Daniel Mesmer now would have the advantage in this. We'll wait to see what the judges' scores are, but I'll be waiting to see who goes through between these two. Check out the tri-ace replay. Patrick Barley with the power and the C6 Corvette just goes away. Smoke in the tyres. The car is very gripped up there, doesn't it? Looks super aggressive there. Mesmer straightens there to try and close that gap. Barley at this point is running his own drift. He just needs to keep on line, do exactly what the judges do. It's a qualifying run, but he goes wide, and once you get a wheel on that outside, it is quite a big drop-off. It just really pulls the car off the track. Second wheel goes off by the looks of it, and that's going to hurt him immensely when it comes to the scores in this lead run. He could be back in the truck this weekend, and that car could be going back for some maintenance in between rounds, unfortunately. So Patrick Barley, just waiting to see what the result is. Of course, the number 2 there, the young gun. Big things to come from him, of course. Last year we did see him on the podium. I believe it was 3rd in round number 1 last year that we did get in. And he got a couple of podiums at the end of 2019 as well in his old S13 chassis, which had the same motor in it. Of course, they got the 434 in that as well, but they've gone to this new setup. Totally brand new car, super technology, and they've got the adjustable sway bars in it, trying lots of things out that, are legal in the rule book, but guys just haven't really put it to practice. These guys, though, thinking outside the box. I mean, when you say it, the packaging for the bodywork weighed more than what the bodywork did. So that's very interesting when you look there, of course. All right, another Territorian up on screen, though. Mitch Doyle looks like he's going to be leading this one on the supercharged LS, of course, from Nightcliff Electrical up there in the top end, taking on Angus Kidd, mate. This car grips up this Supra, 2J powered, all the horsepower in the world. Compared to the supercharged LS of Mitch Doyle, plenty of torque in that one. little bit of a balk there, though, over the ripple strip for Angus there. Transition from Mitch. Looks like he gets the car around nice and cleanly. Grabs a bit of handbrake, goes straight into the car. Oh, no, that's going to hurt him. Has to get there and get on the clutch as well. Angus Kidd pulls out of this one, though, so we'll have to see what the judges say about that one. I'm just seeing what happens there. So Angus Kidd now pulled out of this one after we saw Mitchell Doyle straighten up the night with electrical S13. That's a very unfortunate start for him because he wasn't doing too bad in qualifying, actually, because he was the top Territorian there, actually, in 9th position, Mitch Doyle. Angus Kidd was back in 24 after making a mistake on the qualifying runs. We check out the Tri-Ace replay on screen at the moment. They switch over through, get through the first corner. So much handbrake there from Mitchell and just washes off so much speed. The car just grips up at that point and he has to really get back into the drift again, starting from where he should have been on the outer clipping point under full power. Gets back into that zone and tries to finish the drift off of Mitch Doyle. Not quite sure what happened to Angus Kidd there, whether he has just decided that, hey, I'm going to get out of this one altogether, or whether he has some sort of issue in the background. Hasn't really been his weekend. The super reliable car, though, of Mitch Doyle, that's been really good. We've seen in the past there, hasn't had too many dramas with that. Got on board with Aaron Jouard Performance and rebuilding that engine up. I think he's had a bit of a freshen up over COVID as well. They've put the spanners on that engine, just made sure everything is all right. For no reason whatsoever than just maintenance, as we do see with these guys between rounds, especially with this break. They've had to do a lot of maintenance on the cars, refresh some parts. But Jeff, you have someone down in the pits for us right now.
I'm here with Sam. Just tell us a little bit of your weekend and how it's going so far.
So far, it's been all right. I've been out of competition for a few years now, so we built a new car over the last 2 years, so we've had a bit of time off. This is a bit more of a wild setup compared to what I've stepped out of with the previous build. But yeah, it's going good so far. I'm struggling with the layout a bit. It's a bit fast. The car's very fast, so I'm trying to work on just grip levels and a good balance just so I can drive the car. So I'm looking forward to the first battle with Alex K. He's pretty fast, which suits the car and my driving style. So wish us luck and see how we go.
100%. Best of luck. Back to you guys.
All right, let's check out some of the results that came out of these last battles. They will start to come up on our screen. We'll go through them, but of course, now you can see Angus Kidd, though. We're going to go to this run first. Angus Kidd now going to lead. Now, before we saw Mitchell Doyle straighten up throughout his run, then Angus Kidd got out of it. So we'll let the judges decide that. We might grab a word from Dan Mackey after this, and we'll see how we go. But Mitchell Doyle's now going to have the chase run. You see that he grabbed a lot of handbrakes as he went through those first couple of that second corner there and really slowed the car up and it gripped up. Our officials there, you can see, talking through this, waiting to release these cars. Of course, Hi-Tec Oils, great supporters of the Pro Series and the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars, and looks like Angus Kidd using a bit of manpower to get that car backwards. So that is not a good sign from the Game On Motorsports entry. Struggling with the car a little bit this weekend. I know they've done a fair bit of work just to make it to this series. So Mitch Doyle may get a get out of jail free card here because the Nycliffe Electrical S13 looking strong. Air cleaner sitting there, mate, sucking in some beautiful, crisp, cool air here at Winton today. Of course, like we did say earlier in the show, we're only a couple of hours out of Melbourne, and Winton is an absolutely fantastic track when we love to bring the drifting back here. It's been a few years. 2017 was the last time we were here, and we didn't do these back M's. The guys are loving it. Very technical there in the first part of the track. You need to watch it as well. The track has some superb grip levels out there, and when you come around the corner and you get that thing on full lock, it actually goes a little bit off camber and there's a drop off the edge. So it's a sort of risk it or bin it situation there because you really need to stay on the power and grab it, get the car to hook up and push it around and almost slingshot the car around the corner there and make those clipping points and impress the judges here today. Of course, we've got some new judges on board. Josh Rogers, Victoria, involved in Keep It Read. He's done some fantastic work behind the steering wheel as well. Promoter, started judging. It's fantastic to have him on here because he is very familiar with this track and gives us that local familiarity, being a Victorian. Then we get Stewie Bryant. Well, if you know anything in drifting, you know the name Stewie Bryant. He's synonymous with mad angle, huge entries, runs events over in South Australia, promoter as well, got involved in the drifting, been overseas, competed in a lot of different things, has a lot of vast different experience as well, and it's great to have him here at the Hi-Tec Drift Series. Joining, of course, JDM's back. James D. Martle is back from South Australia as well, so the South Aussies pretty strong up there in the box at the moment, but great to have JDM back here once again in the Hi-Tec Oils Drift Series. And Dan Mackey back, of course, head judge once again. We'll get some information out of him a little bit later. But Jeff, mate, you are down there getting all the information in the pits for us. We can't wait to see what you got for us now.
Yeah, I'm just down here in the pits, and Gricey, what's going on?
We've been a rack end earlier and we've done a quick wheel alignment ourselves. We've got the measurements off the wheel liner, but who knows how good the tape measure is. So just did a mechanical then, and she got stuck on lock up the top, and I couldn't pull out of it to take the corner and skated off the track. So just trying to take care of that now. So hopefully we can give Shembri a good nudge.
Good luck in your next battle.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, choice words there. Give him a nudge. They'll be door to door for sure. Now, who is driving this one at the moment? I'm just going to have a look if this is Mickey Moo or we do have Damien Cook, because Mickey Moo now doing double duties in this car. We've got him into a V8. That's what we've done. We've gone and got him into one of those. So we'll see how he goes. I'm just checking up here to see who he is taking on. Of course, Benny Meir is there as well. He's a fantastic boy. This car's looking gorgeous, actually, the 311 Motorsport car. But it will be the Blink Design Zoo Performance R33. Well, what is it? What do we call it? Is it a Skyliner door? I think that's what the name you put on it. The Skyliner door is what it's called, with the front end on it. It actually doesn't look too bad. But, of course, big Chevy power plant on board for BSC Performance. Bogger's done a fantastic job screwing that motor together. What's that? The 400 I think it's 408 cubes, actually. But those guys built a tough engine there, and just going to roll around, maybe checking something out on the car. We'll see if we can find out exactly what's going on. Benny Meir left on the start line. There did seem to be a little bit of smoke out of the car there when he was trying to pull it up, and he went to the right of our starter and tried to go around. So we'll find out what is going on with that one. Benny Meir was taking on Damien Cook, so it's actually Cookie in the car. And they're very familiar with this car, done plenty of laps. They've rebuilt this throughout COVID, haven't they? He banged this car up a fair bit around Calder, and he's done a bit of damage to that over the time. And the guys from Zoo Performance, obviously, he's heavily involved there in that community, and they put a lot of performance products into it. Bogger's done a fair bit of work on the running gear as well, and that car has stepped up into Pro this year. Last year running in Pro-Am, but he's put the semis on it. A big grip difference for him. Talking to him earlier, as we said, Winton, they're very familiar. He's a Victorian local down here. He's done plenty of things. Like Benny Meir's going to go on a solo run there, so must be some issues there for Cookie, and they've just let him drive that car off the track. So Benny Meir going to go through the 311 Motorsports car now and just do a run on his own. He'll just be trying to impress the judges. It's a good little practice for him out there this afternoon. Conditions would have changed from this morning too. The temperature of the track may have gone up a little bit more rubber laid as well as these guys get around. And that's a little bit of a talking point for some of these guys with the huge horsepower, is that they are struggling to do 3 laps out there with these tyres. The Ems is a long track. It's a lot of underpower driving as well. So very easy to blow the tyres off it. Mo Hulu was one of those guys we spoke to. He said, look, mate, I'm not practicing anymore. We've got enough tyres left. That's all we got. If we get a rerun, that's what's going to be very interesting. They're going to have to pull in some of these guys with huge horsepower and grab tyres. Now, Senna Tunney looks like he is good to go, and he's going to be the lead runner on this one for Senna, taking on Dane Wilkinson, who's entered 2 categories this weekend. Big G's, oh no, dirt there in the background. Something has gone off, at least one wheel there. We'll let the judges decide on that one. But Senna Tunney there gets on it in the R33. Oh no, they come together. The doors are open. Contact made. Dan Wilkinson. And the front wheel is bent up underneath too. Huge damage. He won't be able to fix that one. 5 minutes ain't going to fix that, especially if he calls a timeout. And he's probably going to have to pull off the side of the track. We may have some recovery going on here for Dan Wilkinson. That is super unfortunate. He qualified 21st. Senna Tunney in 12th. Oh, that's it's not what we want to see when we start here in the top 24 qualifying here of the Hi-Tec Oils Pro-Am. We did not want to see that come together. The Loco Customs car there. These guys have been working on that in the pits. I can vouch for that. We were down there earlier doing a fair bit. You check out the Tri-Ace replay there. Senna Tunney out in front, giving a nice big smoke screen. Brings it out there, winds on the lock, tries to slow the car down a bit. In comes in. Front wheels were locked up at that point too from Dane Wilkinson. So it looks like maybe he tried to straighten up there and really get that gap to close and try and get on the inside there. Unfortunately, it didn't work for him. Blocked the wheel up and has made contact with Senna Tunney. You can see that dent there, obviously behind the driver in the back quarter. Doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bad. It's not going to stop Senna Tunney from competing at this point, but will he go around and just do the solo run? No, don't know if he'll need to check out the Tri-Ace replay once again. Here we go. We get on the lock there. We'll have to look at the judge say, grab some handbrake there. That's why we've got those stickers on the tyres. That's a huge amount of handbrake as he really drags that in, and that's what's taken a lot of the speed out of his entry into that corner. So we are going to let the judges decide on that one, and it'll be great to grab some words about that. We'll let the judges, and we'll see if we can grab a word from them and maybe some notes there. But Jeff is still down in the pits there, mate, and you're catching up with everyone at the moment.
Yeah, I'm here with Alex. I've seen this 14s in here, nice and pretty, and then I noticed something in the engine bay. What's going on there?
Yeah, so with the new car build, we thought we'd put the Mighty Barra in it, and a bit unsure at first, but really happy with it at the moment. Yeah, it's making about 420 odd kilowatt, and yeah, really on song.
How was the trip down from Sydney?
Yeah, trip was really good. Been here a few times. This is the first competition for this car. Been out probably 4 times prior practice, and yeah, it's running really good. Couple of small issues, but nothing we can't work around.
What are these little issues that you can't work around with?
So we have the fans drawing a bit too much amperage, and it's running standard ECU. So once it drops below 12 volts, it goes into limp mode. So more or less cars to turn off and on to reset. So mid-battle, that's not possible, but yeah, just try and keep the car nice and cool, and yeah, just more or less run it as we can.
How are you going with surface grip out there? A lot of the boys have been trying to dial out a little bit of traction. So I think Winton's a little bit more grippier than everyone's used to. Well, how's that with you?
Yeah, definitely. So this round we're running Z-Novas, and they're really grippy. Yesterday we actually struggled too much grip, so we wound the grip out. But woke up this morning, track's a lot cooler, and yeah, now we've actually put the pressures down a bit more and softened the car up, and yeah, we're in top gear the whole track. So yeah, loving it now.
You feeling comfortable out there?
Yeah. When I'm not pushing too hard, I'm loving it.
Well, good luck for today.
Okay, thank you.
Back to you guys.
Well, that's unfortunate for Dane Wilkinson there. He's getting tilt trade off. That front left is just really bent up. Control arms are bent on that one, and he will get taken off. Unfortunately, won't be able to compete with Senatani in the run again, so won't get a lead run in this one. And I don't know if that will see Senatani go through, because there was a lot of handbrake on that one. And we'll leave that to the judges to decide. They can see everything, and you know, it's something to point out for the viewers at home there. As you can see that tape on the wheels, that's actually because it makes it very easy for the judges, as you did see in that replay. We slowed it down a bit. You can see that tape, you know, and different colour to the rest of the rim. You can tell that someone's pulled the handbrake on, and that's what they're doing. And it helps the judges decide why they slowed down. Did they put on too much lock and slow down? Did they grab some foot brake? Or are they just dragging the back of that car around on the handbrake? And that's what's happened there. We'll let the judges sort that one out, but as you can see, that will go off. Matt Grice looks like they've got that car repaired, though, and he's getting ready to battle out with Scott Shembry as he gets back into the series. Now, Grice actually out-qualified Shembry. Grice in 15th, Scott Shembry in 18th. Out there in the field. So Shembry, we would expect to see him a little bit further up, but they've made some changes to the Hi-Tec Blaze Unit 350Z, of course. You can see the brand new paint job on board. They're always upgrading things under this car, different changes. Now, word has it that maybe they've taken a little bit of power out of this car, because the twin-turboed LS, very heavy in the front of the car, made huge amounts of torque before and big horsepower. Now, when it does that, sometimes it means you can't actually grip the tyres up. The other difference they've got this year is, of course, they have gone to the Tri-Ace tyre. Now, you know, they're one of the Hi-Tec, you know, the Hi-Tec Oils sponsored cars, of course. Tri-Ace here with the series as well. They've got them on board, a very different grip level. Now, taking them on totally different alongside Gricey's Workshop VK Commodore. Now, this thing, it almost looks Group C like. I love it there, and of course he's got the, you know, the elastic on the front there, like you see, holding up the bar. They expect him to come with plenty of bar work in the back of this one too. But a Zoo Performance product, the Z-Novas taking on the Tri-Aces. It's going to be a showdown, the tyre battle there. Both these guys turbocharged LS combination, of course. Shembry though, he's got 2 of those turbos, so you think that'll be double the horsepower? No, it's not. It's just he's going to do it very easily with two turbos in the front of that one. Gricey though with the big single turbo on board, but done plenty of laps in this recently as well. Looking absolutely fantastic as we kick off the 2021 season here at the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars at Winton Raceway here, a couple of hours out of Melbourne in Victoria. Shembry though, gone back to the red and black colours. It was more white last year. It was red though years ago, more red than black, and it's gone back to those traditional colours, the Hi-Tec Blaze Unit. What will the Master Chef do today here? The Tri-Aces, will they go up in smoke? Will they last 2 runs? That's going to be the question. How much power have they left in this engine combination? It's had to freshen up in the off-season. Gricey's going to lead us out though. Let's see how he goes in this run. Shembry keeps right up in that back quarter though. Exactly what the judges wanted to. Has to leave a little bit of room there though, Gricey. That's what they asked for. The switchback now, gets on the lock. Doesn't look like it binds up for Gricey, does it? Oh, there's a lot of lock on there. Can he hold on to it? Shembry had to straighten in the background. He's going to have to do something here to impress the judges. Gricey winds the lock on once again. He's looking pretty comfortable out there. Doesn't look like he's struggling with the steering wheel from our point of view. Gets the car back on the transition. Shembry now closes the gap up, right up on the wheel, does everything he needs to do in the back section of this track. But there was a straighten earlier on from Shembry, and Gricey does a nice job. The adjustments they've made. Check out the Tri-Ace replay on screen now. You can see him bumping around, just grabbing a little bit of curb by the looks there, and it sort of threw him off a little bit there for Shembry there, looking very uncomfortable in the car at that point there. The back section of the Emzo gets on the Blaze unit and smokes the tyres through here, closes the gap up, winds on a bit of a lock, but Gricey doing a nice job out in front. Just trying to throw it out the back a bit more and wind that lock on exactly what the judges wanted. Keep it a little bit wide and throw it down the inside. He's very wide there at that point, though, as he goes across the finish line. So we'll see what the judges think about that line. Of course, line, speed, and angle if you just got into drifting. That's what we're looking for, line, speed, and angle. The judges go out and explain that. Well, Dane Wilkinson up on screen at the moment, and look at the amount of damage on that car. Bent rim. You can only imagine how many parts are actually bent in the front suspension of that car. Strut tower maybe. The guard's sacrificial. Those things, you can buy them, you can replace them. The bumpers, we can tape them up. We can do all sorts of things. Put them together with a bit of angle, pot rivet them back together. But if the strut tower where it physically is has moved, that is going to be a fair bit of work for the team. If it's just some control arms, maybe we can go around there, especially if he's got the Wisefab in there. That'd be quite easy to change out there in a short period of time, but they've got a fair bit of work to do no matter what happens here. You'll have to throw a different rim on the front. We look at offsets. Guys have all sorts of different offsets for the rear of the car. They come prepared for that. They're looking for grip. They're taking grip out. It doesn't matter what it is. Different tyres. They've got all the spares there. But not a lot carry a spare for the front, because sometimes they might run a different offset, whether it be brakes, whether it be the setup, the camber they're running. So that's going to be interesting to see if he's got a spare front there that is exactly the same. I mean, the guys are going to put on whatever rim fits and take the car out if they get another opportunity at this one. But we'll have to find out and see what's happening there. So just going to have a look and see how we're going with some of our results there. Looks like Daniel Mesmer actually will go through to check it out here now. Scott Shembry's going to lead this one out. Gricey, though, right up on the back this time. Shembry be more comfortable out in front. Takes that nicely. Just grabs a little bit of curb by the looks in the front. Very fast, though. Look at the grip there. Grabs a bit of handbrake, pulls the car in. Look how fast the car. Gricey now has some issues there and straightens up as well. So both cars in the chase run have made some errors there. The lead car really, though, needs to pull strong. It's going to come down to who does the best lead run out of these battles. Remembering that each car will go on a lead run. They battle it out. One car will lead one battle, then they'll change around. The other car will lead. Shembry there with a nice finish to that one as we check out the Tri-Ace replay. Goes in nice and tight on that one, just grabs a little bit of curb, gets on the side, grabs a handbrake at that point, and when he gets on the throttle, doesn't this car just pull away? The amount of grip it seems to have in the Blaze Unit 350Z drives away from Matty Grice in the Grice's Workshop VK Commodore. And Gricey has a bit of a straighten as well, and that's not good. That's going to hurt him a little bit, much like Shembry did. Different part of the track there, and he's very wide, which is not the line. Not quite sure if he got a wheel off there at the end. We didn't see it on camera, so we'll have to see what happens here with the judging. Be very interesting to see what they've got to say after this top 24, and I'm sure we will catch up with Dan Mackey to run us through some of these decisions that have happened throughout the day, and I'm going to just keep looking up on my board to see some of the results as they come through. All right, let's send out the next couple of drivers. There we go, the S15. Oh, look at the battle scars already on this thing. Alex Kay, this thing's got all sorts of things hanging off it, but he's going to get it around there at the moment. As you can see, he's taking on Sam Tabouche there. He said he's been out of the series for a few years. He's come back totally from, oh no, that looks like wheels off there very quickly there for Alex Kay. Oh, that's going to hurt him. We'll have to see what the judges think about that one. It did look like dirt. You can tell quite quickly as it goes off. It's not all brown dirt around here, but you can tell that grey dust just comes up very quickly. Those wheels come off in deduction for one wheel, but big deduction for two wheels. Check out the Tri-Ace replay. He leads out in front. He's got so much speed, doesn't he, in this S15? Just pulls away there. Doesn't look like any handbrake at that one. Just keeping the tyres going, playing with the throttle, modulating it so he can try and grab as much traction as possible. At this point, though, there we go. He grabs at least one wheel out on the dirt there, drops it off. That's going to hurt him in the scores, though. I mean, Sam Tabouche there, he's going to have to lead this one as well on the next run. We'll see how that goes for him. Jeff, you're down there, though, with Dan Wilkinson. A lot of damage on that car.
There is a lot of damage, and there's a lot of hands on deck. Just everything's happening right now. Tie rods are getting pulled out. Dan, what's happening right now?
I thought he might have slowed up a bit, but I sent it, smashed into him pretty bit fast, yeah. Bit shaky, mate, but ready to roll.
Bit shaky, all hands on deck. Hopefully you get it fixed. Back to you guys.
Well, it looks like the crew know exactly what they're doing, don't they? They're all in there. The right tools are over there. They're inspecting to see whether they're going to get this thing fixed. it's going to be hard to tell. We're looking at the shots up on our screen at the moment. You really can't tell from where we are, but yeah, a very hard shunt there at the time. A lot of handbrake in front of him, so that's one for the judges to decide, but hopefully he's got the spare parts. It looks like we're going to go with some good old Aussie engineering there, as we're just going to get a big pole out there and see what we can straighten up, Jeff, and see how that goes. Throw the air cleaner away. We don't need that right now because we're not going again unless we can get this thing fixed, but they're going to have to try and get those. The hardest part of this is going to be trying to get the bent parts out, because if it bends enough that it covers up a bolt or a nut or something like that where you can't get to it, then you can't pull it out. So they've got a lot of thrashing to do down there in the pits. I hope they can get that done, and hopefully they can get this car back out there, because like you say, taking on the Zoo Performance Pro-Am as well as the Hi-Tec Oils Pro category this time. So Alex Kay going through at the moment. We're going to see Sam Tabouche there in the background, and as Sam pulled off the track, and that's what I'm trying to see. I can't see Sam Tabouche. Maybe some issues with the car there. He was not keeping up at the time there with Alex Kay, and maybe that's a bit of an issue for him, maybe some mechanical. We'll find out. I mean, Jeff is running around doing a hard job for us, and I've already said it, but welcome Jeff Hayes here to the commentary crew for the weekend and for the series really in 2021 of the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars. And there's some noise out on track, and there's some stuff warming up, which means we've got another battle about to come your way. And I think it's Benny Meir. I think Cookie's gone away, fixed whatever the issue was with the car. He's out in the scrubbing area, just giving those tyres a little bit of a warm-up there. What do we call it? The Skyliner door? The Skyliner door. The Zoo Performance Skyliner door. And he's got the new intake on too. What's better than one air cleaner? Two. Ram that air down there. Naturally aspirated LS power, of course, for Cookie. Ready to go. And the Bling design on board. Does lots of liveries for these guys out there in the drift community. Lots of wraps as well on the cars. He works hard, based down here in Victoria. We love having him in the drift series. Come up from Pro-Am. So with the support from his sponsors, moved this car from a Pro-Am car up to a Pro car. Loving getting on the semi-slicks, really pushing it hard there. He came out this morning, said, I did a killer practice run, absolutely killer practice run. Said, I'm not going to jinx it. That's it. I've done it. And then, of course, his mate, Mickey Moo, has some engine issues, and he's lent him the car as well. So double duties, as you can see. Alex Sharker now coming on track, and Danny Prober. So they'll be the next two to battle it out. They'll come out in the scrubbing zone. Let's have a look at this one, though. Looks like Damien Cookie is going to lead this one out. Benny Meir will be there in the chase run. See how Cookie goes. Comes through a slight slide through the first corner. Oh, no, wheels off. Comes back over the ripple strip, bounces the car along. That's got to be hurting the car, and he drops a lot of dirt on the track as well. Benny Meir just slides the car around now. He's off, thrown up by the lead car. We'll wait to see what the judges say about that one. Cookie back here will be kicking himself with that one. That's exactly what he'll be doing. He will not be happy about that happening, Cookie. Wheels are off. It's his track, Winton. He's done plenty of laps here, and he knows what you've got to commit to, but he'll be having a great time this weekend. He always loves being behind the wheel of this car and just blazing the tyres in the back. As we check out the Tri-Ace replay, it was a big off, wasn't it? Huge off there, and bounces the car back over the ripple strip. Risks absolutely everything under the car. You could damage so much doing that. Benny Meir just slowly slides off the back there as he's just waiting to see what happens to Cookie's car. And then you see on the second half of the run, Cookie just gets back into it, and the tyres are blazing away once again. Gets through this back section, goes out wide, dips the car in under full throttle, and it's just a smoke show from Cookie now. He knows he's done the damage when it comes to the judging, but he's got it back. Now, look, the flare missing off the Danny Prober car, so a bit of damage there earlier with his little incident with Alex Kay, but it's out there and ready to go. Jeff, though, you're down there in the pits.
Yeah, just down here with Alex, just wondering what's next for you, your next battle. Where's your head at?
Right now, we've just done a lead run. I'm pretty sure I've got better points than the chase driver, which is Sam from New South Wales. He's called a 5-minute rule. His car's currently not working, so I'm waiting for him to fix his car, hopefully within the 5 minutes, so then we can go back out and I can chase him. Yeah, I'm ready.
Hopefully he gets it all done and we see you having a crazy battle. Back to you.
Well, there you go, the 5-minute rule, and they can call that as well. If they have some mechanical issue, they get a 5-minute rule. Obviously, he's already going to have the advantage there, as we see Sam Tabouche with some mechanical issues. Now, Benny Meir's going to lead this one out. Last time it was Damien Cook in the lead run, and he dropped wheels off. Benny Meir needs to put a run together at the moment. Cookie out wide in the background. He's gone big time. Oh, my God, he goes across. He's going to have to rejoin the race circuit. Oh, it's not Cookie's day. He's been down there, actually, in the pits. They actually have been Cookie away, getting some wings going. So, Looks like he's going to be back on barbecue duties, and Mickey Moo's going to have to bring this car home for him. Maybe we'll still see the Bling Design car, but Benny Meer in the lead run this time, stays on track. You would assume that would give him a huge advantage in this run, and I can't see how Damien Cook is going to get any points in that one. And Benny Meer, I would expect to see him go through the next round. The Tri-Ace replay, look at it. Cookie initiates in, car just slides off. Oh, I'm glad he's got the suspension wound up. That was almost four-wheel drive mode there. He got the car a little bit airborne as he came off the track. It really cambers off there in the dirt. Gets back to track, finishes off the tyres for him, Cookie, though. But Benny Meer stays on track, uses this. He might not have seen Cookie go off the back. I reckon he would have seen him, though, as he came around trying to rejoin the course here at Winton. The M's putting on a great display of skill here this afternoon for round number 1 here at Winton of the Hi-Tec Oils Drift Series. Back for 2021. That was a Tri-Ace replay now. Alex Sharker up on screen. It's his birthday today. Will he come home with a present? We'll have to find out, because alongside him is Danny Probert. Now, many years experience in drifting, Danny Probert. We know up in the top end, he's been a multiple-time champion of the Top End Drift Association. As we check out some of the results on screen, looks like Meer from all 3 judges. You can see Martle, Bryan and Rogers all going Meer. No surprise to that one, isn't it, as he goes through. A couple of other winners, actually, I can go through them. Up on my screen, Scott Shembry got over Mac Rice as well. He's gone through the battle on Brody Mayer in the next round. Daniel Mesmer got through. Mitch Doyle's gone through, and Senna Tunney has gone through as well. So we'll see how that goes in the next one. All right, Alex Sharker leads away in the Barra over the Danny Probert-powered Barra XD. Here we go. Sharker winds on the angle. Big speed straight from Danny Probert as he has to grab some handbrake. That's not going to be good in the scores. Sharker, though, leads away. Smooth transition for him. The S14 doing a nice job. The chassis just looks a lot more settled than the big XD of Danny Probert. Probert doing all he can just to close that gap up, get right up, put a little bit of pressure on, see if he can make a mistake. Might give him a little bit of an advantage there. We'll have to see what happens, though, when they change around. I think Danny Probert in his head, some issues there. The Tri-Ace replay shows this. Sharker gets on some angle there. Danny Probert very wide, not up in that back quarter there, and he straightens there, has to grab the handbrake in a straight line, try and get the car back initiated as well. So not really a good weekend for Danny Probert so far. They've had to do a big repair on that. Not quite sure if the back end of that car is 100% with that arm. Maybe it's a little bit out, and a little bit nervous to be behind the wheel of that one. As you can see there, Al Sharker, though, celebrating his birthday, leading that, and you think he would have a huge advantage when it comes to the battle between these two as we go to the Tri-Ace replay. No, we're coming out of the Tri-Ace replay, but the guys are coming around. Danny Probert will lead this one now. We would say Danny Probert's normally pretty fast. He didn't look that quick that time. Alex Sharker pulled away from him. Quickly, we're going to grab a word, though, with Jeff down in the pits.
Yeah, I'm here with Sam. It looks like you're not going to be able to have your battle.
I'm out now. I had a comfortable run there, but we seem to be having issues with the diff. Earlier on, we had to replace the diff. We put this one in, but it seemed to have broken the mounts in the cradle. So there's a lot of damage there, and we can't get it back together in time. So I guess we're out for the weekend. But all in all, it was fun, and the car went flawlessly. It was amazing.
Well, that's great to hear. Well, hopefully you can come to the next round and make up for what you missed out on today.
That's it. Next round for sure.
Thanks, guys.
Danny Probert now is leading out. Understeer, no. Wheels are off of the dirt. Car spins around. Alex Sharker. Oh, they make contact. Both cars were looking pretty good at the start of the weekend. Alex Sharker nowhere to go. He tried to pull that car up. Just out on the dirt there for Danny Probert, and once that happens, the car tries to spin its way around. Now I'm looking there, and it looks like maybe coolant coming out of the Sharker car, and that could not be good for him, because he's going to go through. With that happening there, he would definitely have the points to go through, would be my assumption there. But it looks like an overflow spinning out. I'm hoping that's not the oil cooler at the front. Hopefully that is a possibly radiator something there, and not something to do with that oil cooler hanging off the front of the car, because that could be harder to fix, and I'm sure the guys will get in and rally behind him and try and get that one done. But Danny Probert had the car fixed up by Vango Crash Repairs in the off-season. It looks like he's going to be sending it back there for a bit of love to get that car back. Not been the weekend he's been looking for, unfortunately, the ACUG XD Falcon. We check out the Tri-Ace replay there. Danny Probert trying to do everything he can, throwing the car in. But the two barriers side by side, and Alex Sharker staying with him on the back quarter. Probert there, you can see the understeer there. It just doesn't want to respond, does it? The car looks super gripped up in the rear, and the front goes off. He grabs that ripple strip as well. the car just spins around and nothing you can do in that point, can you? And you're just trying to get out of the way. See the hand wave there to say sorry for that one, unfortunately. But unfortunately, it looks like the ACUG Falcon of Danny Probert is not going to make it through to the next round. Let's hope Alex Sharker, though. Jeff's going to be a busy boy today because we're going to have to find out exactly how much damage is done to Alex's car. It's his birthday. I'm sure he doesn't want to be working on it. The guy said they've been thrashing on it, chasing that little electrical issue earlier. I mean, he comes from a huge drag racing background. His family, they're used to thrashing on cars, things going wrong in between rounds. So I'm sure he's up to the task. I'm sure his crew here, and I'm sure there'll be lots of people to get behind him here at the moment. And it's going to be absolutely fantastic to see if he can get back out there and take this on. Hopefully that damage isn't too bad, because if Alex Sharker goes through, that means he'll take on Jason Ferrin a little bit later in the series, and we'll see what happens there. But just trying to look at the damage on that one there. We're going to have to send Jeff around there and see exactly what that's done. It did look like coolant coming out of the front. Did not look like oil to me, and he wouldn't have wanted to drag that all over the track either, because that will give us a bit of a delay here. And there you go, Sharker, Sharker, Sharker. All three judges put it through, and you know, we'll have to see what happens. Of course, big weekend here. Big shout out to a new sponsor we've got on board for the season is Orange Hire, Earth Moving and Traffic Management Company, specialised in working in construction industry professionals and in New South Wales, Queensland and Victoria, but brakes and more. Zoom Performance, of course, with the Pro-Am guys, just loving bringing them through. Hi-Tec batteries, where would you start your car without them? Film Studios Power Hour, Sydney, Australia, of course, back here. Hi-Tec Oils, Pro Series, here we are. They're out there, top 24 at the moment. Motec supporting the series once again as well. And of course, Hi-Tec Motorsport tyres. The Tri-Aces down there, tyres open. Orange Hire, we just mentioned them, great supporters here. Earth Moving Traffic Management Company. Raceline Motorsport Raceway, selling, and they've got stock down there actually in the official merchandise trailer. So if you want to go and check that out. Van Gogh Rapid Repair, what do we say? He's probably repaired about 75% of the field of cars out there. So loves drifting, gets behind it, got his own gear there, but you know, willing to help the guys out, get the cars turned around in a very prompt time as well. But Raceline Raceway, we'll have a shout out to those, because if you get on there, they're selling all the race gear, you know, including Alpine Stars, Sparko, Bell, Stillo, and Array helmets, and you know, the visors, all that sort of stuff, the hands devices and more. Go and check them out, support them. They're supporting us here at the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars Series. You can see some guys, the drift cadets are there. Jeff's down in the pits, mate. Give us a damage report down there.
Alex, damage report, please.
Yeah, so Probert obviously spun, and we had nowhere to go, so we went straight into him, and it looks like we've just broken a power steering cooler, so we're just going to bypass it, and we should be right.
It's all hands on deck. It's hard to even get in there for a little chat, but yeah, hopefully you get it done. Back to you guys.
It's not what we wanted to hear. I was hoping you were going to say that was some coolant overflow bottle maybe been pierced and fallen out. But when you have a problem with oil, one, it means we've probably got some oil on the track. Second of all, by bypassing that could cause an issue later for him. But you know, as a competitor, you're not going to stop. You are going to bypass, and you're just going to do whatever you have to get back out and see if you can make it home. Now, joining me in the commentary box is the young gun of the series. Unfortunately, mate, doesn't look like going to get on the podium this week. Patrick Barley, you joined us up here.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, we had a pretty rough gig there in the top 24. Just came down to new car teething issues and a total different driving style, which is a bit new to me to drive, but yep, we're sitting up here now.
Yeah, just checking out the Tri-Ace replay. Danny Probert, obviously, of course, fellow Territorian, and your dad helping him out this weekend to get back on track, and unfortunately, it looks like that car's dropped a wheel, and he spun that one out, and he's got a bit of damage to fix as well. Do you think Tony will get it in the back of the transporter?
Oh, I know they're packing up my car now, but yeah, they were swinging spanners for him earlier, straightening some arms after a practice collision. So yeah, hopefully the boys will get him back out there.
You know, your second sort of full season, you committed to the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars. You had a great start in 2020. Unfortunately, that cut short due to the pandemic. But to get on a podium there, show some really promising results. But a new car, is it a new experience when you put the new car out there? Is it totally different?
Yeah, it's we're kind of reinventing the wheel this time around. We're trying a lot of new different things, and probably not the best idea to try all the new things at the one time. But yeah, we're giving it a go, and yep, hopefully, you know, as the car progresses, we will get used to it, just the same as we did with the S chassis.
How different is it being on the left-hand side of the car? Is it something? Oh, you spoke about the simulator earlier. We know you do a lot of sim stuff, and it's probably a smart idea, really, to get in the sim and get that familiarity. I know you did this track down here, just so you understood where you were in the circuit.
How much different is it when you actually got in the car, though, to be left-hand drive?
Personally, I prefer it head over heels. Like, it is so much better. My brain's just wired a little bit differently, and yeah, just using my dominant hand to handbrake and shift, which is previously what I've struggled with, is having the timing right. But yeah, being on the other side, it's a lot more smoother and quicker from where I'm sitting.
Well, we've had some lots of things happen out there on track so far. Lots of wheels off, maybe some collisions there, and to run us all through it, Dan Mackey, give us the update from the judges.
Yeah, well, it's been pretty interesting down here for us. There hasn't been a whole lot of judging to do because there's been a fair few errors made. Patrick Barley here, who you're chatting with now, obviously he's not wanting to watch this vision, but making the full 3 wheels off. So we have a rule: if you have 2 wheels and more than 50% of your vehicle off the track, then it's a 0. So that was a 0 for him. Again, we've got Angus Kidd up against Mitch Doyle here, and Mitch making a bit of an error, but then Angus actually radioed back in. He had an error or an issue with his car. Now, this one was Senatani got a bit of a lead, and Dane Wilkinson just trying too hard to catch him up, came in way too hot, and unfortunately we saw some contact there, so that was unfortunately Dane's fault. And of course then we've had Gricey versus Shembry. Now this was a good one. At least we got a battle here to judge. These guys, some cracking driving from both of them, really good. But in the end, it was the Hi-Tec Oils 350Z driven by the one and only Master Chef himself, who was able to really stick it out there and show just a little bit more superior speed and grip of that car and set up well. Now this one was looking like an interesting battle as well until, as you all saw at home, Sam Tabush decided to make a window in his diff. Apparently that's not the idea. And then this one was interesting as well. You know, Damien Cook stepping up and really giving that car some abuse. If I was Mickey Mill, I'd be asking for a wheel alignment before we sent that thing out. But apparently they're having a few dramas as well. So Benny Muir doing his absolute best there to try and follow what was a pretty ugly lead, unfortunately for Damien, for Cookie there, and then again just having some issues. So there's something not quite right with that 08 wonderfully preserved Bling Designs car. Sharker and Probert, obviously we saw that there was quite an interesting run there, but Danny, like you said, not quite having all of the car in the right direction, I don't think, as far as the alignment and setup, and they nearly missed that. Unfortunately for Shark, just making contact and piercing what looked like it was a coolant bottle. You guys, I think, know a bit more about that, but certainly we haven't been able to work it out. But I believe it might be Jeff that has some information down in the pits, perhaps.
So we're walking back to the pits, and we noticed Danny coming up to give a hand. So we thought we'll turn around and ask him a couple of questions. What's been going on?
Well, we had a pretty good had a good run with Sharky. I chased him. I was pretty happy with that run. Then we turned around on the start line. I was just felt like the car was sort of trying to jump forward at me, and I thought I didn't want to throw it away straight away. I thought, look, we're here, let's send it, and off we go. And on the lead, I've got it into the corner reasonably well, went for a slight adjustment where I give the car a few revs, the handbrake up, and the foot on the clutch, it's actually driven the back wheels and over-rotated. Unfortunately for Sharky here, it's I've come into contact with him. I see a little bit of fluid come from his car, so I've ducked straight down the pits to, that's on me. Apologise for that and see if they need a hand. So, yeah.
Well, you know what they say, Robin's racing, and it's good to see everyone getting together and helping each other out.
Yeah, well, look, we're really happy. We've made a lot of setup changes. The thing I'll take from this weekend is I was able to sort of, improve on the chase, get some proximity and feel comfortable with the car. So we sort of got there, never really got the eye in, but at the end of the day we really love what we do. So we come back and I think I'm due for a good run now because this weekend was pretty tough.
Yeah, that's it. Back to you guys.
Yeah, good to see Danny Prober getting in, and great sportsmanship as is around the entire field down there in the drifting. And up in the commentary box, if you just joined us, Patrick Barley's joined me. Unfortunately, your first run not going to plan, so you got to come and say a few words now. This one's going to be interesting. Mickey Moo's in a different car. He's had to borrow Cookie's car. Then we go back to Brad too. Now, he actually qualified a little bit late. He got 10th in qualifying. Mickey Moo in a different car. Hasn't been Brad Toohey day. He's going to get the lead run on this one. Let's see what he can do in the Zestina 86. Wheels are off too. He's gone on the dirt. Mickey Moo then has to have a bit of a straighten there as he comes up the inside. Now Moo's off on the dirt. We know they've been struggling with the setup in that car. After seeing Damien Cook take that forward drive a little bit earlier. Toohey gets back on. as a judge, I don't know how you look at that one. There's mistakes on both sides. Someone has to straighten. As you can see, Mickey moves way off in the background. I think they have some serious issues that they're going to have to look in the Damien Cook car that Mickey Moo is driving. Tui now back on track and just getting around this and laying down a reasonable run there at the moment. Probably not too much to talk about in that one, Paddy.
Yeah, the main thing that I took out of that one is you see them get offline a little bit. Now, you're not sure if you can see it on the live stream here, but the edge of the track where we're not actually racing is covered in rubber, debris, little stones from people coming off, things like that. So that's where you'll see as soon as they got off the racing line, things just went pear-shaped for them.
Yeah, and it's not that oil that we saw earlier because that was a bit later on where they made contact. So that is, like you say, that you can grab it off. And there's a little bit of off camber at the top, isn't there? Like where it's really rubbered up and super grippy, if you just go a little bit higher, it goes a little bit off camber and it can really pull the car around, can't it?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me, actually. Just got out where it sort of flattens off, and that's where all the rubber's sitting, and as soon as you got a wheel in there, it's game over.
Look, overcast day today. Run us through. You've been out there. You did a few laps in practice, but overcast. So the track not super hot at the moment, but grip right up.
It's a bit hit and miss. Yeah, we obviously had that very, very small bit of rain earlier in the day. And yeah, the temperature, the track's kind of following with it, but it's certainly not consistent throughout the day for us.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of people struggling. Everyone loved practice yesterday, but today when we've gone out, slightly different conditions, and people are just starting to struggle with the cars, taking a lot of abuse, and everyone's super excited to be back, aren't they? And that's what happened yesterday. Everyone's super pumped to be back here for the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars for 2021. They do lots and lots of laps, and now we're starting to see the mechanics just taking an absolute thrashing. As this time Mickey Moo's going to lead there at the front end, just hanging on to the front of the Skyliner door as they get around, and I think Brad Tui just needs to bring this one home, not doing anything stupid. Mickey Moo just taking the curb there, late initiation, throws it into the car, gets down that clipping point though, really pushing it. He's enjoying the V8, I think, over the 2J. That's what we're going to say.
He was telling me in the pits earlier how much easier the V8 is to drive over its 2J, so I think we might see him convert later on in the year.
We'll get him a couple of extra cylinders there as he pushes the car. Look at the hand out there. Oh, Moo's having a great time, isn't he? And we love him down to the pits. He's such a personality. Brad Tui, look at him to try and avoid contact there. The Tri-Ace replay, though. Brad Tui in the background, watch this, because he just needs to put some sort of run together. You think we're going to lose some points there? That's what I would say the judges are going to say, because they did not want you over the ripple strip at all. You need to give the chase guy a chance to put his nose up on the inside. The switch back here, he's doing a nice job at this point, Moo, though. Probably a little bit close to I think, to that ripple strip, though. He need to be that half a metre to a metre out. Brad Tui backs off a little bit, though, doesn't he, Paddy?
Absolutely, yeah. Brad did a really good job of keeping just enough distance that he could catch it in case something went a bit pear-shaped there for him. Like coming into the big drag section, yeah, just had hung back far enough that he could keep it sideways and didn't straighten.
Well, Jeff, you're down in the pits. Who have you got for us this time?
Yep, I'm here with Matt Harvey. Just finding out, how's your car and what's the plans?
Really hasn't really changed much since this morning, so just been waiting till the top 16 battle. I think we've got Daniel Mesmer for top 16, so that should be fun. I've unveiled him, so it should be a good battle.
Yeah, it should be really pretty even, I feel. How much is your car pushing?
I think it's about 650 horsepower, so it's not too much. But yeah, all you need, to be honest. You don't really need much of this 800 horsepower or anything. I mean, I've been doing the same horsepower for about 3 years now, and it's been awesome.
Even with the grip out there?
Yeah, look, we've actually had to say grip out of it, to be honest. But yeah, it's been great all day, so I can't complain at all.
Perfect. Hopefully we see some good battles out there.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much.
Back to you in the commentary.
Well, this is what the test is going to be, isn't it, Paddy? I mean, Matt Harvey, you just tell him, the judges say, mate, put the car here, and within 20 millimetres, he will put the car exactly where the judges want. And that's why he's a #1 qualifier again. That's why he did so well at the start of last season. He's phenomenal when it comes to putting the car in places. He comes up with Daniel Mesmer. Now, he's in a borrowed car. It's an older car. Like, he's done a lot of years of drifting. In terms of today, it doesn't have the horsepower for the power-to-weight ratio is quite low compared to what we see in the pro cars today. So where does that difficulty come when you got to chase a car like that?
Well, the biggest thing is I was actually speaking to him after our battle, and it just doesn't quite have the side bite that it needs to fully power through the corner. So what was happening is he would have to check up a lot to slow the car speed down so he could not blow off the track. So that's one thing to watch out for, is to see how much he's going to slow it down to keep it on the track.
Yeah, that's right, and that's what Matt Harvey's going to have to contend with. But mate, he's a superstar. We'll see how he actually ends up in that one.
Matt Harvey in the battle, of course, with Daniel Mesmer that's in the top 16 a little bit later. So we've still got a couple. We're waiting for a result to come through on a couple of things here. I'm just checking them out in our qualifying. Looks like we are going to go over to the Zoo Performance Pro-Am, though, at the moment, I do believe, on track. So let's get them out there. Steve Cerrone is out there, of course, our top 8, taking on Brian Cruikshank in, of course, the BMW, what is it, the E36 chassis there. A well-weighted chassis too, does really well in the drift world. We check out this run though, up on track, goes out to that clipping point. Steve Cerrone a little bit, wide there, but straightens the car, so not a good run from him. Brian Cruikshank doing a great job out in front. You can see him in the lead at the moment, just out there, opens the gap up to Steve Cerrone's going to have to straighten and really pull it on. No, a mistake there from Cruikshank. Goes a little bit too wide there and almost grabs a little bit. I want to say he did there, actually. I can't tell from this angle, Paddy. What are your thoughts?
He definitely has that wound up, like it was three-wheeling through the switchback there, so he's got some grip tied into it. So I think he just got into the marbles in the last corner a little bit there and let Stephen go right up on him.
Here we go, run through the top 8. Nathan Ranson's going to be taking on Sam Mudge. Brian Cruikshank and Steve Cerrone now. Cruikshank has done the lead run, so they'll come around and Cerrone will get a chance. Benny Matthews will take on Nick Clipland. And then it'll be Adam Burgess taking on Jory Brekhoff in the last battle of this one. The top 8 for the Zoo Performance Pro-Am. As we head back down to Jeff in the pits.
Yeah, just here with Jason. He's got the driver's skill, but he doesn't have the power, but he's going for it. He's hanging with the big boys today.
Yeah, you just got to send it more. We've got the street car. Actually, drove it here today, or yesterday. Managed to get a 6th-place qualifier, so actually stoked on that. So I'm ready to send it with Sharky, Alex Geisha. Saw he had a bit of a sketch battle out there, spraying bloody coolant or power steering. Don't bloody get that on my tyres, boy.
Why is the livery backwards?
So it's just following the Japanese style, basically. So they run all logos running with the flow of the car down the side of the car. So you go, the driver's side's always opposite, and that's what I've done. I'm all about the Jap vibe. That's what we push, keep it red.
That's awesome. Back to you.
Oh, we're just checking out Steve Cerrone in the lead run there, and he pushed wide again on that same corner where he went off last time there. I think he kept the wheels in the road, but it's going to hurt him because they're looking at his line, because the chase car can alter their line and use them as a clipping point through some of those corners, and at that point where he's really wide, the advantage. We'll check it out here on the Tri-Ace replay. Cerrone there, not huge angle as he comes in here. A lot of speed there, a bit of a straighten, and you see Cruikshank really straightens up to close that gap. And at this point, Cerrone, though, is really wide. Cruikshank doesn't know what's going on. He's like, mate, I'm way off the line, and he's holding on to that line. I think the advantage here in the chase run will go to Cruikshank, and I'll be surprised if Steve Cerrone goes through. Unfortunate for him, though, because he's made it to the top 8 here of the Zoo Performance Pro-Am at the moment, Paddy.
One thing that the judges were quite critical on this morning was actually in that first section, making sure the cars don't dive down shallow, which in this case Brian did, so it would be interesting to see their feedback on that run.
Yeah, we'll wait to hear, of course, that Dan Mackey will be tuning in, our lead judge. As you see, Bogger gets out of the car. Look at him, he's all zooed up at the moment. The guy's putting some big figures out of this one. I tell you what, it was on the dyno and saw big numbers, didn't they, come out of this one? 1,200 horsepower, and is doing it so easily on low boost.
Yeah, here Bogger's going to be turning it up a little bit more, going for the highest horsepower drift car in the world, so let's wait for that one to come around.
Bill's a lot of engines out there in the crew too, as we move on to our next battle. Of course, here in the Zoo Performance Pro-Am top 8 at the moment. Pro-Am's having some fantastic battles throughout the weekend, but we've got it down to the top 8 as they get around here on track. A couple of the older style, the 180s out there at the moment, and a bit close to your heart. So you sort of started out, didn't you, some of these cars?
Absolutely, back in the day, the old purple SR 180 SX, and yep, 6 years ago now that was the car I started with back up in Darwin.
Yeah, I do believe this is Benny Matthews and Nick Clipman out there at the moment, getting around as the run is done there, and we'll wait to see as they turn around. This is on the Tri-Ace replay out in front. Holds on to that one there. Very different tyre with these guys with the Pro-Am too, because they're running a radial style street tyre, which is very different to the semi-slick, not as gripped up, and as you can see, the changing conditions there, when they get loose, they get really loose, but getting around here, and these guys have not as much horsepower either, so it gives them that advantage there. A bit slower wheel speed. They can grip these up and push them through the corners there. All right, now, Jeff, you are down in the pits once again. Give us the reports.
I'm here with Bogger and Hog. Give us a little talk about your new build.
So this is 180SX. We got a 427 LS in it. Turbo running about 14 pounder boost, making just on 1200 horsepower.
What tyres are you running?
Running the Zek Nova R1s. So super fantastic tyre, heaps of grip. The car is pretty powerful, so we're looking for as much grip as we can get, and they give it to us.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You're looking very comfortable out there. How's the track conditions for you?
Yeah, the track's awesome. I love Winton. It is very grippy, but again, we got the power, so we're not really struggling with grip at all. It's more the speed.
Yeah, that's it. Well, we look forward to seeing you out there, Bogger, doing what you do best.
Cheers.
Back to you guys.
Nick Clippin leads us this time as he comes around, gets the wheel up on the ripple strip. Probably need a little bit of room there for Benny Matthews, so Benny Matthews will have to chase him down. Close that gap up though. Matthews keeping that gap nice and consistent at the moment. Is he? Clippin winds on the lock though this time. Look at the amount of lock in that one, Pat, as he comes through. I don't know where Benny Matthews has gone. We're going to have to see if we can grab a bit of a replay of exactly what happened. He's backed right off, maybe just got a little bit closer and got a little bit cautious and backed out of that one as we see. Of course, Clippin will roll through that beautiful 180. I do love the colour of that car. It really stands out in the crowd. Big wing, can't miss it. We check out the Tri-Ace replay at the moment. Here he goes. Clippin comes over very shallow in that corner. It'll be interesting to see what the judges say about that one, not leaving room for the chase driver. Pushes it out, not all the way wide out there, which is what they were looking for as well. Obviously, this is the Zoo Performance Pro-Am, though. It's not the semi-slick guys. Take us through it, Paddy.
Yeah, so just there in that corner where you see Ben understeer, the judges say that they want us half a metre to a metre off of that section, and we see the lead driver here pretty much running his front bar over, so not quite leaving the door open, hence the cut off there in the understeer.
And that's where you might see some decisions there as we check them up on screen. The Zoo Performance Pro-Am, Rogers has gone Matthews, Bryant Matthews, Martel Matthews. So all three judges going Benny Matthews, and we'll go through it. And that's what you don't see. You see a nice clean run, you think they've gone through, but it's those little things. If the lead driver's not in the right spot, they tend to duck points for that one. As we head on to our next battle, of course. What's this, 32 out in front, and of course the S13 behind the S-Series do such a great thing out there. It looks like it's going to be Nathan Ranson and Sam Mudge now, and oh no, pulls the car up, but they miss each other. That's the most important part. They don't have to go and do any repairs on this between rounds. I mean, you've been down there thrashing before. It happens. The last thing you want to do is make contact with the car alongside you.
Absolutely, yeah. We seen him just get out on the rumble strip there and just unsettled the car and lost the rear end and spun out there.
It happens that easy once you go off, and you do drop off onto the ripple strip, don't you? So it sucks you in, it's painted, it gets really slippery, especially if you're on the power, slides the car around, nowhere to go. So the Tri-Ace replay will show it here this time as they come around. Because look at the R32, it's out in front, leaves him a little bit of room there, but that ripple strip, exactly what you said, and on the handbrake at the same time, just those two things put together, go to spin the car out. It's probably lucky, actually, there was a bit of proximity that time. There was a little bit of a gap there so they didn't run into each other. Of course, Orange High there, you see the signs up. Great new supporters here at the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars Series, of course, Earth Moving and Traffic Management Company. But, Jeff, you've got an update for us on some of these repairs happening down in the pits.
Yeah, I thought I'd come down and see how the damage is. Did you fix everything?
Yeah, so when we hit him right in the corner, so it's taken out the power steering cooler. So just a quick tee to join him up and a rebleed, and she's feeling good.
So other than that, everything's back to normal now?
Yeah, so I did have a quick drive around the pits and it felt good. Luckily enough, it was something small like that and it was fixable.
Good luck, it's battle time.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, watch out for that one because he's got Jason Ferrer in the next round. We caught up with him just before, but Alex Sharker, you never know till you get it on track. That is the problem. Sam Mudge going to lead this one out. Nathan Ranson behind in the 32. Let's see how this one goes. A bit of a straight there for Ranson, wasn't it? He really didn't go around any angle. Understeers now and goes wide. Just doesn't look settled in that car at the moment. Sam Mudge, though, nice lead run. It was hard to judge when you did the chase run before because he had to avoid that contact. So I think he would have the advantage in that last run. Doing a good job of this one too.
We've got one more corner. Oh, he spins, throws it away. All he had to do was not spin or cause any zeros, and he's done it. So the judges look like they'll probably send that one to a rerun.
Mate, the commentator's curse is where it is. We're going to get some words from our lead judge at the moment, Dan Mackey.
Yeah, guys, look, you can see these guys are having a real ding-dong battle. In fact, probably even giving a little bit of a lesson to the pro guys. They're not as close as we'd like to see proximity-wise, but certainly doing a great job for themselves. Ranson in his first ever competition too, so it's great to see him doing so well. But you can just see the pressure starting to get them a little bit. The same thing happened to Ransom in turn, or in the first hairpin in the first battle, and then there's the same things reverse, though, for young Sam Mudge in that one. So, look, it's going to have to, I'd say, I haven't got a result from the judges yet that are actually judging this one. I'm looking at them, but yet they're going to send that one for an OMT.
Yeah, I'm not really surprised about that one, Paddy, because, I mean, both lead drivers have made an error, quite similar, wheels off. Yeah, I'm not surprised to see it one more time. And the good thing about Pro-Am, I think, running the radial tyre, they are going to get a number of runs out of the tyres. We go to our next battle in the top 8 of the Super Performance Pro-Am, of course. Adam Burgess got the HMAS out of there. Jory Bretkoff alongside the S13. So this one's going to be good. We know Adam Burgess can see this. He's actually got a new car in the build. Looks like a pro car he's building, but no angle on that one this time. And that's uncharacteristic because he's very familiar with the setup of this car, but he does push it wide. Like you say, judges want you to go and fill that outer clipping zone.
Dropped a wheel there, coming real wide into the corner, but allowing the Jory to get right up on his dog. It doesn't look like he takes the opportunity. So driving down there, trying to get back on him, pushing that wide. There we go.
He's doing it there, Adam Birch. He's trying to get wide and really slingshot that car back into the clipping point. Exactly what we spoke about in the driver's walk this morning. A bit harder to do in the Pro-Am cars without the huge power, but we check out the Tri-Ace replay. The Adam Birch straight, huge straight in there. That's going to be deduction points. Out on the ripple strip too, the judge will be looking at that. Not quite sure how they're calling that the outer bounds of the track, but you know it's really hard yourself. You can contest to this. That will unsettle the car, and you've really got to adjust your driving, get back into the groove or back into the drift there at the moment. And the final part of this, he does try to get wide and really slingshot that back in, but doesn't quite come in there. And Jory doing a great job there just to stay on the inside and try and keep that proximity. Like Dan just touched on, the Pro-Am guys probably don't keep the close proximity we see from the semi-slick guys and the guys that are racing in pro at the moment.
One thing that will be interesting is to see their opinion on the straight in there from the Ford. It was quite straight for quite some time. Didn't look like he completely lost drift, but it was very shallow. So on the second run, it'd be nice to see what their feedback is from that one.
Yeah, and we know he's got some arms under the front of that car. Daniel Mesmer giving us a thumbs up. And look at the beautiful picture, the Hog's Breath car of Dan Keneally this week. That's what he's steering. He's borrowed that car this weekend just so he can make round one. I did actually ask him earlier. I said, mate, how are you going with your new build? He said, it's getting close, but we've got some stuff. Here we go, results now. All of them one more time on our last battle. But of course, now lead run will go to Jory this time, and Adam Burgess will have to chase this one down in the HMAS. And Jory, well, he's definitely got the grip of this one, Pat. Look at him, just the speed he has on this car. He just drives away, winds some lock on there. He needs to really feel that out of clipping zone, though. So that's probably going to hurt him a little bit when it comes to the judging.
Yeah, but we've seen Adam really come back up. It looks like once he got the weight moving in that big old Ford Falcon, that it really started to carry through for him as you see him come into the last corner and really pitch it down in there right onto his rear quarter.
Yeah, I think with the big cars and not having the huge lock it's actually, you just have to throw the car in with huge speed. And sometimes you'll see those cars without the huge lock, they'll hang back a bit. We'll check it out in the Tri-Ace replay now. They hang back a bit, maybe not this time. It looks like maybe a little bit of an error there from Adam Burgess, but they hang back and they have to throw the car in with speed and actually drag the front across without that lock. That's the only way they can get that angle in those cars. But he comes back here and, like you say, he's done quite a few rounds and using that experience there to straighten up and close that proximity up where he can on Jory. Maybe, you never know if the other car will make a mistake at the commentator's curse, drop a wheel off and give you the advantage, so maybe you can get another crack at it with that one more time. And that's what we saw just before in the battle before, and they're lined up once again, one more time, both lead cars making an error, and that's why we've got them back on. So we'll wait to see if we can get a result out of the Adam Burgess, Jory Bretkoff battle. That might happen though. Nathan Ranson, Sam Mudge, though, back to do it all again, one more time. As you can see, the R32 ready to go, the S13. Intercooler is out the front, of course. I love the screamer pipes hanging out the front of these things, top of these things, really, though. Under lights, this would be absolutely amazing.
It is good to listen to unless you're right beside it, so as we see him go off.
Here we go, they throw the R32 in. Nathan Ranson in the lead of this one, and Sam Mudge doing a nice job. Gave him room too, Ranson. This time looks a lot smoother. Fair bit of handbrake, though, which means Nudge can close that gap up. Trying to fill that outer zone. Oh, they both go at different points there, don't they? So wait to see what the judges think about that one. Right out though. Oh,
drop a wheel? I don't think he did. I think Mudge held on to that one, Paddy.
Yeah, he certainly did. He pushed a bit wide there, but transitioning over, he cut it very, very shallow and tried to gain back up on Nathan there.
Yeah, that was not too bad. We'll check out the Tri-Ace replay on this one as they come around. And there we go, Ranson out in front and just trying to hold on that one. You can see the Pro-Am guys, not as much speed. They have to use some handbrake there just to try and hold a little bit of angle on. Runs this out wide, and he's pretty close to that clipping zone there, but I have a feeling that Mudge may have just filled that a little bit better there as you see him come right out. This time, though, worried me. He's in the background. We just see him in the corner of the screen, and those wheels were on the edge of the track. That one inch could have made a difference in this run, and you know we had it one more time already, but they'll only do that once and then they'll have to make a decision. So be interested to see how he goes in the lead run of this next battle, as they've already been out once. The tyres have probably got a fair bit of wear on them. Here we go, results are up. So Bretkoff is going to get a win. Bretkoff all over, 3 judges, 3 out of 3. So that means Jory Bretkoff will go through between him and the Adam Burgess, obviously the HMAS, the BA Falcon. And probably not a surprise for us up here in the box for you watching at home.
Yeah, I'd put it down to the straightenings of the Ford Falcon. He just lost drift just long enough to make it a deductible point, so I reckon that's where he lost it there.
And that's what you got to remember with some of the judges. They're not necessarily, they're looking for the lead driver to do everything right. They're looking for the mistakes, and they start deducting away from there. Sam Mudge, they're going to lead this one out. And we saw this, he was very fast in the first one. We thought he had it, we gave the commentators curse. So I don't want to do that again. I'll grab some ripple strip there. Mate, he would have felt the shut in the car there. You see the suspension doing its job. Right up on the inside, Ranson there gets up on the back door. Unfortunately, he has to have a straighten though. That transition really hurt him there. Looks like he was carrying some speed and didn't want to make contact. Now a straighten from Mudge. I don't know what to do with these two guys. I just don't know what to do. They're going to have to make a decision, unfortunately. But yeah, unfortunately for both of them, they start really well and had moments in both drifts.
Yeah, the chase car there, you've seen him really straighten coming out of the transition, and pretty much, again, there it is 3 times. It looks like he opposite drifted throughout the run there. And yeah, then Sam in the front, just, if he had kept it going just that last corner, he would have taken this one away.
I think you definitely would have said he would have. We'll wait to see what the judges have to say, because, you know, we go back to the first run now and have a look at how that all played out with Ranson leading, because there were some errors there as well. Now, the judges have said this. I've seen them talking to people. They're saying, "Oh, how did I not make that? What happened here?" And it comes down. They say, "Look, mate, you both made errors. Now we have to decide as a judge what is going to be a more deductible error, and how many points is that going to deduct it, and where does it take away from the flow of the drift." Right now, though, Jeff, you're grabbing some words with someone down in the pits.
Yeah, we're here with Sam. The battles keep happening, and then we keep getting draws. So I'm just gonna. What happened there? Why were we straightening?
Just blew an intercooler pipe coming into the second last turn there, and I managed to get it back in second, running only about 5 pound of boost. It sort of works, but yeah, little straighten, no power, no good.
Well, there you go. It makes a bit more sense, doesn't it?
Nathan, what's been going on?
Just a bit of drifting, mate.
What's up with the straighten before?
I don't know, mate. I can't even remember it. I'm just driving.
Just trying to follow the person in front of you, is that it?
Just trying to follow him, you know. You come in sometimes, you get a little bit caught up behind, so you got to just make a few adjustments. So that's what I done, and then tried to just get back on him, so.
Well, hopefully you don't spend the rest of the day having draws. Back to you guys.
Well, it depends. If you're a tyre manufacturer, they can do one more time all day, really. Especially if you supply the fuel. All right, let's head back, though, to the Hi-Tec Oils. Of course, Pro top 16 battles now. Now, your number 1 qualifier from Tasmania. Phenomenal guy there, Matt Harvey. Kumo Tyres, of course, on board with him and supplying the rubber for him this weekend. And he's loving them. He's doing a fantastic job. Once again, he did it in Sydney last year, came out top qualified and took the round out. Alongside Daniel Mesmus. Had to fight you, Paddy, to get into this one. Made it into the top 16, but he's got there in a very underpowered, heavy car, old-style pro car. Not with the latest technology. We check out the battle tree out there at the moment. Glenn Omerod's going to take on Mitch Doyle from the Northern Territory. Brendan O'Grady is going to be there on his own. That's interesting. So I think that might be, we've lost a car there. We'll check out it. There's Matt Harvey there leading away. Look at the pace on this one and the power he's got in that car. It just goes to show. Look at him, puts on the smoke screen now. Mesmer will have to try and straighten a little bit there just to close that proximity and do what he can. But it just goes to show the power difference between these two, and he feels that out of clipping zone. I tell you what, if you want to talk about what the judges wanted to see in qualifying and throughout the run, Matt Harvey. That's all you got to say. Watch Matt Harvey do what he does. I hope we haven't given him the commentator's curse, because you see him take it out wide and then he slingshots it back there on the inside to finish the run off. And with that proximity there, way out, Daniel Mesmer back there without the power. He drops a wheel, I think, at the end as well. As we check out the Tri-S replay, Paddy, run us through this one.
Yeah, so you see Matt come out nice and wide here. Not too much handbrake at all. It looks like he actually used that ripple strip to his advantage to kind of keep him out a little bit longer. But such a clinical drive here from him. You see him coming in nicely. That half a meter off of the inside there, exactly what the judges asked for. A quick snappy transition over in. Does run a little bit wide, doesn't quite get into that late apex inner clip, but powers out of it. Such a nice run for Matt.
And he's been sitting out the back. I mean, the top 24 have been out. You know, Daniel Mesmer's now had a run with you a little bit earlier, so he's got some more data. These guys haven't been out for a number of hours. Matt Harvey comes out and just lays that down, you know. That's imagine what he's going to do. But the difficulty is going to be, like you say, he's now got to chase a car that is not as quick as him, not as gripped up, without the horsepower. Will that be the thing? Can Matt Harvey hold back, still maintain that angle? Because if Daniel Mesmer goes offline, they still want to see Matt Harvey take some form of that line. Although he is a mobile clipping point through the middle section of this, he still needs to hit those clipping points for Matt Harvey. Without that speed, will the car slide, or is it too gripped up?
We'll see the experience really come out here as he inches right in there. A little bit shallow on him, needs to sit back a little bit as he's going to start to slow it up right about there. As Matt jumps on all the brakes, makes contact with Daniel. Keeps it going though, doesn't look like he lost too much drift, so if he can keep this one together as the front car drags along under the car there, hopefully doesn't run over and disintegrate it. Nice switch back into the last corner there, just keeping off a little bit as he jumps down a bit lower and straight onto the rear quarter of Daniel.
Yeah, we'll have to let the judges decide for that one. One thing I did notice, though, we will check out the replay. So hopefully he doesn't drag that bar under, because we know how expensive they are. Tri-S replay now. You can see Mesmer, though, doesn't leave a lot of line. And you spoke about it earlier. The judges said we want half a metre to a metre off there so they can put the nose in. Well, it doesn't look like half a metre to a metre to me from our angle, from where we're looking at it. The judges have a different perspective. They're a lot closer to the track. They can see absolutely everything. But once again, I think too close to those things, and that will deduct from his lead run. So they'll be looking at that. They'll take that into account, and how Matt Harvey does that, and where he positions the car on the track. Now, look, with the amount of power he has and how gripped up that car is to Matt Harvey, I think that was a good run there, especially with a car that we saw is quite significantly slower than his.
It is quite hard to chase once you get the car to such much horsepower, so much grip. To slow it all back down is quite a challenge, and it looks like Matt certainly did a better job of it than I did in that run there, but it'll be good to see how they decide on the runs there.
All right, fellow Territorian out there. Oh, here we go. We're going to get a replay of this one now, all thanks to Tri-S. So checking this one out.
See how Daniel doesn't quite get out wide enough there, shutting the door up on Matt there. So I'm pretty sure that'll be a deduction from the judges, not going wide enough early enough and closing the door on him, meaning that Matt has to make contact. He was fully unlocked too.
Jeff, mate, you are down there in the pits, and the drifts are underway at the moment.
I'm here with Daniel Mesmer. How did that battle go?
Not too good for me, mate. Developed a miss on my lead, and yeah, gave him the win. I stalled right up, and he ended up hitting me.
Seems you were chasing that miss a lot this weekend. Do you know what it might be from?
Not sure. Maybe wiring of coil packs, because we've put nearly a set of coil packs all in the same cylinder.
Back to the drawing board, you get it fixed, and then you'll be at the round 2?
Yeah, hopefully I bring the car I've been building for a while out. Hopefully not this one.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you. Have a good one.
Well, there you go. That explains a fair bit, chasing some gremlins in the car. And it's great to have Jeff down there on the ground for us, Paddy. And it really helps us understand up here, like we saw before in the Pro-Am guys, blowing intercooler pipe, you lose all that power. You can understand why the car straightens up. So looking at the damage there on Matt Harvey's car, though, it doesn't look too bad, really, for him to continue on drifting here today. I don't think that should affect him too much. The airflow over the intercooler, probably not a real big issue there. As we check out the results here, and it says Harvey from Rogers, Harvey from Martle, but Brian one more time. It means that Harvey's going to get the win, but interesting that Brian said it one more time. So different perspectives there as he takes his front bar away on the back. Now, another Territorian. I mean, he's the last one here. He's the last man standing, Mitch Doyle. Let's see how the night left West 13 goes against Glenn Omeron, though, who's in nearly an identical 86 to what we saw Bo Yates in perform and win so many championships with. And look at Glenn just go out. He's normally driving that little KE70 rotary-powered Corolla, but the 2J powered 86 and Doyle goes a little bit wide there. Just runs that outer clipping zone a little bit. Oh, so close though from Omrod. He hasn't left any room there. We know Mitch Doyle's way back, but that's not the point. He has to leave that room there. So it's going to be interesting for the judges. This comes around here. Omrod trying to finish this off, one off. Looks so gripped up though, doesn't he? He just pulls away from Mitch. And we know Mitch has that bulk horsepower from Jawar supercharged LS as we check out the tries. Replay, run us through it, Paddy.
Yeah, we see Glenn switching over here, getting nice and wide out there quite late, filling the zone. Yeah, we just see him not quite pumping the smoke. It looks like he's got his throttle response really good. He's just not absolutely burying it, glazing the tyres. A little bit shallow there, not letting Mitch quite get on there. Switching over nicely into the last corner. And again, just easing down onto the track, getting to that late inside apex.
Yeah, Glenn Omrod, a very experienced driver, like we say. He's normally driving a car like this, but with a rotary power in it. So we'll see how he goes. Obviously, now he's got to chase down Mitch Doyle. Mitch Doyle, a lot more comfortable, I have noticed over the time I've been involved in the series. He likes to be out in front. He seems more comfortable there. He gets to take the line he wants. Car has bulk horsepower. Like, it just has huge amounts of torque. It can just blaze the tyres whenever it wants. And it's got a fair amount of grip in it too. What I like about Glenn Omrod, though, is you can say, he's modulating the throttle, trying to slow the tyres down and grab some traction. Now, Scott Shembry's with Jeff Hayes right now.
I'm here with Shembry, talking about misfires. What's going on with the old girl?
Oh, mate, you know, 15 months out of the seat, I think everyone's got their dramas, just sorting their cars out, but we think the fuel pumps are on their way out, so look, we're not going to hurt it, but just try and get through the next battle and see where it goes. We don't really have time to change them, so we're just monitoring, man, doing what we can do, and hopefully still put on a killer show.
Awesome. Thanks.
Here we go, Mitch Doyle on the lead now. Glenn Omrod has to get in hard on the brakes there. Mitch Doyle now straightens understeers out on the dirt, and Omrod has to be a bit evasive there and nearly spins the car out. So, Mitch Doyle. He didn't have a great first run either. He got a little bit lucky in that one too. So, it's going to be hard to put him through. He's going to finish off this drift. You might as well go out there and finish the tyres off and just see. You never know what the judges are going to call. They have a lot different perspective from what we are here on the live stream and on the TV. But, I mean, I can see that Mitch Doyle. We check out the tries replay. We can dissect this one, Paddy.
Yeah, so it looks like Mitch Doyle comes in really nice here, gets right out wide, and he must have had a misshift or something because you see him get into it a little bit, but then it just either pulls itself out of gear or the front end unslides and he gets off the gas, but just loses the front end, slides out on him and continues on there.
And with the amount of traction here at Winton this weekend, if that wheel speed slows down, it really just pushes the front of the car, doesn't it? And that's what we're talking about. Glenn Omrod, in his lead run, we spoke, you picked it up very well. He modulates the throttle and slows the wheels down to actually get traction when he needs to, sliding around those corners when he really wants to slingshot out of the corner. All right, talking about horsepower. What's this? 1,200 horsepower. Brendan O'Grady had to come out in the BSC Performance. Hulk, you can see the big green intake, of course, got all the Zoo Performance products on board. Benny Meir alongside him, though, had to do a little bit of work to be here, though, because he came out in the first session and he had to take on Damien Cook. Now, probably, Cookie, well, he went full driving, didn't he? He shot over the track, tried to shortcut it.
Yeah, the car spent the afternoon Cookies with no front end on it, so it looked like a bit of a rat rod out there, so nice to see it back out there.
Really not surprised seeing this one come up. Of course, Omrod. 3 judges are going to put Glenn Omrod into the next round here of the Hi-Tec Oils Pro Top 8. And here we go, our next battle. Bogger taking on Benny Meir. This time Bogger in the lead. He's got the huge horsepower. The car's gripped up, got the Zekis on the back. Pushes it out in this zone, and he said, I don't like to use handbrakes, so that's uncharacteristic. He likes to just use the power of the car. Pulls it up there. Benny Meir not as much angle, but he comes down the inside. Let's see if he leaves some room here. Probably a little bit over half a metre off, so not a bad line there from Bogger. And look at the smoke screen. How does Benny Meir see through that? I mean, I don't know how you drivers do. Oh no, he locks it up here. Lots of angle there, pulling into the inner clipping zone there, but slows the car right up. So that's a little bit of a problem there, although Benny Meir was way off in the back. And we check out the tries replay. What are your thoughts on this one, Paddy?
Yeah, Bogger did a pretty good job. As you said, pretty uncharacteristic of him to grab a handful of handbrake there. Just slows it up quite a bit and washes all the way out to that outer clip, which is good. And full throttle all the way through that switchback, leaves that half a metre to a metre perfect for Ben if he could see through the smoke to find Bogger wherever he is. And yeah, tanks on the lock there, goes down to the inner clip. Absolutely bang on that last corner.
Here we go, Jeff, you're down in the pits.
Here with our Tassie boy, Brody. How's your car going?
Yeah, not too bad. Got a few power steering dramas at the moment, which sucks a little bit. So hopefully we've got it sorted for this one. Scott's going to be balls to the wall, no doubt. So hopefully make something happen.
Awesome. Looking forward to the battles.
Yeah, me too. Go the SR, eh? Only 4-cylinder here, I'm pretty sure, in Pro anyway. Hey, up the SR.
That's it.
Go and check out the engine bay down there, because the poor little SR, it's half the size of the LS that Shembury's got. It's only got one turbo. Shembury's got two. It's a big battle there for Brodie Mayer, but Bill at 2.4 in that one. So it's highly strung compared to, I suppose, a lazy turbocharged LS. Let's get back on. Benny Mears going to lead this one out, though, as Brendan O'Grady, or Bronco as we know him, in the chase. Didn't do a bad lead run either, and he pulled away from Benny Mears. Now he's got to sit behind him now. How much grip does he have so he can really catch up on the door when he needs to? Runs, just grabs the corner, puts the nose right up there. Oh, puts the pressure on. They touch wheels too. Benny Mears goes out wide. Boggess gets back on the gas as well, blazing the tyres through here, pulls the proximity up. Benny Mears gives him a little bit of room there. That one's a tight one for the judge to see if Benny Mears got that half a metre off. I'll be interested to see what they think about that one a little bit later if we cross over to Dan Mackey, but they come through the final parts of this run. That was not a bad run from Benny Mears in the lead there, Paddy.
Yeah, I watched some of his in-car videos from yesterday, and it looks like he's really got a handle on this layout. So as we come see through go here, and just gives a bit of a clutch kick going out, and he does a lot of clutch kicks, so it'd be interesting to see how that holds up for the rest of the day, but doesn't quite get out to the outside there. That's where you see Bogger jump up to try and sacrifice some line just to slow it up enough, and yeah, sadly we see him make contact where myself and Matt have both made contact today, so it is a hot spot for contact. But yeah, Ben just powers through the last couple of corners here. See the flames popping out the side there, gets nice and down low to that inside clip, leaving plenty of room for Bogger to get up on his door.
Yeah, Bogger didn't let him get away though. We know he's got all the power in the world at the moment, probably the highest horsepower car out there. And it'd be interesting to see what the judges say. He could come down that lead run of Boggers. Maybe that was less mistakes in his lead run compared. But at the moment though, we want to go and grab a quick word with Jeff down in the pits.
Just here with Ben. How'd you go?
Yeah, mate. First time I've actually battled Bogger, so it was good. It looks like they're pointing at Bogger. He's got the win, so yeah, good to stick some laps together. Result didn't go my way, but that's all right. That's how it goes. The car's in one piece. It's all good.
Awesome. Thanks, mate. That was awesome to see the boys battling. They were door on door the whole time. It was crazy. How was that battle, Bogger?
Well, that felt pretty awesome, actually. I don't have a spotter, so it's hard to tell what he was doing behind me, so I just sent it in the chase.
It was definitely everything you had. Everyone was watching the screens and biting their nails. Killer driving, boys.
Yeah, William Honest is out there in this, LS powered KE70, man. This thing is crazy. Senna Tunney behind him now. He got through here. He's got a little bit of damage on the back of the car. It's only panel, but the pad on the roof and the little LS. I tell you what, this has 1 7/8 primaries in it too. The fabrication on the exhaust in this thing is phenomenal. Okay, the Tri-Ace replay, we check it out. And Zoo Performance obviously on board. The little KE, it's very different there. Throws it out with the handbrake. Tunney comes up on the inside. Senna Tunney out onto that outer clipping zone there. As you can see, holds onto it. Lots of speed to the little KE70, doesn't it, Paddy?
Yeah, those things are about 860 kilos wet. So with the big V8 in there, it'll certainly be nice and jolty for him. He'll be able to jump up, hopefully on the chase run the next lap around for him. So it'll be good to see how he goes against the big, heavy, supercharged V8 33 Skyline.
Here we go, the last battle. I think we already heard it there in the interview. The guys knew O'Grady takes it, so Bogger will go through the next round in the Hulk. We'll see what the BSC Performance can do. And I'm just having a look at who he's going to end up taking on. He's going to take off the winner of this battle. So very interesting, because you've got a very agile, light car there for William Honest. I mean, this thing would be under a ton, you think, even with the LS on board. They're not super heavy. He goes around very agile. It looks like he's got a fair bit of grip too. And like you say, supercharged LSS, Senna Tunney, obviously the traditional R33 style, so it's going to have plenty of lock. But, sometimes it's good to have an agile car where you can put it where you want it. Look how wide the wheels stand out as it takes off as well. Tunney, though, with more speed, he throws it in, and the chasing down, drops a wheel off. That's going to hurt him so much lock and slows the car, but he doesn't spin it out. It's going to hurt him, though, in the points. And you'd think that Senna Tunney would have a little bit of advantage in the lead run here, though. We just need to make sure he gets through this last corner there. Slides the car around here. Has to take this last corner. That's all he needs to do, and do it how the judge goes wide. Needs to get on the throttle and push that car. And I think we've lost
William Honest, he's gone. He's spun. No, there he is, just in the end. We'll check out the Tri-Ace replay here. And it all started really well, didn't it, Paddy? But he clipped that curb and really sent him off wide.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty textbook run from Sona. He gets out to that first couple of clips really nicely. Transitions just smooth and simple. Again, 0.5 meter to 1 meter off that inside clip, and just keeps the throttle really consistent, which is nice to see. He's not on and off the gas, making the car all hang around. But yeah, it's really good to see him run that run.
Yeah, that was a nice run from Senatani in the lead there. Unfortunately, William Honest, I think he just hit that ripple strip and it sent the car off too wide. Then he hit some dirt. So my prediction is we won't see him go through, but we'll wait to see the official scores come up. Here we go, though. Brody Mayer, he qualified second. Scott Shembry's had to do the hard work. Didn't qualify real well. The side skirt's gone. He left that back there. Doesn't want to take it back to Tasmania with him. Out nice and wide. Shembry putting all the pressure on now. They got some fuel pump issues. So, is he going to be watching that at the moment, or he's just going to push it? Has to straighten there. Brody Mayer comes through. We'll have to see that one because he was right up on him. He had to back off so they didn't make contact as well. So Shembry doing a nice job putting all the pressure on. Winds the angle on here as he goes through the final corner. Right up on the back of Mayer. Wow, what a battle. I would put that down to our best battle we've seen so far today.
Yeah, absolutely. Minus that small straight in there from Scott. Looks like actually a pretty good lead run by Brody there. Just gets out to all the clips really nicely. Running the ripple strip there as we see again. Lets him go a little bit wide. Just lets Scott go right up onto his door. It looks like he went to transition a bit early there. So you do really have to hold off prior to the next corner to make sure you actually make it far enough to actually get around.
Well, I'll tell you what, Shembry, he would not want to hurt that. He loves the SR, doesn't he? He's a big fan of the SR. Of course, back in the day, he loved running that engine combination, and he'd love seeing Brody Mayer alongside of him. And I know Shembry never wants to take a win from something like that. He loves to battle it out. There we go. Tunney will go through. Senator Tunney gets the win. All three judges. It's unanimous. He will go through. William Honest in the little KE70, unfortunately, will not make it through. Great car to watch, though. Can't wait to see what he can do in round number 2. Of course, we head over to South Australia in a couple of months, so we're going to do it all again. The drifting is back for 2021. The Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars is back. And, of course, round number 1 here at Winton. We're a couple of hours out of Melbourne, Victoria. And next time we go to a brand new venue for the Hi-Tec Series, which is going to be The Bend in South Australia. Can't wait for that one. Now, Shembry's going to lead this one. And the twin-turbo V8, how fast will it be compared to the SR power of Brody Mayer's the less 13? Because Mayer, well, you can qualify really well, stick it on the line, but when you come up against a gripped-up high-horsepower car, can you keep the speed? Looks like he can at the moment. Mayer doing an absolutely fantastic job, but Shembry fills that out and clipping zone there. He's got the power where he doesn't need to use much handbrake at all. He can just stay on it. Gives him room there, actually. Probably gives him a little bit too much room there. Didn't see Mayer, though, with the nose down on it. He had used Shembry as the mobile tipping point, as the judges discussed. Shembry will bring it round. They had a good run last time. I think that one's even better.
Yeah, absolutely. Scott really left the door open for him. Looks like coming out of the bum drag there that he just didn't quite get back on the gas fast enough, as we'll see here in just a moment. Gets out pretty wide, just holding it out there. And yeah, either dives down a bit too early or just gets on the gas a bit late and hugs the line a bit. But yeah, Brody with the power to weight ratio certainly jumping up into the corner there. Scott just blazing away.
Yeah, they're going to have to come down to some really technical stuff here between the judges. They're going to have to think about, I'm sure there's some discussion going up there, and I'd love to grab a word from Dan Mackey on this one, because they're going to be looking for those very tiny errors there, and that's exactly what they're looking for with the switchback, where they sit on the track as well. Jeff's down there, though, with Shembry right now. Let's see what the drivers thought.
How do you think that run went? Still very aggressive out there.
Yeah, no, look, we still had that miss. We were driving through it. Yeah, Brady's a killer driver, that SR foams, man. So, look, I just knew I could put on his door and go as hard as I could. So, look, could go anyway.
Yeah. Awesome. Killer driving. This SR has been so smooth all week. That driving style, amazing. How'd you go?
Yeah, not too bad. Pretty fun run. Scott's always going to go 110%, and I knew that. And felt like I got pretty good in the chase, but we'll see what the judges think. But super enjoyable run anyway.
Awesome.
I mean, we put a huge shout out to the guys from Tasmania, both of them getting on now. This nearly did not make it here. Talking to him earlier, Brody Mayer. 2 months ago, that's how early they have to book to get on the barge to come over to the mainland when we bring them off the island. And that was booked. You couldn't get on. There's so much stuff getting exported out of Tasmania at the moment. He said, I had to pull a favour. I had a sponsor.
He had a contact. I had to pull a favour to make the car here. I had to fly over. I had to take it down there. They had to drive it on. Had to give his drift car to someone else to drive onto the ship. Then he had to go up and fly over, pick it up there. And, you know, these guys are planning on taking these cars back to Tasmania between rounds. Now, they want to do them. Brody said he's committed to the first 2 rounds in the hope that he can make the rest of the season. Looking for some sponsorship, possibly to help him out, or maybe someone who can look after the car and do some of the maintenance. I mean, when you run an SR, highly strung SR, you need to keep the maintenance up. Now, let's check out the Tri-Ace replay once again. This is the first run there where Mayer had the lead run. And, look, it was a really good run, wasn't it, Paddy? He loses a side skirt really early. You don't need that. Just get it out of the way, get it gone. Didn't really affect anyone in the race, in the run that time. But he's super wide here, which is what the judges wanted. The wider, the better. That's straight. You're pointing at it right here in the commentary box, but that little bobble, isn't it? And that could be the difference between winning and losing this battle, because it was phenomenal.
Yeah, I think what the judges are looking for there in that particular camera angle is how much Scott actually dives down going into the corner, which they said they will put deductions for, and then the straighten coming out of the turn. I think that'll be the line in the sand to compare the battles for them today.
Yeah, we're waiting to find out. We're all sitting here patiently waiting to see what is going on, because that was a tight battle. Like you say, a little bobble there from Shembri. We'll wait to see as the results come in, but we are fixing something up on track. We're picking up that skirting by the looks of it. So Brady Mayer, I don't think he's even going to repair that one. Why would you put it back on? Just leave that one off for the weekend. It gives him a bit of work to do when he gets home. But like I say, fantastic to have the 2 Tasmanians here. Matt Harvey going strong once again. Now, we have had that result. Matt Harvey is going to take on Glenn Omerod in the top 8. We've still got a battle to come out, though. Brendan O'Grady will be taking on Senna Tunney in the top 8. So they're the 2 that have gone through so far. Here we go. Results have come through. Brody Mayer, all 3 judges. Like you said, that little bobble, we expected to see it, didn't we? But it confirms that the judges are gone with him. And the Tasmanian will go through. The 2 Tasmanians into the top 8 now. Brody Mayer over Scott Shembri. Now, Kenny's teammate, though, Scott Shembri, in the Hi-Tec Blaze unit, James Abbott now, Jabs, taking on Brad Toohey. Now, these guys have done so many battles together. I mean, you got to take it to Brad Toohey, don't you? He's been around the sport. They call him Grandad around here. He's recently a father, you know, so some priorities starting to change. Let's see how he goes today.
Yeah, Brad was coming in hot and heavy yesterday, so it'll be interesting to see the car speed, because I know over the break there that Jabbert went to a new set of tyres. They did a heap of upgrades to the car itself, so I think these 2 guys have really stepped it up, so it'll be interesting to see how they go out there today.
It will be super interesting, like you say, the mechanical issues that Brad Toohey's had. Let's see how he goes. The Zestino tyres, Australia 86, of course, a twin supercharged LS compared to the 2 day. Now, Jabbert's done they've had a major overhaul. This Motec's gone on board. He doesn't have the iPad there anymore, I see, for the finals. He takes the lead run here, looking at clutch kick that one out too. And Nigella is named, and look at the S15 go. Grab some handbrake nice and wide. Toohey still seems to be struggling with that power at the moment. And Jabs just pulls away. Really loving the new Tri-Ace tyres on the back of this one as he pushes it out. Very wide though, and Brad had every opportunity there to straighten him, but didn't even close that down. But Jabs just going away. Huge proximity. And that's not what we're used to seeing with Brad Toohey. He likes to get right up on the door and put that pressure on. So I still think he's struggling with the setup of that car. We know he lost a belt yesterday. Let's check out the Tri-Ace replay, Paddy. Run us through it.
Yeah, it looks like Jab's actually carrying a lot of pace through here. He really has that car hooked up, as you can see it bouncing around. But just watch him get out onto this outside line, just follow the camber of the track, just absolutely keeping the car pinned. Not really a gap in the smoke there at all. He's just keeping on the gas, so that's why he would be pulling away. He's just so committed to it, just absolutely driving the wheels off that one.
He's always had a lot of drive in that car, and Jeff's down there with him now.
Had to come say hey to Bogger. Why are you driving so crazy aggressive? It's mad to watch.
Because Stewie's a judge.
Cool.
Yeah.
I seen you had a little bit of contact there.
Yeah, coming into the first turn after the sweeper there, we're not really watching, as a chase driver, you're not watching where you're going, you're sort of watching the other car. And it felt like we were pretty close and roughly the same speed. Then it felt like he checked up. I'll have to watch the replay, but yeah, and I wasn't really paying attention to the corner. I was just watching his door.
That's how it should be.
Accidentally hit him, gave him a bit of a rub. But
he played it off very well, and he got out of it, and you guys put on the rest of the battle. Was awesome.
Look, he's a good driver, man. So a little rub here and there, it's part of it.
That's drifting.
Here we go, Brad Tui now going to lead this one out in the Hi-Tec Oils Pro Series. They're looking for the top 8 position at the moment, and James Abbott had a killer first run. Put it out there, drove away from Brad Tui, and now Brad Tui's doing the same, putting away, fills it out of clip, but he stalls it up right here. Jabs might be able to close this down in Nigella. It looks like it's not really getting that close proximity, though, that we have seen from the Shembury battle earlier, is he? And now we just see he grabs a curve now. He needed to leave some room there for Jabs, and he hasn't, so that will hurt him. The judges will pick up on that as he goes really slow. Look at the thumbs up there as he goes Jabs. They almost, if you're left-hand drive, if he was in your car, mate, you could have high-fived him there.
They would have been holding hands the whole way around the circuit if they had a choice out there. But now, good thing to watch on the replay here is Brad didn't use as much throttle as Jab did, but that's a good thing because he was controlling his wheel speed to keep the momentum up. But it was actually a lot more clinical. Like you see him get out to the outer clip there. He is pretty much on the point here on the inside and just keeps the throttle nice and consistent, going it around back into the inside clip point, thumb out the window. That was actually technically, in my opinion, a better run.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see that between Jabs, but Jeff's down there now.
I'm just here with Senna. How's your day been going? How's the battles been going?
Oh, it's been a bit rough so far, but hopefully we pull it all through for the end.
What? Rough in how so?
We've got a little bit of damage in there in the back quarter, but other than that, we're going pretty well.
Been a bit close and personal?
Pretty much, yeah.
How many drivers have you been close to today?
Oh, well, the last battle was pretty close, I believe. But yeah, the one before that was even closer.
Oh, that's what I want to hear. Back to the commentators.
Oh, I tell you what, we are changing. We're putting a bit of paint between cars here at the moment, but you see the results come up now. All 3 judges, Abbott at the moment. So he's going to go through the next race. He's going to make the top 8. So one of the Hi-Tec Blaze units going through is Mo Hawley, top 3 qualifying. He was 3rd in qualifying. This one's going to be good. Alex Kay has had to do some work. He didn't really get to battle out before. As he goes over the ribble strip, the car goes sideways. Mo Hawley, you think he'll go away with this. Now he hits the ribble strip as well.
Broken a toe arm.
Wow, look at that. The car not happy, and he sat out a lot of practice today because he ran out of tyres. Like, he was down to the amount of tyres he needed to get through this. And, with that little incident there, he's going to have to struggle there when he does the chase run.
But if Mo can keep this together, yes, he put 2 wheels off track, but see the left rear towing out big time there. That would be an absolute menace to drive around the track.
Well, you can see it there. It's crabbing down the side of the road. Now, he's got to make a decision here, Mo. What's he going to do? Is he going to keep this going? Is there some contact there, maybe?
Yeah, it looks like Alex hit Mo's left rear there. So that would mean that Mo gets a go fast pass straight into the pits to repair his car.
Well, we'll find out and see if that happens, whether he goes straight in. It looks like he is pulling in at the moment, but we believe some contact made from the angle we have. It looks like that could have happened because he held it together here, though. This is what I'm surprised about. Like, he did such a good job to finish that off. It doesn't really matter, though, because I reckon the points will be deducted, obviously, from his battle partner there, Alex Kay. Now, Alex Kay didn't get a good run in here. He had Sam Tabush, who had some mechanical issues. He did fall out of the cradle, basically. So Alex didn't get to battle him both times. Didn't really get that extra practice in, where Mo Hawley's coming off a top 3 qualifier. He came 3rd. He's just been blazing the tyres of the back. And really, he's Victorian. He comes here quite frequently. He's very familiar with this track. You see it drive in there. He's already speaking to the officials. If you're looking for it here, it's really hard to see from this angle, isn't it? But I'm sure, because it really threw him off his line as well. And after what we've seen him doing, putting a clinic on yesterday in practice and qualifying, I'll be surprised if contact wasn't made in that corner. And that's going to hurt, unfortunately, for Alex Kay in the points. Hopefully, Mo, though, can get this fixed, because I know he'll want to come out and do a chase run. I mean, he's a drifter. He loves it. They enjoy being out there. He's going to want to come out here and just make that happen, of course. Here at Winton in Victoria, we go back to the Tri-Ace replay. Well, let's check it out once again.
So what we'll be looking for here is seeing if Mo makes any adjustment going in here. So whether that's grabbing the handbrake or creating any reason for, looks like Mo did grab the handbrake, meaning Alex went on the inside to avoid him. So could this mean that Mo was the cause of the incident?
We'll have to find out. That's why we're not paid the big dollars. That's why there's 3 guys up there, and they're there. They've got all the stress on them now. We got a couple of new names there. Stewie Bryant's up there as well. So a new perspective on the judging as well in 2021. We'll wait and see what happens there. So they are asking for these images. That's why you're seeing them out there in the live stream, because the judges are requesting it. They don't know from where they are. But what damage do you think's done here, Paddy?
So it looks like on contact it would have broken the tie rod or done something to the lower control arm there. As we go to a replay here from a different camera angle, Do we see Mo? Oh, it's not too easy to see from that particular angle, but yeah, Alex definitely collided with the left rear of the vehicle, causing what appears to be the tow arm to fail.
It just goes to show that our judges going through every angle they can to try and get the best information, but Jeff's down there right now.
I'm here with Mo. What's going on?
Not much. It's come in a bit hot. Tried to slow the car down on initiation and get back on the throttle, and Alex hit me in the back and bent my tow arm or something. Don't know the damage yet until we jack it up and see what's going on underneath.
So are you calling a 5 minute?
Hopefully, we're waiting for the judge's ruling before we touch the car.
Yeah.
So once the judges sort out what they want to do, then we'll go ahead. If we need to use our 5 minutes, we'll use our 5 minutes.
Best of luck.
Nice, thank you.
So we'll look at the. So we'll look at the left rear of Mo's car here, just watching for the brake of the wheel. There we go. So it looks like the wheel did stop under power, and that is a acceleration point on the track. So we have acceleration, deceleration points on the track. Now, if you de-accelerate and cause an incident, well, that may cause fault for him. So therefore, he'll have to use his competition timeout.
Yeah, so we're waiting to hear that from the judges. We'll find out. They're obviously down there, and you can see all our officials gathered around and waiting for that decision. But the judges trying to take advantage of all the camera angles we have here at the track and find out what decision they are going to make. Of course, we do have 3 very experienced judges up there. James Dean Martle, Dan Mackey's been around forever, and now Stewie Bryant. He has a wealth of experience when it comes to drifting, and he normally goes away every year and does lots of things overseas. So we're very gifted to have him here in Australia, obviously with the pandemic, and to have him in part of the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars series, and fantastic to have him on for the entire year really in 2021, and hopefully that will continue on with Stewie. He's a great bloke, very technical, and I like when we did the drivers walk earlier today, he can really explain it to the drivers from their perspective. So I like that. Not that the other guys don't do that, it's just that it just gives that extra perspective. He has a slightly different language to what the other guys do for those guys that talk the same way as him. So it's great to have Stewie Bryant on the team there. As you can see, judging the Hi-Tec Oils Drift Pro Series at the moment. And they look like they are going to be calling their competition 5. They are now starting to repair that car. So a decision has been made on that. We'll see if we can find out what that is. Now, looking at our top 8 so far, though, in the Hi-Tec Oils Pro Class, Paddy, Matt Harvey got the win over Daniel Mesmo. Wasn't really a surprise. Glenn Omrod over Mitchell Doyle. He had some issues there. So those two now are going to battle it out to go in the top 4. Next up, we had Bogger, Brendan O'Grady taking on Benny Meir. Now, there was a little bit of contact made, but it really wasn't anyone at fault. Just how it goes with a bit of drifting. And you can tell there wasn't really much damage on the car at all. So Bogger goes through. Then Senna Tunney goes through as well over William Honest in the K70 who ran off. But, Mackie, you're going to give us an update on some of the decisions you're making at the moment.
Yeah, look, that was a really tricky one. We wanted to make a bit closer look there, but I've got one to judge, so if you give me a second, I'll come straight back to you at the end of this.
We love getting him under pressure. That's what we like to do, make sure that happens. This one's going to be Jason Ferrin over Alex Shark, and our Shark has had to bypass that power steering after that incident earlier with Danny Probert, and Jason Ferrin there with the stain. I didn't quite grab that, but looks like some issues there, Paddy.
Yeah, it's on the entry. He looks like he had 2 or 3 goes at it, so whether it's lost power or something in the drivetrain has failed there. Oh, it looks like he's actually debeated a tyre. If you look at his right rear there, he must have dropped a wheel just slightly over the edge or not been running enough tyre pressure in there. And it's, if we zoom in on the right rear there, we see him riding on the rim and the tyre has come off, so he'll have to come into the pits and if he can't rebeat it, maybe pull his competition 5 minutes.
Alex Sharker, how long does he hold his breath for? Last time it was this massive blue Falcon spinning around, but we'll see. Mackie, you got a bit of time to run us through that last thing that happened as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So unfortunately there, I probably could have hung on an extra 2 seconds because Jason Ferrin, unfortunately for him, has debeated a tyre. They're pretty much on entry, which is unfortunate for him. He'll get a 0 for that run. He will be allowed to use his 5 minutes to change that tyre alone and continue. But with regards to this battle we're watching now live on the screen, if you have a look, it does look a lot like Mo's actually used his handbrake or something, but what he's done is he's decelerated, and the way the cameras pick up the wheel changing speed, it looks a lot like it's actually stopped, but it hasn't. If you look at it back from the camera 2, we could see that he was still under acceleration at that point, just obviously not quite as much, which is what I was able to determine. So we would have given him a small deduction for that, but it looks a lot like Alex was already heading into the situation where he was. We went across and was going to contact the driver anyway. So in our assessment of that, we've deemed that Alex hit Mo where he needed to be using him as a clipping point, and at that point we do want them nose to tail and not right up as close as Alex was. So Alex made the error. He hit Mo and bent Mo's steering, so therefore what that means is that Mo will get not an unlimited amount of time, but certainly as much time as he needs to change it. So it's not a 5-minute competition on time out for him. He doesn't have to take that. He's still got that in his pocket if he needs it later in competition. But he'll get time to try and change it. Obviously, we're time certain on the track eventually. So you can see here he's still under throttle all the way through there. The smoke coming off that right-hand tyre, the back right-hand tyre. Then the contacts hit. It's all not so great. And then, amazingly, I don't even know how Mo does this. He's just such a good driver. He's managed to throw it back in. He goes, no, I'm going to complete this run, even though I've got, I don't know, what's that, 28 degrees of tow out or something ridiculous. It was amazing.
Yeah, no, he did a good job to bring that one home, but it's fantastic to have access to Dan Mackey down there in the judges' box. He's not just sitting with us, he's down there, so it's great to be able to cross live to him, and with these close decisions and these controversial ones, to be able to get their feedback on what they saw. And he's right there, when you slow the footage down, it is hard to tell. It does look like the tyre stops from one perspective, but from the other, it definitely doesn't. So you slow that down as what we might do is we might grab the battle tree though at the moment and run us through where we are at the moment in the Hi-Tec Oils Pro category at the moment. Now Matt Harvey and Glenn Omerod are going to be battling it out in the top 8. They made it through. Brendan O'Grady and Senna Tunnett are going to go and battle that out as well to go into the top 4. Brody Mayer and James Abbott. Now James Abbott probably lucky to get through with Brad Toohey as well. But Brody Mayer, that thing, he is phenomenal. Him and Matt Harvey, I don't know what they're doing in Tasmania. I don't know what's in the water, but they have been clinical in putting the car where it needs to go. And, of course, Brody Mayer doing a fantastic job with just a little SR 22.4, though. Billet block on board. Now that we're waiting to find out, Moa Hooley is going to have a little bit of time to fix that car over Alex Kay. Now, if he can get that done and get back out there, he could be heading to the top 8. And we never know. Jason Ferrin now has had an issue. He's DB'd a tyre. He gets a 0 on that run. So Alex Sharker, who hasn't got here in an easy run. Last time it was a big blue Falcon that turned around in front of him. And, you can't forget that vision. But then what happens is, you come out in your next one and the guy in front of you DBs the tyre and almost stops, and your heart's got to stop for a moment. But let's have a quick look at all of our sponsors for 2021. Of course, Zoom Performance, the Pro-Am sponsor, and fantastic, all their products there. Hi-Tec Batteries, Film Studios Powwow, Sydney, Australia, supporting the Hi-Tec Drift for 2021. We couldn't do it without Hi-Tec Oils, and of course you can see them plastered all over the place. Motec on board for 2021 as well, and the Hi-Tec Motorsport tyres, check them out. The Triaxes on board. Great new sponsor though, Orange Hire, earth moving and traffic management company, specialising in working in construction industry professionals across New South Wales, Queensland and Victoria down here in the state. Vango Rapid Repair Centre, puts his touch on a lot of the drift cars out there and does a fantastic job to get back. Mo Hall, that's great to see him moving back. We've seen it there too. Raceline Raceway on board, of course, before. Extensive range of all the safety gear. You can get your Hans device there, your Protect, lots of brands as well, Allstars, Sparko, everything. Please support these guys and support us here in the Hi-Tec Drift All-Star Series. And, of course, make sure you have liked us on Facebook, you're following us around. If you are out there, if you're watching us on the live stream, welcome. Hopefully you're enjoying everything that we are sending out over the internet in Australia, all around the world. And if you can't be here, the best place to be is at home, casting this to your TV, putting it up there on the big screen and capturing all the action of 2021 as it comes back for the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars. There's some highlights, though, today, and there's been some absolutely fantastic battles, Paddy. It's great to have you in the comment box to get your feedback from a driver's perspective. Let's check out these highlights and run through them now. And this is early on, Matt Harvey, Daniel Mesmer. And, this is a top 16 battle here. Now, Daniel Mesmer, underpowered car. Matt Harvey, #1 qualifier, clinical in this car, and it just had superior speed and grip to get this through the line.
Yeah, we see Daniel Mesmer leading out here. Again, doing exactly what he's been doing before, is slowing up a bit going in there. Another car making contact. So that will be a hot point for us this weekend, is watching cars de-accelerate through there.
Now, Glenn Omerod, he was very tight coming out of that corner and probably needed to leave some space, but some issues for Mitch Doyle from the Northern Territory this weekend. He got in the top 16, but he's just had a couple little bit of issues here as they run through them. And Dan Mackey, you can probably take us through some of these very close calls.
Yeah, guys, some of them were reasonably easy for us to make. Unfortunately, Mitch going 2 wheels off there, and Glenn was probably over the top anyway. Boggo Grady had an absolute killer lead run, as you guys called it. It's not very often I give commentators a lot of credit, but you really got it right. So his lead one was fantastic. Benny Meir having a bit of fun trying to keep up with him, and then in the chase, Boggo made a couple of errors, but not enough to outdo what he'd done in the lead run.
There you see Benny Meir, he really nailed it in the lead run, didn't he, Dan? And but Bogger right up on that door, putting so much pressure on. But this one, I love this little car.
great to see Will out there. He's having a crack for the first time in the Pro Series. Really mixing it. And Senna's been a little way away for a little while. He's driving really, really well up at Driftmasters event in Queensland last week, last Friday, finishing second. So he's coming off some hot form as well. Just poor Will there, couldn't quite get it right coming into there, and the big power of the Skyline just drove away from him after that. But yeah, not a bad battle. This one was a cracking battle, actually, really. I mean, these guys went really hard at it, really fast, and what we do in the judging world is we look at the two lead runs. So we look obviously at the chase run as well, but we make notes against the lead and the chase. And we want to see that both lead runs are as close to what we've asked in the judges' briefing notes as they can be. Both drivers were in a really, really strong lead line, which enables the chase driver to do a really, really great chase. And this is a perfect example of it. Both drivers taking maximum advantage everywhere they could. In the end, Brodie was just a little bit closer.
Yeah, now this one, Jabs and Tui. Now, Jabs had a good lead run and so did Tui. Run us through this one, Mackie.
Yeah, so again, like you say, Jabs had a really good lead run. Then he managed to gap Brad a fair bit, but then in this chase run he did something weird as he was coming into the first outer zone where he missed a gear or something. I'm not sure what it was, dropped back, but then he demonstrated superior speed to come in quite hard and fast. But look, guys, we've got some cars on the start line, so I might go and do that if that's cool.
Yeah, we'll let you get back to your job, mate. Do what you paid for this weekend.
Yeah,
and
right.
Mo Hawley has got this car repaired now. That is super fast, isn't it, Paddy? I mean, you know your old man swings off the Spanish, you get in there. So he's back out here in the chase run, though. Contact earlier from Alex Kay there, and he dived down the inside, so probably going to hurt him in the scores. Mo probably just needs to put a semi-clean run, grab some curb. You don't want to be damaging any more suspension components under the car. Last thing you want to do is damage the steering. That one goes right out the clipping zone there. Alex Kay using so much of that. Mo Hawley tries to push the car out there as well, but no room left for Mo there to close that gap up.
Yeah, Mo kind of setting back a bit there, but again, that's not a bad thing. It is a 10-0 at this point in time, so as we see Mo crossing the finish line here, he's done exactly what he needs to. Just keep it together, don't go off the track, don't drop any wheels, don't spin, and just keep it together, because that would mean that he's progressing by the looks of it.
Well, changing that rear arm too, I mean, they'll be looking at the adjustment on that and hoping that they got it pretty quick in that short period of time. So, you know, he's not going to want to push it 110% because he knows he could be out, 5 degrees in the back. Mind you, it was 28 degrees out last time at least, and he still drifted it home. So Mo is an incredible driver. You can see, runs it through, really closes it up in the back half of this drift and puts it right on the door there as they go across the finish line for Alex Kay. Now, we're expecting, though, with that contact made by Alex Kay in the first part and what we heard from the judges earlier, that he's probably going to get a 0 for that one, and we expect to see Mo Hawley progress into the top 8. We'll wait to confirm that for you, though, ladies and gentlemen. It's not confirmed yet. That is preliminary, but just down there in the pits.
Alex, how do you think that went?
I think it was pretty average. I'm sure Mo got the win because of the contact in the earlier run, yeah.
What happened with the contact there?
I'm not sure. I just feel like I just suddenly shot up against him and I tried to avoid it. I did a little bit, but we did have contact. Yeah, it was just, we're going really quick here, so things happen very fast, yeah.
Awesome. Let's have a little chat to Mo and see he got the car back together.
Yep, that was a good battle. It's a good battle, it's close.
It's a quick little wheel alignment.
Yeah, luckily the boys are quick on the tools, man. Without them, I wouldn't be here. Honestly, I couldn't thank them enough. Car drove immaculate. So hopefully we can do the next battle.
Perfect. Back to you guys.
He's a great character, isn't he, Paddy? And yeah, he's done a fantastic job. We just saw the judges' decision come up that looks like a Hawley will be going through now. Here we go. The next one, Jason Ferrin, and of course it's going to be Alex Sharker. Now Sharker's leading this one. Last time Ferrin, though, DB'd at a timing to get a 0. Now Sharker's got the wheels on the inside. That's not where he wants to be. That will hurt him with the judging. He really needs to come out wider. I know that, although it's a 0-10 in the first one, you still need to go and put a lap together because in the next battle you need to know exactly what line you need to take.
As we see Alex coming around into the last corner here, if he keeps it together, this is a pretty easy walk in the park for him. He's not quite on the line that the judges have set out, but with that 10-0 in the first spot round, that would be him going through.
Yeah, we'd expect that, wouldn't we, in the S14? Of course, Barra Power, you can see it hanging out the bottom there. He just goes over the curb, uses all of it. Now, if this wasn't a 10-0 run, that would hurt him in the points. He doesn't feel the outer clipping zone. Once you don't take that initial line in correctly, it really makes it hard to push out in that outer clipping zone then and feel that as the judges have requested. Not too bad. He leaves a little bit of room. Probably could have left a little bit more if we were, obviously, like we say, that 10-0 run.
but it looks like he probably will go through. We'll wait for the results to try his replay up on screen at the moment, and Shaka will go through and finish this run off. Of course, it's been a bit of time there after that DB bit earlier from Jason Fernan. Very unlucky there for Jason, because not doing a bad job out here this weekend. Of course, bringing the car around. Can't wait to see what he can bring to the series. We'll wait for the judge's decision to come in, though. Mo Hawley going through, the results up, and no surprise there, Shaka will go through and take that win. So he will take a Mo Hawley. He's going to have to watch out for that one in the top 8. That is going to be a tough battle. Let's check out the battle tree now, though, for the Hi-Tec Oils Pro Series now. Matt Harvey against Glenn Ormerod. What are you expecting there, Paddy?
I think Glenn might be the next Bo Yates in that Toyota 86. I think he's going to come up quite fast. You know, you got Matt Harvey, the 2020 essentially pro #1. So that'll be a fantastic battle to watch between those two.
Brendan O'Grady and Senatani now, the big horsepower LSs. They're both going to take, but O'Grady's got it all, doesn't he? Bogger, he's huge horsepower, plenty of grip. That thing's phenomenal to watch, and he laid down a absolutely killer lead run. And Brady Mayer taking on James Abbott, then Mo Hawley and Alex Sharker. I can't wait to see that one. But Jeff, you're down there now with the winner.
Alex, how did it go?
Yeah, look, unfortunately, Jason debeated a wheel, so I just had to do a half a decent lead, and I think I should have got us the win.
That's awesome. Let's go have a quick chat to Jason and see how he thought he went. What happened?
Well, bloody hell. I don't know what happened, but I heard this hissing noise when I was going out for our first run. And I was like, oh, maybe it's just his car behind. And apparently it turned out the valve of something was stuffed up. I've already gone out on those tyres. Yeah, no idea what happened, but absolutely shattered.
There you have it, back to commentary.
I love the fact, though, he's still got a smile on his face. It's been a big weekend down here at Winton with the Hi-Tec Drift Series, the All-Stars, you know, and still got a huge smile, and that's really what we want to see. As long as everyone's got a massive smile, they go home. We've had a great time here this weekend. I mean, even you're smiling, Paddy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I got to drive my Corvette today. Not many people can say that in Australia, so it was just good to have a nice weekend out with the family, doing a bit of drifting. You know, there wasn't too much success, but even in that last battle that we just seen, it was nice to see Jason not give up. Even though he had a 10-0, he still went out there and he still gave it everything that he had on the slightest chance that something went his way.
And that's what you got to remember. It can go the other way. If Shark had made a massive mistake, got a 0, then we get a 1 more time. So that can happen. You've got to put that pressure onto the lead driver, and maybe that can happen. Now, Matt Harvey's keen to go. He's saying, come on, Glenn, let's make this battle happen, as Glenn Ormerod brings forward in the Toyota 86. I mean, it's almost a replica, though, of what we see Bo Yates in, isn't it? 2J powered 86, and no, looks like he is going to drive through. We got a mechanical issue there. Is he called a 5-minute? We'll have to find out from race control whether he's actually called a mechanical 5-minute or whether he has an issue that's going to put him out, because Matt Harvey's going to obviously not put the car under any stress to drive through on that one too. So we move into our top 8 battles, straight into the Hi-Tec Oils Pro category. We're going straight into these battles. Matt Harvey and Glenn Ormerod will try to find out exactly what's going on there as they drive through, but it looks like one of them may have some mechanical issues. I'm going to say Glenn because he drove off first. And we'll find out what exactly is going on there if they're going to be coming back out to take this on. Bogger's going to be out there taking on Senatani, of course. Brendan O'Grady, looks like they are lined up next. And this is going to be an absolute smoke show, Paddy, isn't it? I mean, big horsepower. Bogger's going to take the lead right now. He's going to set the tone for this because he is super fast.
Yeah, it'll just be to see if Bogger can consistently keep those good laps happening. As we've seen in his last battle, he did grab a handful of handbrake going into the big bump drag there. So it'll be interesting to see if he can really pull off a full stick lap.
He goes through the tyres too, and you know, lead run, if he's let loose and to go as fast as he like and puts on a massive smoke show, he's going to take a lot out of those tyres. Now, will they have the same bite when he comes back and has to do, you know, the chase run? Will he need that grip there to make it up? I don't know if he will. He's got the huge horsepower. Senatani did a fantastic job today. He's already rubbed some panels. He's got that over and done with. So's Bogger. Let's see how they go on this one as he leads it out in the BSC Performance. Hulk, 180. There we go. He's pretty ginger on the power too at the moment. He's controlling that wheel spin, isn't he? He's grabbed just a little bit of handbrake. Second grab as well. Tunney pulls up nice and close, so they feel that outer clipping zone. Looks like Bogger wheel this time. Tunney doing a nice job on the inside. And he straightens. Oh no, he's had a bit of a straighten there on the transition there. Bogger goes through, and now he puts on the smoke screen. The display is on for the crowd out the back there as he lights the tyres up, pulls around the last corner, and brings it home, Bogger. But Senatani is way back, and I've got to think mechanical issue. I'd love to see that up on camera to find out exactly what happened to Senatani.
The other thing that could happen is he could have just lost vision. Like the driving through the smoke behind Bogger is absolutely just out there. Like you have to purely rely on sight and feeling the camber in the track to make your way through. So if we watch here as Bogger comes through full tilt, it looks like Senna just transitioned too early. Then if he had stayed on it, he would have been rear wheels over the inside ripple strip there.
It wasn't a perfect run from Bogger, was it, out in front? That's what we're going to do. It didn't really feel that outer clipping zone coming out of the first corner. It didn't go all the way out. You've got to get really close to the ripple strip or on it, as we've seen some guys. Try to fill the next outer clipping zone a fair bit. Nice line through the next couple of corners. They finished off the drift really well. Now, Senatani, though, don't know if he just pulled out of that one and thought, you know what, I've had the straight and I've had the bobble, so let's just let it be. We'll turn the car around and see how we go, because he could really take it to Bogger, though. Like, Bogger's not perfect. He's not pulling off the perfect runs. Tunney's been doing really well under pressure as well.
Yeah, it'll be good to see if he can get out there, hit the qualifying line without shutting the door, because the judges are going to look at that and go, he did a really chaseable lead run, and that's exactly what we want to see, which will mean that Bogger has to stick it to him. So if we see Bogger hanging back at all or anything like that, we may see the vote change ways.
Well, it'll be interesting when we just interviewed him before, when Jeff grabbed him, he said, I was already looking at the door, I wasn't looking at the line. So he needs to take that away. He needs to have both in his vision. Oh, Tunney throws it down. Look at this, the speed coming through. Big drag, though. Oh, he needed to really get on the power and drive that out to the outer clipping zone. So not what the judges want to see from the lead driver. Bogger's way back, though. Like, the proximity, I did not expect that with the power and grip that Bogger's got. I didn't expect Tunney just to pull away like that. And look at him winding the lock here and really back into that corner as best he can and slingshot it out. Mate, I'm impressed with that lead run. It's not perfect. It is definitely not perfect. But check out the Trias replay. And he just stands on the throttle, drives it away. Look at that as he throws it back. Paddy, I mean, apart from this little section, if he could have stayed on the power and really pushed that out of clipping zone, that was, looking to start off as a nice run.
Yeah, one thing that Stewie Bryant really picked up in the driver's walk this morning is he wanted us to not have too much angle through there and leave the transition as late as possible. So we've seen he flicked on a lot of angle really early. But what Stewie was saying is that he wants us to delay it a little bit, and then as soon as we get to the outside clipping point, stack on the lock instead of using the handbrake to slow yourself down.
Yeah, Jeff, you're down there with him though. Tony, what a lead run. How'd you go?
Oh, mate, that chase, I just couldn't see at the end there. Yeah, too much smoke. I couldn't see where I was going.
How'd your last run just go, bro?
Oh, I was happy with the lead, but yeah, he looked like he was on me the whole way through, so I think he's got me.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a gap. I wonder why.
Oh, there we go. So words there, and just exactly what you said, Paddy. Very hard to see, and Bogger's got a smoke machine, mate. Basically, when he stands on that 1,200 horsepower unleashes, tyres have no chance. It is a thick white smoke, and the Zekis, they go straight up. And that's what you get when you get those huge horsepower cars. And it's amazing how responsive it is with that turbo setup. He's done a lot of work tuning that in the background. As we check out a bit of a Trias replay now. This is the lead run from Senna Tunney, the last run with Bogger behind. Now, Tunney pulled out, didn't he, halfway through the drift just due to the smoke. But Bogger's still a bit way off. And like you say, he throws it in early, can't keep that momentum going. Now, Bogger does the same thing there. I don't know if that's because he's followed Tunney, and he did say last time in his last one he was watching the car in front. He wasn't watching the line. And if that had been a closer first battle, this could have been an issue for him, and we could have seen it one more time.
Yeah, we certainly see Bogger hang back a little bit there, so it'll be interesting to see what they're looking for in the replays here, whether it's the lead runs for Bogger and Sonny as to how far they stayed out and for how long.
All right, well, Jeff, you're down there to grab a couple of words.
Just wondering why you were playing it so safe there, Bog.
Well, I actually thought he spun. So, again, no spotter, man. So
sounds like you need a spotter.
I think I need a spotter.
Definitely do, mate. Feeling confident?
Yeah, look, the car feels good, man. The grip's good. The track's good. Yeah, I tried the entry that Stewie really wanted, which was not much angle going into that corner, and then really, really late throw 90. And it seemed to work, so hopefully they score it. We'll see.
Your lead run looks very smooth out there, bro. Keep it up.
Well, Dan, I bet you can dissect this run a lot better than we can up here in the commentary box.
Yeah, guys, so what we were looking at here initially was just to see what we've got in our rule book is that we can call guys on an inactive chase. So we're looking to see how close Bogger was there, to centre, and make sure that he didn't deliberately sit back. What we want the guys to do is still to get up on their door and put themselves in danger, right, to make an error. The only way you can force an error from the lead position is if the chase driver is right there with you. And it's not really force an error, it's just by doing a killer line and then they make that error being so close. So what we were looking for was what happened there. And in the end, we've determined that in our belief, centre was going a little bit slower and then initiated quickly, which is what he's been doing all the time. So that's perfectly fine for him to do that. It just caught Bogger napping a bit, which means he got some pretty heavy deductions for his proximity. But unfortunately, with centre's issue in that first run, it wasn't quite enough to reverse it around to a 10-0, and therefore send it as an OMT. So Bogger will get the tick for us on that one.
Well, there you go. The first of the cars to go into the top four will be Brendan O'Grady, or Bogger as we know him. He's going to go and battle it out. He's going to get somewhere in the top four today. And I tell you what, the Zoo Performance guys will be happy he's part of that crew down there. But Brody Mayer, our second qualifier here, and the SR Power out in front of James Abbott, the 2J Power S15, Nigella. And Brody Mayer has been super, super clinical so far today. Look at the speed of the thing as he goes through. Nigella is gripped up. Oh no, he nearly spins out, grabs that ripple strip he spoke about earlier, Paddy, and really throws the car. How did he save that? He has actually saved that and still pulling away. Oh no, Jabs is off. He's off into the dust cloud. It's gone. And it looks like Brody Mayer, what a get out of jail free card for that one.
Yeah, absolutely. He did exactly what Stewie said in going into the big bomb drag section. He really kept it straight, then flicked all the angle off, as we'll see it right here. Not too much angle, and then just stacks it on. But it looks like being out on the ripple strip, it just kept him out that little bit too long, and he ran super wide, almost had to fully straighten and get it back on the racetrack. But here we see Jab just go way too wide on the transition out there and catch the dirt like I did earlier today. He's obviously coming to terms with the new setup of the car there, Jabs. But I mean, Brody Mayer, I like that. And he came out super aggressive and fast. That was not a slow run. We could tell from the moment he came out of that first corner how fast that car was actually going. And I mean, you look at Jabs normally, that is a super quick car. It grips up and it goes. So maybe that was how he was going to play this one out. Well, what I'm going to do is I've got the lead run. I'm going to get the jump on him and put the pressure on him. And it's worked. Jabs has made an error. He's gone out, dropped the wheels. And once you drop two wheels in the dirt, the deductions, like Mackie said earlier, 50% of the car goes off, you're getting a zero. Now, I don't know if 50% of the car went off. We didn't tell. It looked like it. It definitely looked like it as we panned away. But either way, Jabs has to do something phenomenal here. And Brody really needs to make a major mistake for us to see this go one more time. So, look, Jabs is going to throw it down no matter what, because he has absolutely nothing to lose in this run. And that's what we see James Abbott now. The anti-lag's up and he is away in Nigella, the S15, as he goes in the first corner. This one's quick as well too, but Brody Mayer matches that pace here. And we look how much angle's going to come on. Jabs doesn't do a bad job there, but Brody Mayer keeping that nose in tight. That's all he has to do. Fills that outer section as well. And the smoke machine comes. He's in the dirt again. It's almost the same as last time, and that's definitely, I'm going to call that 50% of the car off the track, and he's going to bring Nigella home, knowing that that's not the day he wanted to see here in the Blaze Unit car. Of course, Nigella just not playing today, but look, good things to come. The car's finished the day off. It's basically a rebuild of the car. It's finished. Check out the Trias replay now, though, Paddy. Yeah, a bit of foreshadowing here. Like, we look at Brody just get right up onto him and not sacrifice too much line there to get right up on his door. So I think progressing through to the next round of battles, Brody may be one to see in the finals here today for us.
Wouldn't it be weird if we saw an all Tassie final? We get Matt Harvey and Brody Mayer come over, both from Tasmania, different cars, different setups, but it just goes to show whatever they're doing down there in Tasmania absolutely works. And we did catch up with him earlier. I had a chat with him down the pits. He said that, there's a couple of guys in Tasmania who he used to drift with back in the day. He said, we could never get close to him. Check it out there. Mayak goes through. We're not even surprised at that. We did see, of course, Jabs go off the track twice. So pretty easy one for the judges this time. I'm pretty sure we're not going to get Mackie tuned in on this one and give us a rundown. When you're dropping tyres off in the dirt, you're not going to go through. And look, Chevrolet and Jabs, look, they'll be happy that the Blaze Unit got back out there today, but obviously they'll be disappointed in the end result, as most drivers would be after such a long hiatus from there, especially with what we've had going on around the world. They want to get back in. Yourself, is part of that. It all comes down to qualifying. Chevrolet qualified a bit further down, much like yourself. So, it's good to, you really want to get up there high and get to the top 8. Now we go back to this battle, though. Matt Harvey, Glenn Albright. Albright drove in before, so maybe some mechanical repairs. Harvey, that was your number one qualifier, and the Tasmanians seem to be bringing it here today. Let's see what he can do in the Power Plus S13.
winds it on. How much lock does he put on in the second half? Nice there, very clinical. But Omerod right on the back of him, and like we say, pretty much a Bo Yates car, this thing. It's got the same sort of running combination, same sort of setup, and you know, you take that away from Yates, all the experience he's had in that car, and you put that information into this one. He's come out with a really competitive car. Now, we saw he left the perfect amount of room there from Harvey, just left him that sort of half, 3/4 of a metre, and Omerod used it, and then he backed off there, and he just drops a wheel on the dirt at the end. So, you know, the Trias replay will show really nice here, won't it, Paddy?
Yeah, we just see Matt coming out nice and wide here. Just not using, like we see a light handbrake jab there, but absolutely getting the line. As we see him nicely transition around. Even Glenn came through the smoke quite well here. Matt giving the room, and as we see there, that's a perfect example of the chaser car getting right up on them. But it looks like Glenn did drop a wheel on the outside there, so that's why he would have been hanging back a little bit, but absolutely point on run for Matt Harvey there.
Yeah, another wheel there for Glenn Omerod at the end too. Now, look, at that point, a lot of smoke from the lead car, Matt Harvey. So, you know, that could be another factor in that one there, where they'll come back off the transition and all of a sudden there's smoke everywhere. You've only got to be 2 inches to the left, and all of a sudden you've got a wheel on the edge of that. And it's quite a drop off, isn't it, off the bitumen? It's quite thick, so, you know, you get most of your tyre on the outside, it's going to pull the car off. And he's done a really good job, Glenn Omerod, to hold on to that one and get it through. Now, it's not all over. Matt Harvey's a person. People make mistakes. I don't want to give him the commentator's curse. Matt Harvey, though, needs to think this through. Cool, calm, collected. I'm not saying he's not. He's the epiphany of a drifter at the moment. At the moment, he just seems to be the man with the skills. He's keeping his cool, calm, collected. Puts the nose up there, grabs a bit of curb. That could have been dangerous for him. Looks like he's going to hold on to it, though. Winds that lock on. Omerod out really wide. Can't see if the wheel right on the edge of the bitumen there, doing a nice job. Leaves some room there. Harvey puts a nose in. This one is a good battle to watch. Omerod doing everything perfect. Oh no, Matt Harvey goes all cut. Both cars go off, and I mean, I don't think Matt Harvey's touched him there, so they both go off. Yeah, look, Dan, we need you back in the commentary box, mate. We need to get a word from Dan Mack on that one. I mean, look at the dust though. It's both cars have gone off. I did not see any contact. I don't think Harvey's caused that. Omerod wouldn't have known he's gone off. Let's check out the Trias replay, Paddy. See if we can dissect this one down a little bit.
Yeah, so we got Matt Harvey grabbing a heap of curb on the inside there, just kind of nipping it up behind Glenn. Glenn giving quite an outside line for Matt to chase, which is nice. And as we see him switch, again, just like Matt did, gives that metre to half a metre for Matt to go right in. And it's just crossing through the smoke here that both of the cars were just on the wrong trajectory, and we see Matt come off first and then Glenn. So it'll be interesting to see their take on. Obviously, there's no fault by Matt to cause Glenn to come off, but it's a real hard one out there.
Yeah, but the first one to get the tyres off, so what is the ruling on that, you know? And I'm sure we'll get some words here from Dan Mackey very shortly, because it would be great to find out how they will rule against that. I mean, so we're looking at our top four at the moment. It looks like Brendan O'Grady is going in, and he will be battling whoever is the winner out of this battle here. So, you know, we're not sure yet. We're going to wait and see that. Brody Mayer, though, is going to take on the battle between Mo O'Hooley and Al Sharker, which should be coming up next. So just wait to see if they are heading out on track and scrubbing their tyres. Can't see them out there at the moment, but they won't be too far away, because our Z Performers Pro-Am are next on track. As we can see, Mo O'Hooley looks like they've gone around Al Sharker doing maybe coming with some mechanical repairs there. They've called a 5 minute on that one, so the car's starting to come back in. As the final battle we have in our top 8 of the Hi-Tec Oils Pro Drift category. And here we go. Harvey gets it from Mackie, one more time from Brian, and Omerod from Martel. Now, that tells me we're going again. We're going again. Isn't it interesting the different opinions the judges have? And 3 different opinions across 3 judges. So, Dan Mackey, we want to get you in here and have a bit of a discussion, because every judge had a different opinion on that one.
Yeah, and believe it or not, we all kind of agreed to disagree there. You know, we all had our fair points on why and whatnot. We don't discuss prior to putting our results in on what and why we do it. But I'll try and talk it through and use all 3 judges' opinions here if I can. Obviously this, which is the lead from Glenn, he's started quite well. Matt's in there, a little bit of a straighten there, but we weren't judging super heavy there. A bit shallower, and at this stage of the battle, it's pretty much going back towards, swinging back towards Matt Harvey. They've done the right thing. They've left the space, as you said correctly. Then when they come here, we've asked him to be Matt Harvey has to follow Glenn as a mobile clipping point. Now, Glenn's effectively, in my opinion, escorting him wide, right? Which I kind of felt like that would give it back to Harvey because it was Glenn's mistake, not Matt's. Stewie should have gone, by that stage they were kind of very similar, they've both gone off, so he's decided that it's an OMT, and James has said, well, one guy left the track by before the other one, so therefore he's gone the other way around. So it's all just a slight different way that we've looked at the rules and regulations, but we've come up with an OMT, which I personally think is probably the best way to settle that battle.
Look, I'm not even upset by that, because that, so far, I think these have had the battle of the day. I mean, before I thought it might have been shit. You know, we saw Shembry and Mayer go at it earlier. I thought that might have been the battle of the day. That stepped it up. And without that mistake at the end, I would not have wanted to be a judge, because it was so close. That little bobble there, like you say, from Matt Harvey at the start there. You know, Glenn Omrod's, though, wasn't perfect in the chase run either. So, you know, it would have been trying to figure out which was the worst of two evils, I suppose. So I just want to see it one more time. I'm pretty sure the crowd here want to see it as well. I'm pretty sure everyone at home watching us out there on the live stream will want to be seeing that one as well, as we check out a bit of an update on the battle tree here for the Hi-Tec Oils Pro Series. Paddy, I mean, Brendan O'Grady's going to be taking on one of those two. Now, if you think Matt Harvey and Glenn Omrod battle is going to be fantastic, imagine until they have to take on Bogger. Now, he doesn't have a spotter, so and he's learned from that last time that you can't think the car's spun behind you. You're going to have to put 110%. Now, Brody Mayer on fire, super fast. And Mo O'Hooley and Al Sharker. Now, Mo, phenomenal driver. They look like they're coming for a mechanical repair, but he can be taking on either one of those, and that's going to be another fantastic one. It's gearing up to be a really great final here for round number one here at Winton for the 2021 season of the Hi-Tec Drift All-Star Series, and that's really what we want. We want every round to bring everyone at home and everyone here in the crowd a heap of excitement, because that's what drifting's all about. We like to come down and have a good time. We hope it excites you at home. It excites us up here in the commentary box. And look, Paddy, I'm disappointed you're out. I'm a fellow Territorian at heart, but it's great to have you here in the commentary box, and you get to see a little bit of a different side. We get your perspective from a driver's point of view. I mean, you spend a lot of hours out there doing practice. You get to know the track. I mean, we did the track walk together today, and you pointed out a lot of things that, not being a driver, I don't notice out there. So, you know, the pebbling up there. And one of the other things, like you say, with the cars going off track at the moment, that's going to change the conditions here, especially for the Zoo Performance Pro-Am that aren't too far from coming out.
Yeah, one other main thing is right now it's currently 4:24, and you might be not able to see it on camera, but we've actually just had the sun set, so the track now is going to get less sunlight, so we'll actually see a change in track condition right now within the next couple of minutes. So that one will be something to keep an eye out on, is to see if the drivers change their car setups to account for the different track temperatures.
Yeah, well, it looks like we are going to finish off this top 8 pro battle at the moment, and it's Mo O'Hooley going to take on Alex Sharker now. Sharker, can he complete the birthday run? It's his birthday this weekend, and his brother will be watching back there in Sydney. He's had a big weekend at the drags, but I mean, today he'll be sitting back in the lounge room of the live stream going. Mo O'Hooley, though, is going to throw this in and check out the Garage Works turbocharged LSS13, and here we go. The speed, Sharker in the background, but he doesn't get up tight on the inside. Hawley grabs a little bit of handbrake there to keep that angle on as he filled this out of clipping zone. Does a nice job with that one too. But look at the smoke screen. Like you say, we've had a few drivers there and really struggled there. Hawley gives him a bit of room there. Very close to minimal room, but he does give him the room there. Sharker doesn't get the nose in. I mean, he's already damaged that beautiful S14 up today. And Hawley finishes off the drift there and the line through the M's with a nice run there. Look, personally advantaged, I think, to Hawley at the moment. As we check out the Tri-Ace replay now, definitely doesn't shut him down. That's what I like. He gives the chase driver plenty of room there. Sharker wide there, though, Paddy.
Yeah, it's actually quite good to see Mo out there. It's looked like he's trying to cut his qualifying lap again. Like, that was pretty much on the money, especially through here. He's just keeping it on the gas, the right distances from everything. And yeah, Mo's actually qualifying yet again. He's really running the line.
Yeah, I know you were dreaming for a run like that this weekend. I mean, that'd be another top three run if you were in qualifying at the moment. That's what I think anyway. So, be interested to see how he goes though, because our Sharker now is going to get the lead run. He might be a bit more comfortable out there. I don't know how Mo's going to go. So far, I don't think it. You got to remember, Mo being from Victoria, he comes here quite frequently. He knows his track. They understand the conditions. That's what we talked to a lot of the Victorian drivers down there in pits. That's what I said, mate. We know how grippy Winton can be. We know how to overcome it. A lot of the time too, the competitions here
might only be a street tyre. So when they put the semi on, they go, mate, it's great. Well, when you put the semi on, it makes it so much better. So they've got the different setups for the different tracks, and that's where the advantages are going to come throughout the season. Some guys, I mean, you know, you look at the guys from Sydney, they are going to understand when we go to Sydney what goes on. South Australia, you know, like we don't have too many South Aussies in the comp here, but we probably see a lot enter when we go over there next round, and they're going to have an advantage over there because they're doing a lot of competition. But our Shark, Alex Sharker now, that's how he leads this one out. The Shark over Mo Hawley now. Well, Hawley needs to keep a nice clean run, goes a little bit wide there. Sharker, though, closes the gap down, which is not what the judges want to see. Well, Hawley, they can wind the boost on here. Can he catch the mighty Barra out in front? A lot of handbrake there, uses the curb. Oh, don't damage it, Hawley. That's what I'm saying, Mo. He's straightened, though. He has a straighten. Sharker gives him room there, too. So it's not a bad line through that section of the track. And Sharker now looks like he has found his groove in the back half of this drift. Goes super wide, though. Hawley has a chance to close that gap down. Shark will bring it home without dropping a tyre, but that was super wide, Paddy, and not really what the judge wants to see. If it goes down to lead runs, I've got my money on Mo.
Yeah, one thing that certainly does look like, it looks like Mo might have used a bit too much tyre in his first lap, as we were discussing before. He does use a lot of, you know, smoke and tyre in his first lap, but yeah, we do see him a little bit back there. But yeah, Alex just getting around the track. You know, the line-wise, he is kind of hitting it there. As we see here, he does get into the marbles and get really wide out there, but keeps it on the track, which is definitely a good thing.
Well, let's head down to Jeff and see what they've got to say.
I'm here with Matt Harvey. She's looking a bit dusty.
What's that?
She's looking a bit dusty.
Yeah, she's looking a bit dusty, but we'll get it done, that's sure. All right.
Luck with your battle.
Thanks, dude.
He is all business, isn't he? He is all business, Matt Harvey. There is you go down, they've got such a professional crew. His old man down there as well, his dad down there, his mum, like everyone there, and they understand the car. They know every nut and bolt from that thing. They've just rebuilt. I mean, so a week ago, we'll go through that, but look, quick results there. Sharker looks like he's going to get the win on that one. So he will get the win over Mo Hawley, and hopefully we grab a few words from Dan Mackey very shortly about that whole result there with Sharker go through. The birthday presents continue.
Would that have been an inactive chase? They did mention it a bit early in one of the other battles. Was Mo too far behind?
Big straighten as well. So maybe he just made too many errors, and that's all it is. And you can see the Sharker car down there wearing a fair bit of damage this weekend, but you know, the Shark, can he bring the birthday present home? I don't think he'd care. If he gets top four, that's present enough if I was out there. And Mo Hawley will be waiting patiently to find out that decision there, but Sharker will go through to the next round, and he'll be taking on Brody Mayer, very tough competitor. I don't know, you're not going to win that on any luck. You're going to have to really take it to Brody Mayer when we go to the top four now. A rerunner one more time here, and it looks like the car is back out of Matt Harvey. Glenn Omerod, I don't know where he is. He's way out in front. Is he way behind?
Maybe he missed the start there, whether he wasn't in the right gear. Yes, that they run it again. So Glenn falling off the track. So
and it's hard if you miss the start, isn't it, Paddy? Because now he's trying to use every ounce of speed he's got in that car to try and close that proximity up just to give himself an advantage. And so easy to make that mistake here at Winton.
Absolutely, and Matt Harvey is coming through there. And yeah, once you fall that far behind, you are entering late, you are going full throttle just to make up the pace. As we'll see here, Glenn just not in shot there. Yeah, as he comes around, it's like he's about 10 car lengths behind. And Matt just doing his thing out there, as he always does. It's just another qualifying lap for him out there.
It is, really. It's eat, sleep, repeat, muscle memory almost for him. I think I'd love to put a blindfold on to see if he can do it. It almost feels like that, doesn't it? He just goes through the motions. He looks so comfortable in the car, and I suppose that's the difference when you've got a well set up car and you feel at one with the car. Is it doesn't look like a struggle, no matter how much you're using your arms and the steering wheel's going around and the you know how much attitude the car has. I think he stalled it.
Yeah,
it actually looks like he stalled the car.
Yeah, it looks like he's managed to bump it back and get it going again. But Matt Harvey is signed, sealed, and delivered. He has left the stage there, and Glenn just getting back into it.
Yeah, the Connect Electrical on board for Glenn Omerod this weekend. He put that out in his social media. Great to have his sponsors on the side. Of course, the Kumo tyres for Matt Harvey out of Tasmania. But can the Connect Electrical do something in this one? Because Matt Harvey has a huge advantage when it comes to this one, but he needs to take the chase to him. He still needs to keep that pressure on. Glenn Omerod now in the 86 out in front. 2J Power drops off into the ripple strip, as we have seen Harvey do as well. They use it. Oh, lots of angle, and the wheel is off. And Harvey, though, keeps the car on. Uses him, though. And this is what happened last time. They both went off and one of the judges saw it that way, and Omrod's off again. There's something wrong there. I think maybe they've got an adjustment wrong on that car, and Harvey looks like he's going to bring this one home and finishes the drift off, and I bet you he'll be pretty happy about that one. The guys will be back in the shed now going, let's throw another set of tyres on because we're going the top 4. Let's check out the Tri-Ace replay now, and Omrod, it seemed to me like he stalled the car on the first one. This time, though, he's got the car away. Harvey, though, maintains that pressure, doesn't he, Paddy? He keeps that proximity. Omrod does nothing wrong here, but Matt Harvey knows exactly what to do. He keeps it on. Still a fair bit of angle there from Harvey, considering he's a chase car, and this time, though, he's erred on the side of caution there, because last time he actually got led off the racetrack.
See, another thing we could be seeing here is the track temperature changing, because we've seen a couple cars come off on the outside. So whether the track's getting dirtier or the track's getting less grippy, we've seen them not commit as much.
Not surprised to see all 3 judges now said Matt Harvey will go into the top 4, and that's how it's going to be. Harvey, Mayer, O'Grady and Sharker in the top 4 of the Hi-Tec Oils Pro. As we move on to now, it's going to be the top 4 of our Zoo Performance Pro-Am, and it looks like is that Nathan Ranson out there trying to chase up Brian Cruikshank, who's in that ultra-fast BMW. This thing hooks up for a street tyre. So Pro-Am, the biggest difference really when we come to Pro-Am is the tyre. And it's a radial tyre, it's a street tyre. That's the easiest way to explain to the people who are not, I suppose, familiar with drifting. They're not running like a slick tyre with a huge amount of grip. A lot of these cars are still street cars or street-based cars. They don't have the radiators in the back and things like that a lot of the time. They're in the standard sort of configuration as we see them there. Brian Cruikshank, though, those BMW chassis are phenomenal. And we start to see them, years ago they were expensive to get and we didn't see a lot of drift cars, but now they've sort of become cheaper, haven't they? And people have started to convert them into these very competitive drift cars. We check out the Tri-Ace replay, Paddy. I mean, another one where we've just seen some issue there for Ranson.
Yeah, we see the BMW come through here, very, very fast car, and absolutely just gapping him. So whether that's an inactive chase called by the judges, not too sure on the line without watching the replay back again, but very, very fast BMW for a street tyre. Keep in mind, these are a 235 tyre. They're not a very big tyre, so to be able to producing that much grip out of them is absolutely phenomenal.
And you noticed that in his earlier run where he made it here into the top 4 is that thing it pretty much picks up one wheel, doesn't it? It tricycles, it twists the car right up. So, mate, to have that much bind, it's a lot of side grip in the car. So this time, though, he's going to be in the chase run. He gets away. He's going to keep that proximity down. You won't see these guys as close as we see the pro cars normally. Not really any line left there from Ranson. So Cruikshank's going to have to do a fair bit of work now, though, to close this gap up. And he's got some angle there, too. So he's actually doing what the judges want. Actually, Sam Mudge, sorry, I should correct that. Actually, Sam Mudge out there in the lead. Was that a wheel drop? Or was that just on the ripple strip there? Look, we'll let the judges call that one. Mudge this time, though, in the lead. He opens up a little bit of room there. Cruikshank closes it up in the back half of this run, though, doesn't he? Really gets on the back. He doesn't abort that run. He puts a little bit of pressure on him there, and Brian Cruikshank with a nice run. The Tri-Ace replay here, and you look at that. Mudge really, opens up a little bit of a gap here at this point, and I thought, wow, like maybe we could see a turnaround, Paddy.
Yeah, it looks like Brian knowingly hangs back just a little bit because he knows his car is fast. So I'm not sure whether Sam surprised him with how much speed he has. That's why we're seeing that bit of a gap there. But Brian, slowly throughout the course, just bringing the car closer and closer to Sam.
Yeah, the experience here, isn't it? Just to be, not as much angle through a few corners, come a little bit shallow, just really close that proximity back up and try and get those points back with the judge because he did a really good lead run. So your top 4 battles here in the Zoo Performance Pro-Am, and how fantastic to have Zoo Performance back on board. They really want to put back into drifting and the community of drifting and try and accelerate some of these young guns and get them into those pro categories over the next few years. And, it's great to see that they just love the drift community and they want to put back into it because their next cars are track. And Jory Bretkoff there, and Jory out in front at the moment. Here we go. Sorry, Benny Matthews out in front at the moment. Jory Bretkoff is in that beautiful purple car. Benny Matthews goes and gets out on the clipping zone, but something's happening to Jory Bretkoff. Maybe that's another one, like you say, intercooler pipe issue, maybe, because you lose so much power when the intercooler pipe blows off, don't you?
Absolutely. Essentially, you're going from a boosted application to running off pure motor power, which in this case, where you don't have 8 cylinders, running no boost is quite a significant change in power.
Let's check out the tries replay here as he pulls away in this car. Let's see if we can see anything happen mechanically. Normally, you sometimes you see a little bit of puff there of, you know, intake come out, or you just see the moment where it happens. A lot of handbrake at this point. Tries to get back on the power and it's gone. So we're not gonna pick anything up on that shot. That's unfortunate for him. So yeah, big advantage there to Benny Matthews.
Yeah, as we see the lead car driver finishing up the lap here, relatively respectful run, getting to the clipping point, still just making his way around, making sure he completes his lap. As the lead driver, if the chase driver spins, you still need to complete your lap. It's not game over from that point onwards, so very good of him to keep it together and finish out the lap there.
Yeah, and it could come down, if he makes a similar mistake, like the judges say, they are going to look at the lead runs of both drivers. So by laying down such a stout lead run, that puts him at a good advantage in this one. So if something happens to him, now we also know that Jory's got to make a really stout lead run as well and not make too many mistakes and stay to that line in which the judge were looking. I mean, beautiful sunset here at Winton Raceway. As you can see in the background, the Victorian sunset in the background here out in the rural area. It's fantastic. The air's nice and clean, and it's a nice cool breeze out there at the moment, so conditions are coming down. We could see a little bit of extra horsepower in these cars as well, because we're not too far away as the sun will set. We're moving into our top four. This is the Zoo Performance Pro-Am top four. Our Hi-Tec Oils top four will be coming your way in the Pro Series up next, so we're not too far away from getting into that one. It's been a huge day here of drifting. We've been great to get hold of Dan Mackey today too and take us through some of those really close calls you see up there on the battle ladder. And it's Sam Mudge got the win over Brian. He's got the win. Okay, so that's going to be the battle for third. Brian Cruikshank has gone through to the final, so he got the win there. What we need to know, though, to see who is going to get through between this one, Benny Matthews or Jory Bretcott. Who will be battling who for 1 and 2, and who's going to battle out for 3rd and 4th here in the Zoo Performance Pro-Am category. And great to see those window banners up. And check the guys out at Zoo Performance. They've got plenty of products there, but the main thing is that they love what they do when it comes to drifting. They're over in New Zealand now, of course, Thailand, pushing into the Japan market as well. So they want to put back in, and Pro-Am is where they feel they need to be, because that, sort of gets more and more guys coming up. I mean, we've got a huge field today here in Pro. I think we had like 26, 27 cars in Pro to start with. Lost a couple through some mechanical. Mitch Cole did a diff, and some other cars with some issues there. So unfortunately they didn't make it out, but we had a top 24 with those guys. Then we moved to Pro-Am, and that was like 29, 30 entries this weekend to start with. And they had to filter through, same thing, some mechanical issues and that. Then we had some early battles, which we didn't have televised, just to get us down into the top 24, and then we had to get in. And as you can see, some mechanical issues here in the pits, the live vision coming from there. So they're working on something. I'm not sure if Jeff's got a bit of a feedback on what might be happening there, but they're playing around with the accelerator pedal, so it's a brake pedal, is it? So they're definitely not looking at intercooler piping. It's not something that simple.
It looks like they're actually playing with the clutch pedal there, so whether the slave has actually popped out on them, whether it's not adjusted right, but yeah, they're definitely playing with the clutch pedal there.
All right, Dan Mackey, I mean, you've got to talk us through some of these decisions. How's it all going up there?
Yeah, look, so which ones do you want to know about? We've got plenty of decisions that are coming thick and fast here. This one's a bit of an interesting one. Looks like it might be a clutch pedal or something like that. What have we got? We've got Brian and Sam in the last one. That was fairly obvious, I thought, that Brian just clearly demonstrated a much faster car. The lines were a bit sketchy though, so the guys are going to have to tidy that up a bit when we get into the final and the battle for third place in a little bit longer.
Look, Dan, I want to ask you a couple of questions here while we've got this. You can see it is definitely the clutch pedal there. They're working on that one. It's moved over, so they've got some issues under the car. But, I mean, it's been such a long time since we've done this competitive sort of drifting, and we've had the guys out here, and you've brought them out and given them a judge line and all those things. How are you feeling the competition's going so far? Has it sort of raised the bar from what you saw 2 years ago?
Oh, mate, look, I mean, these guys are always up there, and there's no real difference in how hard they're pushing this time. They always give 110% and happy to bend things and break things and bash things as much as they possibly can. I mean, that clutch is a perfect example of someone just obviously kicking it way too hard. The level's been great. We've tried to set a line here this weekend that encourages the chase, and we're starting to see that certainly in the from the pros, sort of from top 16 onwards, with Shembri there chasing hard in the Hi-Tec Oils car, and then we're seeing that also in the Pro-Am guys from the top 8 onwards, which is what we're sort of expecting to see. They're really getting to start tick those boxes off. So we're at the business end now. We've got to look a lot closer. There's smaller technicalities coming into it, and that's where it's really important to have guys up here with me that have had proper driving experience in a competition competition format. You know, they know exactly what's going on inside those cars. They've been there, they've done that, and we've all had those calls go against us. We've all had those calls go for us as well. You know, and sometimes when it really comes down to such a short or a minute little detail, you know, you've got to cop it on the chin. It's tough sometimes, but it is a judge sport.
Well, Jeff, you got a bit of an update for us down there in the pits.
Yeah, well, I got Ben. How did that even happen?
Oh, I don't know. I just went to pull the handbrake and stalled the motor for some reason. I looked down and my clutch pedal was way off. So
did you kick it or?
Oh, kicked it and then tried to come in, grab the handbrake again, and just noticed that it stalled the motor straight away. So I couldn't do anything. So
I've heard of slipping the clutch, but this is the first time for me.
Yeah, she was pretty bad. So hopefully we get it fixed.
Yeah, well, the boys look like they're busy. They got their hands full.
No, they're going well.
I really love how you see so many people get involved, don't they, down there in the pits, and you see other competitors come over, they share their tools, they really make it happen here down in the drift community, just to get the cars back out on track, because no one wants to lose a battle due to mechanical failure.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had my fair share of mechanical failures over the year. I've actually had this exact problem before in the old AB Racing S13.5, where the firewall actually flexes and it just allows the pedal to get caught behind the brake pedal. And it's absolutely spins them out when, like, it's just crazy when it happens and you don't even think about it. And once it's done, it's done. There's no going back from that one.
Yeah, it's probably something you don't expect the brake pedal to move over and get caught under there. As you can see the footage on board, and you do need it with the setup there. I mean, poor little SR, he's got a lot of work to do there, and the clutch kicks pretty common. Oh no, what have we got in there? Yeah, so the boys are working hard there to try and get this 180 back out on track. Of course, Benny Matthews is only going to have a certain amount of time. He's not going to have all day to fix that car, because we have Jory Breckroft sitting out there on track at the moment, and just waiting to get this run done, but they're frantically working through at the moment. Of course, big shout out to all the people that make this possible here, and obviously at the Hi-Tec Oils, at the Hi-Tec Allstars Drift Series. Of course, as you can see, Film Studios, Powwow, Sydney, Australia, Hi-Tec Oils, we can't say them enough. Zoo Performance on there as well. Motec on board again for 2021. The Hi-Tec Motorsports tyres, of course, the Tri-Aces down there in the pits. Orange Hire, a brand new supporter of Earth Moving and Traffic Management Company, of course, based down here up there in Queensland, and of course New South Wales as well. Van Gogh Rapid Repair Centre, he does so many drift cars down there, does fantastic work on the cars and gets them back out here, makes them look absolutely superb for the drivers out there. Raceline Raceway, you saw them in there as well. They got their official merchandise down at the Hi-Tec trailer. So it looks like that car is going out. So Benny Matthews, Paddy, looks like the car is going to make it back out, and we are going to finish this battle off.
Yeah, it'll be good to see him get out there, because at this pointy end of the tree here, you don't really want to be going out due to mechanical failures. So it's good to see them get out there, get that fair battle happening. It will be a 10-0, but once again, will we see one more time cause an odd issue come up? We won't really know till a few minutes away.
It's all going to unfold very shortly here at Winton in round number 1 of the 2021 Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars. On screen right now, you can see him scrubbing the tyres. Jory Breckroft is getting ready to go into battle with Benny Matthews to make it into who's going to go into the final. This is the top 4 of the Zoo Performance Pro-Am, but who's going to go and battle it out against Brian Cruikshank for the number 1 position, and who will battle Sam Mudge for the number 3 position. So our top 4, we've had the first battle. Brian Cruikshank in the BMW took the win over Sam Mudge. Now it's Benny Matthews and Jory Breckroft. Benny Matthews has had that clutch issue there, where we saw a little bit earlier on screen there, where it was all bent up in the back there, and they've frantically fixed that down in the pits very, very quickly. So like you say, a very big disadvantage when it comes to the points there, but Jory could make a mistake. This could even out. We could get it one more time. So we'll wait and see exactly what happens there. Line them up. Bit of a scrub of the tyres. Now they'll be testing that clutch out. He'll want to make sure that works, Benny Matthews. A bit of clutch kicking going on too. So he's using that quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I believe these are actually 2 SR20s, so I think Scott Shambry will be putting it out, supporting these 2 boys for rocking the old 4 cylinders, probably handing out some rocket stoppers in there too. But good to see the boys out.
Oh mate, he'll be foaming if these are both SR20s. Foaming is what Shambry will be doing. Here we go. Benny Matthews in the lead this time. Let's see what Jory can do. Can he stick it to the back door? Gets the nose in a little bit there. That gives him a little room to move as they do the switchback. Proximity not too bad at this point too from Jory on the chase run. Doesn't do too bad a job there. Matthews goes wide, feels that activity. It looks like a wheel dropped off. We saw the attitude of the car drop that that suspension down. Nice run there too, gives him a little bit of room there. Matthews uses that to get up on the inside. This time, Jory just got to get the final corner done. He goes wide, straight, and Jory. Oh, look, I'm going to say it now. My prediction is he will go through and take on Brian Cruikshank for the 1 and 2 here in the Zoo Performance Pro-Am. We'll wait to hear the official word from the judges, but the Tri-Ace replay right now will show it, Paddy.
As we see him straighten up a little bit, give it another entry, reinitiate there, bring it around slowly. Car's not super mega proximity, drops a tyre on the outside here, but sets himself up really good through this corner. A perfect chance to jump into his door on the chase there. Flicks it over, and whether we see a drop of power there or he just got off the gas knowing that he was too far out to keep it on the black stuff.
Could be that clutch issue back again, couldn't it? I mean, that's very possible. Unfortunate for him, but he's got a chance to get on the podium in 3rd position. So that is our top 4 run and done for the Zoo Performance. Obviously, Pro-Am series there, but they will come back and battle between 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. But Brett Koff gets the win, as we did expect. So Jory will go through and battle it out for position number 1 to get on the podium. But here we go, top 4 now for our Pro category. And it's Matt Harvey taking on Brendan O'Grady. This one's going to be a fantastic battle. Harvey qualified number 1. O'Grady qualified 4th, and he slides the front end, that inside wheel on the ripple strip. That's not what he wants to do in the chase run. Harvey just needs to put this together. Another clinical qualifying run like he always does, puts it in the right spot, leaves a little bit of room there for Bogger, but Bogger goes wide, doesn't he?
Yeah, Matt coming around into the last corner here, Bogger trying to get that one last crack at him as we see him surge up to the side of the car. But yeah, just Matt Harvey turned it on for this lap. He certainly pulled the grip out of the bag for the first half of the lap there.
Yeah, check this one out. He gets it up on 3 wheels. Just a tiny bit of daylight under that front left wheel as he goes through. Now, Bogger just comes in so far on the inside, and the inside of his rim running along the ripple strip. Harvey goes out, fills that outer clipping zone like the judges have asked all day. Comes down here, actually gives him quite a bit of room. Now, there's a chance there for Bogger to really straighten a little bit, put that nose in and close that proximity up, which he doesn't do. Big horsepower car, though. Right now, though, he does do that. He brings that proximity right up, and the Hulk, the BSE Performance 180, will finish that drift off there. But Matt Harvey, with the advantage at this stage, I would say, from that run. Let's see how he goes, though, when we change positions, because Bogger's fast, but all the horsepower in the world in that car. Can he pull away and really put the pressure on Harvey?
Well, the other thing that we do need to look at is Bogger's done one run on those set of tyres. We know Matt's car is very hooked up at this point in time. Will Bogger be able to power away from Matt?
That's right, and Bogger's the wheel speed on that thing. That is insane. So he's punishing those tyres here as he comes down. Harvey, though, not giving him any room there. Puts it right on the back, on the side door there. Bogger, though, too close down. Doesn't give Harvey the room, which means Harvey's got to straighten there. That's how I see it anyway. We'll see how the judges think after this one. O'Grady goes... He's a bit late filling that outer clipping zone too there, and Harvey gets back onto the line, and I think that's what he's just going to run on this one now, see if he can catch up to him though. Bogger doesn't finish this run off too bad at this point though. Gives a little bit of room going through there, but it was that first initial corner there where he's gone right up on the inside and not given the chase driver a chance to put the nose in and maintain that proximity.
One thing we'll see on the replay here is just in the first corner, they started the replay a little bit too late. It looked like Bogger was squeezing Matt Harvey down too far, not allowing Matt to actually enter with him. So, yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see how that call, because it happened prior to the judging section, the actual run up to the thing, which we discussed quite heavily in the driver's walk this morning, is the lead driver has to stay on the far right-hand side to make sure that the chase driver can cleanly enter with them. So it looked like Matt was squeezed quite a bit there, so it'll be interesting to see. Here we go, they backed it up just enough, so we'll see if Bogger does give Matt enough room.
Well, here we go. Dan Mackey, you want to run us through this one? Well, O'Grady's got the win up there on the screen there, and I think we are going to have to get some clarification from Dan Mackey, because it's a big replay to watch. We're checking that out at the start, but a big result there and a big knockout, Dan.
Yeah, look, guys, Matty, he got that one a little bit wrong. He wanted to be there, wanted to be aggressive with what we were looking for, but he didn't give that nose to tail at the start, so he cramped himself. It wasn't Bogger's fault. Bogger was going flat out like he was told to do, really fast. Matty stayed close, and then he wanted to try and get up there, so that was a fault to Matty, and that cost him.
Yeah, that's a big cost too. But number one qualifier, of course, last time we actually went out in Sydney in 2020, the one round we did get in, he qualified one, brought that home, and unfortunately he's made the top 4. He could still get a podium. He's going to get the chance to battle it out for position 3, but great to hear from Dan Mack exactly why that happened. Can Alex Sharker, they bring home the goods? Brody Mayer leads him out. Look at the speed of this thing. The Billet SR20 is out. Oh, Chambry's frothing somewhere in the pits watching this on the big screen. Oh, Mayer, look at him, grabs a bit of handbrake, the angle coming in, pushes it out. Does he get the power down? There he does. Not all the way out in the outer clipping zone, but not bad, because look at the gap that he has taken on Sharker. Now a straight, has he had an issue? A little bit of a bobble there from Mayer, but Sharker's way back. Mayer has the opportunity to do that. It's going to hurt him though to have to go back and look at that lead run when it comes to the judging. He does bring it home, but a mistake now made by Mayer, and Alex Sharker is way back there though. Look at the speed on this Tri-Ace replay.
Hold on to your rocket stoppers, kids. We've got Brody coming in real hot in here and just absolutely leaves it for dead. Coming out nice and wide out to the clip point here. Again, pretty much doing what Stewie said, keeping it relatively straight through there, then stacking on the angle quite late into the corner, getting out to the clip nice and wide. And then here we go. It looked like a loss of power, or whether he shifted up accidentally or something like that. Just lost drive for a bit there, but continued on nicely. Didn't fully lose drift, but his wheels did face the opposite direction. So, but the rear still stayed in motion in the correct way. So it'll be interesting to see how that one goes.
Well, Sharker stayed in the line, didn't he, behind? Unfortunately, he couldn't close that gap. And that little bit of a, like you say, that straight in there that Mayer had didn't help Sharker's cause really, because he wasn't on angle, he wasn't slow around that corner. So he's still got a fair bit of work to do, that Alex Sharker. He needs to pull a good lead run, but every time he's out in this car, he just gets better and better. Like he said, this is his first competition in this car. It's bruised, it's battered, but it's together. He's lost that cooler off the front when he had to come together with the Danny and the XD, but Sharker now in the lead. Mayer's been super fast. He gives him the room. That's what we just spoke about with Dan Mackey. So the chase car gives him the room now, gets right up on the back quarter. Let's see what they can do through here. Sharker needs to widen some angle on here. Can he do it out to the outer clipping zone? Mayer's right with him though. Doing a good job. This one's a fantastic battle. The switch back now as they come in. Not a lot of room left there from Sharker, but Mayer's right on the back quarter as well. Pushes him out a little bit wide this time though. Sharker needs to bring this home. Mayer comes down on the inside too, and they come, he almost gets up on that back. I thought we were going to see a side-by-side finish across the line there. What a battle that was to finish this one off. Check out the Tri-Ace replay. Sharker tries to pull away from Mayer, but that Billet SR20, plenty of power under the bonnet.
Yeah, as we see Brody keeping nice and clean with him, the judges did require nose to tail through here. Looks like he got a bit more of the rear quarter than he needed to, but yeah, certainly keeping the proximity through here, just keeping it nice and tame. He knows he's got to stay behind him, but coming through here, just keeping it with him. Now watch for the transition here. Looks like Brody, whether he got caught up on himself or just didn't transition at the right time, but managed to pull it right down to the inside clip and right back up with Alex.
Look, this one's another one I think we're going to have to talk to Dan Mackey on, because I don't want to call it either way. I'll wait and see what the results are. We're going to move on, though. It's going to be our battle now in the Zoo Performance Pro-Am Series. So the Zoo Performance Pro-Am Series, and I'm looking up on our screen. It looks like Brody Mayer may have gone through in that Pro category, but here we go. Let's move over. Let's see what we're going to do, and they're back at it again, of course. This time it's going to be Ben Matthews. Sam Marge and Matthews will lead us out in this one. Can the clutch hold up? All he's got to do is not bend that pedal again. Grabs a bit of a handbrake there at this point, drags it around. This is the battle now for third position in the Zoo Performance Pro-Am. Doing a nice job, Matthews in the front, Mudge behind. We've just come off a pro battle where we see a lot more closer proximity. They're not doing a bad job, the Pro-Am guys. Are straight in there though from Mudge. That's going to hurt him. But Matthews goes super wide around that last point and doesn't really come down on the clipping point, does he, Paddy?
Yeah, that last corner is a bit of a tricky one. Like, you carry so much momentum and they don't want you really trimming with the handbrake or foot brake too much. So to keep it on the power and to pull it in, you really do need some side bite and some grip to get to the late inside apex clip zone. But as we see them come through here, nice and flowy through the S's and get reasonably out wide and filled the entire outside zone, which is nice to see, making it super chaseable. Going out to the outside line, getting a nice transition in there just late enough to follow through. Again, half a metre off. That's what we like to see up here from the inside clip there, transitioning nicely and just holding it on the gas out wide. And I think Sam Mudge might have thought he was going to chopped down in front of him. He might have got off the gas trying to predict what he was going to do, but didn't end up carrying through with that particular action.
Yeah, it looks like he had to give it a clutch kick too to get that back sideways around the last corner. So yeah, a bit of a straight in there. And, you know, they're the things we're looking for. We're looking for these minor mistakes, and that's going to be the difference between, you know, who's third and who's fourth. Of course, at the moment in the Zoo Performance Pro-Am out there, we're going to swap it around now. The lead driver this time is going to be Sam Mudge. Let's see what he can do out in front. Ben Matthews with that clutch issue early, unfortunately, put him in this battle for third and fourth. He could have been in the front. You never know. He's going to have to go hard on this one and really get up on the back door, because Mudge is going to want to get out of there real quick. Here we go. He takes off. Matthews slots in behind, like they've said, the judges, but he needs to close that proximity down. They initiate in. Slide around. Here we go. Transition back. Goes wide. Oh, no, he's off. He's way off. Oh, no, Mudge goes out. And, I mean, you know, Ben Matthews, like they say, you're using the lead driver as a bit of a, you know, a clipping point there. He's followed him out in the line. I mean, first one off the track is obviously going to be Mudge as the lead driver, and he's bringing home the signage, and it's, what's he got caught? Oh, he's got a cone under the car. We've grabbed a cone, we've grabbed some signage. So something, just a memento to take home for the weekend.
Yeah, I know we're told to get near the clipping points, but to hit them is certainly taking it to a whole nother level. I think that's one to hang on the shed at home for the next little bit anyways.
Yeah, so Sam Mudge there, we'll wait to see the official reading from the judges, because obviously he went off the track first, but Matthews did follow him. Check out the Trias replay. It wasn't too bad a start here, though. Mudge leads him out, and Matthews just slots in behind like he's meant to. Car looks too good to actually get out there, doesn't it, from Benny Matthews? He comes around here, gives him a little bit of room, then they get the nice transition back, but he's just super wide there, isn't he? Slides the car, doesn't get the angle on.
Yeah, it looks like he just left the transition in the little S's there a little bit too late, and by the time that you've realised that we're going that fast through there, by the time you realise that you're not on the right line, it's pretty much all over Rover, as we see the huge dust cloud in the back there. I'm not sure how our copyright is, but a Jeroen Sandstorm would be cranking out the back there for sure.
A bit of sandstorm going. I mean, and what I noticed too, the breeze out there has travelled down a bit too, because the smoke haze is hanging around. So it's not just blowing away like we normally see. We did see earlier in the day there's quite a brisk breeze. I would say it wasn't strong, but it was constant. It's sort of settled down a bit here now. We're hitting 5 o'clock here this afternoon on the live stream. It's been a huge day of drifting here for the round number 1 at Winton here of the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars Series. The Zoo Performance Pro-Am are out on track at the moment, and of course we are battling it out for third position. We're waiting to see what the results are coming in from the judges. We haven't seen that come through yet, but as you can see, the sun is starting to set, which means our time is running out here. We need to get these runs done. They're going to have to make a decision, and that's going to put a lot of pressure on the judges, because although it's great to have one more time, they're going to get a lot of pressure, because if we don't get the runs done in time, we're not going to get a winner either. So it needs to happen. A bit of damage on the front bar. You sort of suspect that when you're going to hit a cone, don't you, Paddy?
Yeah, absolutely. Not too many of these cars are as high as mine are, so the old Corvette lift kit going on. But yeah, these fiberglass kits, they do get quite explosive once you hit the smallest bit of debris out there.
Well, we don't have an answer yet, and of course we will let you know that when we do a presentation. We'll find out who our winners are. But this is the battle for first and second. Brian Cruikshank in that gripped up E36 chassis of the BMW, taking on Jory Bretkoff. Jory needs to do some work here, because Brian looks like he's definitely got this one in the bag so far. He's been the standout when it comes to the Zoo Performance Pro-Am. Goes right out and feels that outer clipping zone there. That was a nice drive there from Brian. Let's see if he holds it. Goes a little bit wide though at this point. It's not a perfect run. Does go quite wide around that corner. Then he holds on to this one. He needs to bring it home. Jory's dropped off the pace though. That's the biggest difference there, is the speed of the two cars. And look at that. Brian brings this one home. Let's see how we go. Not a perfect run, like I say, Paddy, but a really well thought out, really gone through and just opened that gap up and showed that he can pull away and has plenty of grip in this car.
Yeah, as we see him come here, you just see the car bucking and bubbling along there. It's just tuning the grip into it. And yeah, we see Jory, he had him in the first little bit, but as soon as they got through the S's, Brian just checked out. And yeah, as we see him running really wide here, whether that's the faster line now, that there's too much rubber down the bottom, whether that's getting a bit greasy and the boys are preferring to run up the top instead of trying to sacrifice their track speed to get down to the clipping points. So again, running wide out with the marbles, so whether the track's blown off a bit or it's just the better place to run.
I suppose with a normal street radial tyre as well, is what they are trying to use is when they get that transition done and they wind that angle on there, they're actually using the tyres to grip it up. Now, those radial street tyres aren't going to have as much grip as the semis. So if they're trying to do the same thing the pro guys are doing, it means that it's not going to grip up as much. It's going to force the car wider, which we are seeing. So it could be a little bit greasy as well.
Yeah, for those playing at home, the difference between a semi-slick tyre and a street tyre is a semi-slick is normally anywhere between 140 to 160 tread wear. These boys are at 300 tread wear, so nowhere near as soft.
Here we go, we turn around. Jory now is going to take us in the lead. The battle for 1 and 2 here in the Z Performance Pro-Am for round 1 at Winton. The Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars, and Brian Cruikshank needs to pull off a killer chase run, big angle. They slow right down. It looks like he's doing a good job in the BMW there, follows him in. No contact made in that one. Brian Cruikshank keeps that proximity, doing a nice job there behind Jory. Here we go, can they bring it home? Let's hope no mistakes from this one. Brian Cruikshank having an absolutely fantastic weekend with the Z Performance Pro-Am, and he brings it home. Jory Breckhoff did a nice lead run in that one. There wasn't too much wrong with that. There are a few little minor mistakes. We'll check it out in the Tri-S replay here, but Brian Cruikshank, look at the proximity in his driving. In Pro-Am, this is what I like to see. Now, Jory takes it off here, a little bit of room like he's meant to do, and, Brian takes full advantage of that one. Pulls it out here, just a little bit of angle, then tries it. You see, grab the handbrake, get that angle right on here. But look at Brian, just close it right up on the doors here. They switch back here, the transition happens. Now, Jory leaves that nice little bit of room. Brian doing exactly what he's meant to do, putting the nose up on the ripple strip.
Yeah, as we see, you cannot have a good chase run without a good lead run. So it's very well reflecting Brian's run is as good because the lead driver left the door open for him, and a very, very respectable run by these two today.
Yeah, be interested to see what the judges say about that one. I mean, we look at lead runs. I mean, Jory, in my opinion, might have actually ticked a few more boxes in the lead run, but Brian in the chase run did a really, really good job.
Yeah, it'll be an odd combination because the distance between the cars in Brian's lead run, yes, he was a lot faster, but wasn't quite as technical. So it'll be interesting to see the exact numbers on the split for these two as to what we're looking at.
Well, we'll wait to see what the results come in the Z Performance Pro-Am a little bit later, as it looks like our Hi-Tec Oils Pro guys, the top 4, are going to battle it out now to find out as the sun is starting to set. We need to get this top 4 run and done before we run out of daylight. We're under pressure to make this happen. Let's hope that the runs have those things where the judges can pull them apart, because we need to get this done. It's going to be Brody Mayer taking on, it's going to be Alex Sharker taking on Matt Harvey for position 3. As you can see up on screen, Matt Harvey, though, is going to pull us out in the Kumho's tyres S13. Here we go, 2J Power leading this one. Alex Sharker into the Barra-powered S14 as they come into the first corner. And Matt Harvey has been putting on these clinical qualifying runs, run after run after run. Drags it right out the outside there. Now you can see he winds on that angle. Sharker, though, trying to keep that proximity, does a nice job in here. Let's check as they do this switch back here. Now Harvey leaves that gap open again. Sharker not up on the inside, though. So I would give the advantage here at the moment to Matt Harvey on this run. Can he complete this one? Comes in on the inner clipping zone there and powers it out too. Oh, look, for my opinion there, I think Matt Harvey has a slight advantage, but now it's time for Sharker to go and reapply that pressure by taking the lead run. We check out the Tri-S replays. Paddy, run us through this one.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is a live run or the replay of the last battle that Matt was in. His runs are back-to-back, the exact same every time, which is fantastic to see. Super chaseable as he comes through here, right out to the outside. Nip of the handbrake to keep him in the outside zone there. Running the midline, keeping the door open quite a bit still. Coming out to the outside clip, switching back nice and slowly, leaving that gap at the bottom there. Shaka just not quite having the pure car pace. He's sacrificing a better line there, but Matt Harvey is the man to beat.
Look, he would have been. Unfortunately, though, he did make an error in his last run, which is he's battling out for 3rd and 4th, but he's still got the opportunity to be on a podium and take some valuable points back to Tasmania with him for round 1 here at Winton of the Hi-Tec Drift Series, All-Star Series, and you never know. It all counts really at the end of the year when we start to bank them up. So one bad round can really hurt you. This isn't a bad round. It is not a bad round at all to come home 3rd or 4th, so he's still going to bag a heap of points. Alex Sharker now is going to lead us out on this one, the birthday boy. Let's see what he can do. Oh, he's come. What's that? Smoke coming out of the car. There's something wrong with the car. I think something's blown off.
He's on fire.
We've got flames under the car as well. That's unfortunate for him. And Matt Harvey nowhere to go. And there's going to be a fair bit of damage on the front of Matt Harvey's car. Hopefully he can get that one off the track. But The fire extinguisher's out, and Shark are doing some issues. Now, we know he lost that cooler earlier, and they did T-piece that up to try and get something, but we saw that smoke, didn't it, come out? It looks like it's in the engine bay, somewhere near the exhaust, and a puff of smoke for no reason. He wasn't on the brake, so we'll have to see what the replay shows, is the Trias replay, but getting out there himself and putting that fire out there, out of the car very, very quickly here, and that's very unfortunate for Alex Shark, and not the birthday present he was looking for.
Yeah, it looks like as soon as he came into clutch kick into the first outer zone there, as we'll see it here, it just looks like as soon as he gave it that clutch kick, it just dropped the guts of the motor. As we'll see it right there. Huge sparks out the bottom. Certainly not ideal, that's for sure, as he's coming backwards, and Matt just playing avoidance. Looks like he certainly did make some contact there, but not or keeping it pretty light anyway, so Matt driving off quite nicely there. But yeah, not a good run.
It's not often you see the bottom end come out of a barrel either. I mean, these guys pull some huge horsepower out, and they do insane things. Unless you're pushing the RPM in them, and he's not running a big horsepower combination. What do you say about 450 kilowatt? We know standard turbo bottom end 500 is pretty comfortable to get in these things. So that's a big blow up from him. Maybe an oiling issue or something like that. You remember the cooler on the front's power steering. It's not there for engine, so it shouldn't affect it. But yeah, that looks like that has definitely, Rodney may have come out in that one. We'll have to find out.
Yeah, Uncle Rodney was certainly at the party in that lap there, but yeah, not ideal. Alex standing there in the sun with the Ford Raptor out there with the fire crew.
Well, look, you don't want those candles on your birthday. They're the wrong type of candles. Check it out here on the Tri-Ace replay. Now you see him come down, and then bang, there it is. It's all over. Matt Harvey's got absolutely nowhere to go. He doesn't know what's going on. All of a sudden, there's a smoke screen. It's all happened in a split second. Matt Harvey's riding. He's learned from his chase before from Bogger not to get right up on the inside. He's gone to pull him behind. It's just at the wrong moment, really. It's just, bad timing all round. What I do give to Alex Sharker, though, is he knew something was wrong. He got straight out of that car. He knew exactly what to do. And, of course, all our officials here straight on to make sure they get that fire out. It's been a big weekend here. And, look, unfortunately, that's probably going to, decide that run for us. And that probably means that we'll see Matt Harvey get the third place, and that would end up on the podium. Unfortunately for Alex Sharker, but I'm sure we'll go down and celebrate his birthday in the pits a little bit later with some of the boys down there.
Yeah, so and one other thing, it is good to see the level of safety gear that these guys are wearing. Like we see him in a proper race suit out there. He's got race boots. He's got all the gear. He pulled his fire extinguisher out that he carries in the car, as we are all required to do. Some of us have onboard fire suppression systems. And yeah, it is a mandatory thing as a part of this series, is we do have to have safety gear, because in instances like this, as the motor blown, I'm not sure if you could have seen it in the replay or not, but smoke filled the windscreen. He wouldn't have been able to see. And I was checking my GPS data through that section before. We're doing 120 kilometers an hour, full throttle. So to have a motor let go, no vision, nothing, he's just hanging along for the ride. And it's unfortunate to see what has happened, but he was wearing the correct safety gear to be in the safe scenario there.
Well, Dan, while we've got this little bit of downtime here and we're cleaning some stuff up on the track, we've got the top four run and done in our Zoo Performance Pro-Am. Run us through some of the results there.
Yeah, guys, it was a great little lot of battles that we had at the end. And just to finish off for our third place battle between Ben Matthews and Sam Mudge, it was Benny Matthews that ended up taking the victory in that one. So well done to him. He's done a great job to collect the third place trophy today. And of course, the final, which was a pretty good battle there between Brian Cruikshank and Jory Brickoff. The winner of that one and taking home the first round of the Pro-Am Zoo Performance trophy today is Brian Cruikshank.
Yeah, big round of applause for Cruikshank. You see the results up there. Cruikshank take home the win. Brickoff in second and Matthews in third. So that's round one done of the Zoo Performance Pro-Am, guys. Well done. Big round of applause out in the crowd for them. If you're at home watching, check out the Tri-Ace replay here. This is the winning runs here, as you see. Jory just leading us out on this one. Brian Cruikshank doing fantastic. Run us through it, Mackie.
Yeah, so you can see Brian's he's following along, he's ticking all the criteria. He's a really, really technical driver. He loves to ask lots of questions in briefings, and you can see him just following all the opportunities that were offered to him. He took hold of them, and that's the important thing. When you've got two drivers at this level, they're both going to run a really clean lead line. You can see that they're happening that. You know, Jory's doing that. He's ticking the boxes as well and leaving those opportunities, and that's where you get your separation, is when the opportunities presented to you that chase driver can get in there, get on that door, and manage to take the car all the way up to it. I'm not sure if we're going to see the reverse here. Yeah, we are. Beautiful. Awesome, guys. No, this is the same run, is it?
No, same run.
Yeah,
it was so good we wanted to watch it again.
Yeah, well, fair enough too. I was thinking, hang on a second, what's happened here? No, look, you can see again, watching here, Brian's just diving in, or not diving in, but closing up to the door. So he's avoided the dive in and taking that opportunity. Jory left him room. And again, if you watch here, Jory's going to be a little bit off this ripple strip. Brian right down nose onto it to get in there into that door where we asked him to. As they transition here again, Jory does the right thing, leaves the opportunity. Brian comes up again. Not quite as close as we would have liked, but still, by the end of it, a very, very good run and a great chase from Brian. And that's the reason why that he was the top guy today, my belief. I mean, I didn't judge the rounds today. We had Stewie, JDM, and Josh Rogers doing that, and they did a great job. I thought my calls were pretty similar to theirs, if not identical. So, yeah, well done to Brian. Look, I see him up there looking. Give us a wave, boys. Logan Waterhouse down there chilling out with the boys.
And what an effort from Benny Matthews to fix that car and get himself up there on a podium in the end. I mean, you know, clutch issues there, and that was, you know, jammed under the brake pedal as well. So, you know, his crew, big hats off to them, and I'm pretty sure he owes them a bit of a beverage there tonight to say thank you for that one, to bring him home a little bit of silverware, bronzeware, I suppose, to put in the cabinet there. But the sun is setting, and we've just got a track clean up here because we are looking to see who is going to take out round number 1 here at Winton for the 2021 Drift All-Stars Series. It could be anybody. We've got 2 cars here left to run in our pro category, all thanks to Hi-Tec Oils. It's going to be Brendan O'Grady. Bogger's going to take on Brodie Mayer from Tasmania. So, you know, Bogger's done quite a few laps here in this car. He actually says his other car, Chucky, that he likes to throw around. He actually likes to have it around here, and, we'll see how he goes now he's in his pro car. But, Jeff, mate, you're down there with the winners from the Zoo Performance Pro-Am.
How does it feel to be the Zoo Performance Pro-Am?
Awesome, man. Yeah, it was really good. Struggled with setup a little bit yesterday and sort of come to grips with it, and, yeah, we ended up top spot, so it was killer.
It all came together.
Yeah, man, yeah, really happy.
All the boys, did they spin spanners, or was it just
we had a few boys spin the spanners, so...
What'd you have to do?
Yeah. We just sort of changed the setup a little bit. Mainly tyre pressures, that helped a lot, so, yeah.
Did you want to thank any of your sponsors, or...?
Yeah, thanks to Zeknova Tyres, Battleus as well. Whoever else I forgot.
Pro-Am Series winner.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah, the Z Performance Pro-Am winner there, Brian Cruikshank, and, the BMW chassis, like we said, Paddy, earlier, great format to really get into drifting, especially the street stuff there. And the amount of grip that car had, lifting a wheel off the ground in some of those corners, it's a fantastic platform to start on. We've seen a couple of the cars there, like when we've come to some Matsuris and stuff. Mate, they do a great job, and I'm surprised not to see more of them. We have seen them here in the pro category. Unfortunately, not here today, but it's a good little starting point, and he does a fantastic job driving that car.
Yeah, they are quite popular over in the UK and in America. There's a lot of them available, and with quantity comes to cheaper pricing of second-hand one. And the boys over there really have developed them. Well, as we see the flip-around rerun of the winning battle here, Brian just taking off the pure car speed out of this. Not sure what springs he's running in the rear, but they're definitely softer than the rest of the field out there. He's got that thing bucking and bobbing around. But yeah, just getting out to the clipping zones. It seems that the outside clipping zones is really his thing. The inner clips aren't quite there, but the pure car speed is certainly helping him out there, that's for sure.
He likes to run it there, doesn't he? As the car squats down and really bites onto the track and drives the car forward. So, but loving to be on the outside, the high speed, around the corner, It's great fun and a good feeling when you're inside the cars to check out another Trias replay of what went on in that run. Once again, you see he does a killer lead run in this one too. A little bit wider on some of the corners that aren't as critical. Right there, he was quite tight, but probably on the limits there. Comes around here, though, like they say, not so big, wind on the lock. Look how much lock he gets just at that point. Goes out and fills that outer clipping zone really nicely, then gets the car to transition. Goes a little bit wide here, but not bad. And you see in the background, Jory there actually goes wider. So, you know, doesn't do too bad a job there. Just a little bit wider than probably a perfect run. And same here, you know, none of these runs are perfect. We haven't seen a perfect run today. Even Matt Harvey, who's being so clinical, hasn't had a perfect run, but so close to perfect. And we switch them around now. Jory leading out here. And this is your winning battle between 1 and 2 in the Zoo Performance Pro-Am category. Up on your screen at the moment as we wait for the last couple of cars to do this final battle. Looks like the cleanup is done, and you know, that's the thing though with the cleanup though. They've got all the materials on there, swept them off, they've blown them off, but it's going to change the track conditions on that first corner, and they're not meant to really get into the drift on that first corner, are they? It's just about just letting the back end maybe slide out a little bit there and really set you up to get a transition done and come into the first corner. So it's going to be different now to what they experienced an hour ago.
Yeah, one thing to look out for is with the lead car, as it's pacing to the actual entry point of the corner, as we see here, will he go in the dirty kitty litter out there, which it appears he's managed to avoid it well.
But now he's gone wide as he comes back in, and over the inside ripple strip there for Bogger. Brady Mayer, though, bring it on home. The SR20 fans. I know someone's frothing up there in the stands, and that'll be a shembury. Here we go, the switch back. How's he go? Let's see how wide he is on this one. He's not too far out. Bogger's not really putting that nose in, which I'm surprised about. He's another one where he really likes to take that outside line and use the car to drive it back in. Close it down here, though. Brady Mayer doing a nice run on this one. He qualified second here today, and now he's definitely getting a podium. Could he get first, though? This might be, you know, a bit of Tasmanian luck there as we check out the Trias replay. They come in, they say, stays off that kitty litter. Bogger comes in a little bit as well, but he gets in really shallow here, and we've seen him do that a couple of times, Bogger, haven't we, where he comes in and straightens up over the ripple strip.
Yeah, Brody very, very close to the edge on that one. Not just to the edge of the racetrack, to the edge of the ripple strip. He was hanging on by a hair for that one. But yeah, really leaving the door open for him. But I think it's purely the weight difference between these two cars. The Billet SR20 is just so much lighter, and it's just taking off.
Yeah, you see a squat down there and drive away. And Bogger now probably back where he wants to be in the lead run. He can control the pace of this run too, because with so much, I suppose, experience at this track, so much horsepower in this car, and the way he's got it set up, he's really happy with the Zek Novas too. He gets from Zoo Performance, so he'll be looking to push hard on this one, and probably another one where he'll have to come down and try and get away from that kitty litter. How much tyre has he wasted? There you go. He has to come right down aggressively. And then you see Brady Mayer has to come in behind. But look at Mayer. He's in, doesn't grab that ripple strip by the looks of it here, but he's got to watch out for the smoke screen, because when Bogger gets on it, no one can see anything. It is like a wall of smoke. As you can see, Mayer goes wide out the back there. I can't even see him. Even with the lights on there, he pops out there. But Bogger's wide here, really wide. And it sends Brady Mayer a little bit wide as well. The proximity is probably not too bad. Like, it's not much more proximity than what we saw when Bogger was doing the chase run, but you know, Mayer probably had a little bit better line there in the lead. So we check out the Trias replay on this one. Bogger taking the lead run on this one. This is the second. It's the battle for first and second, but I'll tell you what, the judges have got some work to do on this one, Paddy.
Yeah, absolutely. Bogger coming right down here, and Brody's just sticking it to him, nose to tail, trying to make sure that he can enter at the same time as him. Gets right up here. And Bogger not quite making it out to the outside clip there, and going a bit shallower than Brody anticipated. And Brody just washing a bit wide there, and Bogger just coming full tilt, real wide around the outside there. And does he lift coming in here? Oh, slight tap of the brakes, bit of lift, and Brody's there. Just enough of a foot off the gas for Brody to slide right up on the inside.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what Dan Mack has to say about this one, but they're pointing it forward to go and line them up here. That was our battle for first and second. I'm assuming that we do have a decision because they're not pushing him back out. In saying that, Bogger would have to change tyres. That car eats them. It is, you know, like, it just goes through them. You saw how much smoke that thing made coming around through the M's. You know, crazy amount of smoke there. The wheel speed it has is phenomenal. And as you can see, Matt Harvey already lined up. And we would assume he gets third position there. Alex Sharker blows that motor going into the first corner. It's pretty much a given there for Matt Harvey. So he still gets himself a reward for this weekend all the way from Tasmania. But what will his Tasmanian friend do? Will Brody Mayer end up number 1 in the podium? Will he end up second? We don't know. Bogger's down there as well. He's had a great weekend. He got past Matt Harvey to make it into this battle for 1-2. Look at the smile on his face, and he's done it without a spotter. And, you wouldn't think that's super important when it comes into drifting, but it does help you to know what the guy behind you has done, doesn't it, Paddy?
Yeah, absolutely. Like just having someone in your ear reflecting on you, giving little tips and points here and there to figure in on what you need to do or where you need to go or how hard to even go sometimes. As it is very, very critical, as once we get to this particular pro level, the more you know, the better you can drive and the better you can pace yourself.
Here we go, the tri-ace replay, and this is the battle for 1 and 2. And Brody Mayer, they're trying to avoid that kitty litter and ends up going very, very wide. Bogger comes in, grabs a fair bit of curb on this one now. Mayer, clinical all day, uses that ripple strip and then winds the lock on, fills that outer clipping zone. Bogger down on the inside there and doesn't straighten though, Bogger, does he? He keeps the angle on, which is just goes to show the pace that he's got there in the Hulk, the 180, because it stays with the same proximity despite him not straightening to close it up. And then Mayer comes through here and does a nice little job there to grab that clipping zone in the final corner, and then you see Bogger come across the line. But it's Bogger's lead run here where he just puts on a smoke show. As we go back to the previous run there, Brody Mayer once again, and Bogger almost grabs a little bit of dirt there as he pulls over. And we spoke about that before with Matt Harvey because he was up on the back and didn't give Bogger that room. He actually got penalised. Unfortunately, no, it hasn't really affected us because Bogger's got out of it at that point. So he probably hasn't made it into the judging area on that one, so it won't affect his judging, I don't believe. But yeah, you've got to be careful of that one, but you still want to stay as close as possible so they don't get away, and that's what Mayer does. He does open up that gap, gets a little bit of a lead over Bogger, and keeps that proximity gap there at the time. Wait to see we get a tri-ace replay here as Bogger's lead run. And here we go. We're checking out the BSC Performance. 180 now takes off. Turbocharged LS, of course, taking on the little SR20. And the same thing happens again. The wheel comes down the inside. He pulls him behind. Mayer, though, stays off that ripple strip. Does a lot nicer job of that there in the chase run there. A lot of handbrake used there just to get him into to get the angle up here. And it sort of throws Mayer off, doesn't it? Like, he doesn't expect it there. He's expecting something different and throws him off his line a little bit there. He comes a little bit shallow there compared to Bogger, who stays out really wide, and it's just, I think, the power of the car, and you just got to stick it on the accelerator and hope those tyres do buff and push her out the corner.
I think if we're looking back and comparing lead to lead, we see Brody get super wide coming into the outside section there. And then he was mid-line in the next corner, right where the judges want us. And then he managed to bring it down into the last clip zone there. So it'll be interesting to see the comparison between the two runs and who the winner is for us today.
Yeah, can't wait to hear what we hear from the judges on this one. Of course, Hi-Tec Oars, Great Sport, Zoo Performance, Tri-Ace, Hi-Tec Motorsport tyres, Hi-Tec batteries, Motec, Raceline Performance, Vango Rapid Repairs, brakes and more, Orange Hire, Powwow, and of course SBH Haulage. But yeah, we need to thank all of our great sponsors. Of course, a brand new one, Orange Hire, getting on board, Earth Moving and Traffic Management Company, specialising in working construction industry professionals across New South Wales, Queensland, and of course right here in Victoria where we are here this weekend. Zoo Performance sponsoring the Pro-Am Series. You've seen the winners there, and Brian Cruikshank taking that one out and supporting the up-and-coming drifters as we get through here in Australia. So Zoo Performance, fantastic in that one as well. And of course the Tri-Ace tyres, I mean, a few guys running them this weekend and they seem to be doing the goods, and of course you can get them at the Hi-Tec Motorsport tyres as well, and we've got them down there. Beautiful new trailer there, all sticking up and ready to go, and the tyre changer down there. But I mean, Jeff Hayes is getting ready to let us know who the winners are going to be. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's excited down there too. It is great to have you here in the commentary box with me, Paddy, though. I really appreciate you coming up, because otherwise I was going to be all lonely up here.
It was going to be a 2-hour drive back home to the workshop, or come and sit here and watch some drifting with you, so I picked the better of the two.
Yeah, lick the wounds, mate. And yeah, look, I'm glad that you prefer to spend time with me than you do with your dad. That shows. I really enjoy that. So it's been great to have you in the commentary box, mate. Can't thank you enough for giving your perspective, of course, because you've done quite a few laps out there this weekend. And look, mate, bad luck this weekend. And of course, the new car looks absolutely fantastic. It's got all the good gear. It's only a matter of time. And look, the Bend. What are you looking forward to at the Bend?
The Bend is a very technical track. I've driven there once, and it is very narrow, very fast, and it's going to bring on some heck of a battles.
Yeah, look, I can't wait to get over there. Haven't seen the Bend myself personally, but it's going to be fantastic. And Dan Mackey, though, you're the exciting man. You know who has won and who is coming second, so let us know.
I do, guys. It's been a pretty awesome run. I can see Alex just diving back in there and getting himself all nicely dressed. Obviously, for third and fourth, it ended up being fairly obvious for everyone with that huge smoke cloud from Alex's Barra engine finally giving up after abuse all weekend. So the winner of the third and fourth battle and third place today, all the way from Tasmania, is Matt Harvey. I don't think you can see that or hear me, can he? Obviously, that first place battle, and I'll just let you all know, we did allow them to initiate at the end of the oil just so we could make sure we got that done. So the drivers were both notified of that. They were given a side-in lap, and then they put down the best thing they could do with not having any practice at all of that. So there was an awesome bit of driving from both those guys. They really need to be congratulated. It was very, very close in the end, and we had to go back over a number of replays till we could finally pick it down to pretty much one error from the guys more than the other one. The winner today, and congratulations again from Tasmania, is Brody Marr.
Yep, boys. Yep,
also, huge congratulations to Brendan O'Grady. He's driving really, really well today, so well done to those guys. You know, they've absolutely caned it today. It's been awesome.
Yeah, check it out on screen there, of course. Brody Mayer taking the win. Bogger takes second there, Brendan O'Grady, and Matt Harvey gets third position. But, Jeff, mate, you are down there with the winners. Let's grab a few words.
Yeah. How do you feel?
Super stoked, hey, I can't believe it. Yeah, it was so hard to get here. Like we had, with COVID, getting on the Spirit, it's been such a big challenge. It was so difficult and so many car dramas. Like, totally love all the boys, all my crew, making it happen. We actually put a CV together, banged an axe and put a CV together for the top 4 battle. It's been crazy. Track was awesome. That was dicey, with a bit of oil out there. Bogger drove sweet, but yeah, just loving it, huh?
Congratulations, man.
Cheers. Thanks, heaps.
Bogger, how did you go?
Yeah, that last battle was pretty dicey, but it was good. Bit slippery. But yeah, look, I'd like to thank Zoo Performance and Zach Nova tyres, BSC Performance, Bling Designs, Hi-Tec Oils and Lubricants, Intense Turbos, all the crew for helping me out, and yeah, just Hi-Tec for putting on a pretty rad show.
Killer driving there out there. Like that. Chop this in front of the car. Matt, how crazy was that battle?
Oh, it was pretty blinding, to be honest. You know, it's we entered at the same time, and the rest is history. I literally just slid off. All I saw was dirt, and then a car, and then dirt, and that's about it. So I'm lucky to, yeah, that's not the way we want to win, but at the same time it's third place. So, you know, thanks to all my sponsors, Kumo, Power Plus, Disco Tune for getting the car here. It's been a crazy event, and we got, if it's not one Tasmania, it's the other Tasmania on the podium, so it's pretty sick.
I do not, thank you. I do not know how he somehow managed to keep this car from jumping on your car. Did you see the replay? There was so much fire coming out of your car.
Yeah, I initiated as fast as I could, and yeah, it just went bang. I seen it go over the bonnet, and I just held on, and got a love tap from him, and then into the bush. Yeah, it was wild.
You buried it really well.
Yeah, I got rods out and everything, so went out with a bang.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Congratulations on 4th place.
Yeah, thank you for how the car's going. I'm happy.
Well, our next round, we're coming to you round number 2 from the Bend Motorsport Park in South Australia. The first weekend in July, the 3rd and 4th, of course, Pro and Pro-Am. Go to all the W's, hitecdrifting.com.au as the boys celebrate their win here at Winton, round number 1 of the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars and the Zoo Performance Pro-Am categories. Mate, we want to thank everyone watching us out there on the live stream and who's been here at the track enjoying drifting, getting back into such this phenomenal sport and having all of us supporters and all of us entrants get back and underway for 2021. It's all over. The events are happening. July is coming. We can't thank you enough. We'll see you soon.